Alright, I think we're back.
Yeah?
I think so. No waiting screen, we're just going straight into it. I'll wait
That's
for
what I
confirmation from
always
the
do.
chatter, but
Oh yeah, you are live. Okay, cool.
okay, base.
I always just go straight into it. It's such an awkward feeling, but you just work through it.
I mean, it definitely is, but it's like, I don't know. I need like a buffer, you know, like 5 minutes of like
It's
I'll play a
weird.
song and then I'll go into it, okay? Because I need to make
I
sure
know.
my shit's working. Because if it's not
I
working,
know.
then I
It's
look
like
crazy.
it's weird because you just press the like go live button and then you're just live
You're
and you're
just
like, okay,
there.
here we are. Yeah,
Like
that's what I
what?
do.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's so weird.
Exactly. But I mean, if it works, it works, I guess.
I'm just lazy.
And fair enough.
That's how lazy I am.
Okay, I'll wait for a confirmation before I start the video. You can still see my screen, right? It's not
Yeah.
like it's still sharing, and I don't see anything wrong in my OBS, I don't think. And
Yeah, you're good, homie.
Alright, I'll check if people
these
are
are
in my
so
stream,
bright.
but they should be. Like anybody's watching yet, but no.
Are you just on Kick or Kick in YouTube?
In YouTube.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have your YouTube up. Maybe I should. Do people talk shit in there or no?
No, I barely have anyone.
Oh.
Mantis was in there a while ago. Just said yo, and then I didn't see it till a few minutes after.
Oh, fun.
So, oh, hey, Warble sent period. So that means, is that confirmation that you hear me, Warble? Are we good?
It might be, or it was an accident.
It can't be an accident, right? Yeah. Okay. So it looks like we're here. Okay, I got viewers. Okay, we're here. People are seeing. Delay was like 8-ish seconds, much better. Okay. Oh, you're like counting. Okay, that's better. I mean, I'm fine with an 8-second delay. That's okay. That's okay with me. It's like 2 minutes. That's crazy. Can't do that.
Wait, how do you know it's 8-ish seconds?
Well, that's what Warble's like. He typed the period and then waited for it to pop up on screen.
Ha.
But also that might also literally be like just how long it takes for the program I use to show it on screen. So might not even necessarily be that. But yeah, okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna start the video and keep reacting. So behind.
Because I started this off wrong, my evidence has been dismissed by Judge Pisco. I'm not allowed to claim the public testimony and all the conflicting statements that were used
20 minutes
to
behind.
bring the
not if you can't point to them.
I
Not if you can't point to them, right? Like, you're just saying, oh, conflicting statements is that. But what conflicting statements?
Oh, it's still live?
It looks like it didn't end.
I'm totally saying the record is. I'm asking you for the evidence. You said there's no good evidence.
No, sorry. It looks like it already ended, and it looks like we didn't do it, so that's fine.
You haven't pointed to a conflicting statement.
Oh, okay.
Sorry if I'm not terribly specific on this, but you have all of the testimony
still
Comey's
live?
providing in front of Congress stating that he either did not authorize or was
Look
unaware
at
of the
buddy.
authorization of
Looks like he's just there with
information
Dev
during
talking
probes or so on, so
Yeah.
forth being leaked to the press.
Yeah.
As time goes on, eventually you get
Yeah,
an
it's
original
normal.
statement
Okay,
from McCabe
thanks.
saying, "I'm not aware," so on and so forth, and also that I didn't need Comey's authorization to get this information to media. We have DOJ policy in place that allows us to make connections or allows us to provide information to media. You then
So if that's true, what he just said, then that doesn't mean anything. That means Comey did nothing wrong. But okay.
He did leak.
Right, McCabe says he leaked. That's one thing, and there was a whole IG situation with him and a report that came out against McCabe. But you fast forward to current events, and you have McCabe but giving a media interview where he said he was talking like Comey was aware. Essentially, it was a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like I didn't need his authorization, but he was aware that I was doing it.
No. McCabe says that he told Comey on the 31st of October. The article was published on October 30th. So at no point did McCabe allege that Comey gave authorization. That's why McCabe says he wouldn't have sought authorization from Comey because he doesn't need to.
Comey
he didn't. There's no evidence he did.
Right.
It was implied.
All the congressional hearings, all the testimony, all of Comey's arguments, the things he was asked was, did you authorize or were you aware of authorization or aware of intents to leak information to the media?
Yeah, and I'm asking for you I'm asking you what the evidence is, because you were asked the question basically, we're providing all this evidence to substantiate and to justify the cases against Trump. Do you have anything similar? That was what Dev asked you on the Comey case. And you're like, well, we have all this like evidence, bro. But I'm like, what evidence? Yes, I know what Comey said. I know what McCabe said. They're not in conflict, at least with respect to the claim at issue here. And I'm not aware of the other inconsistencies that you're pointing to. So what actually is the evidence of the crime here?
Yeah, the inconsistency between McCabe and Comey is about whether on October 31st, when McCabe told Comey that he leaked to the media, whether Comey was like okay with it, like kind of like approving or like indifferent, or if he, reamed him or whatever. But like the actual thing at issue, which is did Comey lie when he said that he did not approve the leak?
Right.
That's not even. Andy McCabe doesn't even say that, so it doesn't make any fucking sense.
If I can get a minute to look it up, I can tell you.
No, but as you sit here, are you aware of it?
Yeah, I am aware of it.
Okay.
I am aware of it that he went to.
But I have to look it up.
Was in a media interview where he alluded
Okay.
to Comey being aware of his or others' attempts to get information out
After
to
the,
the
on October
Yeah,
31st,
Pisco
if that's not
challenged
authorization,
it. He
that's knowing about it
wouldn't.
after.
No.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna, I'm gonna
Like-
read these super chats while he looks
Pisco
up the
could say
specifics.
said
Give him
anything.
a moment to do that. Once he does that, and we'll finish this
Yeah,
up.
he
we'll
doesn't
go
know
into closings
anything.
And we'll close it out. $5 from cameraman 502. Since it's just MAGA getting bodied and can't be bothered to read, anyone have
True.
thoughts on the psycho alpinist? Pisco, what watch do you wear? Do you rock in court?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I have an Apple Watch. I need to move away from it though, because even with like the nice band, they kind of look janky. So I'm actually I'm in the market for a watch.
$5 from Alexander Wynn. Pisco, is there any proof that Trump knew there were more that he did not? There were more documents that he did not turn over
Yes.
in the murder?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The fact that he had them, maybe. Maybe one
Anybody
thing.
would know that if they
Namely the fact
read
Yeah,
about it,
It might
too.
be the fact that he had them might be the one thing. Another thing might also be the fact that there were communications with him and the person he was telling to hide the documents and put them in the bathroom. maybe,
Yes, I was
so-
literally gonna say that. Yeah, he had people literally hiding them for him.
all over. The fact that he told his this is Oliver. What, I forget his last name, but one of his adjutants, one of his body men, he told him to move boxes, and that's what Carlos de
Yeah.
Oliveira. And I think it's called Carlos de Oliveira. One of these guys,
The IT guy.
he said that Trump said move those boxes, and then he picked out those boxes, and so there is evidence.
There's
that Trump was
proof of
aware,
it, too.
and he was
There's
directing
evidence
which
of
boxes
it.
to move. And so yes, there's evidence of knowledge. Absolutely.
$10 from the pleb. I take back my good faith question to Palp earlier. Clearly, his name gives away his opinion that he is in favor of an evil authoritarian dictator just usurping democracy and turning the U.S. into the empire. Thank you for $10.
No, but okay.
Okay.
I'm just not even gonna refute that. Okay, I'll just let that one slide.
Okay. $20 from Zonia. Dev wants us to super chat about communist subversion so that he can bonk Pisco. Do you
Oh my
bonk
God.
Pisco about it?
What about communist subversion?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
Okay,
know
well,
what
thank you
that's
for the $20. $5 from Jamie Rogers. As per usual, the Trump supporters cite vibes and assumptions while sneering at the suggestion that they actually back up themselves. Shocker. Thank you for $5. Okay, with that, Audacity, did you find what you needed to find?
Yeah, it's a blurb from the Hill. Cruz's question was an attempt to highlight conflicting accounts from Comey and his former deputy McCabe about a leak to the Wall Street Journal about the Clinton investigation days before the 2016 election. Clinton ended up losing the election to Trump. I don't know why it's clear. Comey has said he was unaware of the leak, but McCabe has indicated Comey knew about an authorized leak. Comey has also said McCabe implied in a conversation with him after the Journal's report that he also wasn't aware of the leak.
Yeah, so
Part of the questioning, part of the reasoning is not only authorization, Comey's authorization, but awareness of authorizations as well.
Yeah, so it's so funny you bring up Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is the question given in 2020,
Yep.
where James Comey is standing by his previous testimony. They didn't authorize an anonymous leak on the Clinton Foundation thing. But what you'll find there is, if you actually read the Inspector General report, that McCabe never alleged that he sought authorization from Comey, and
Right.
so it's just like Ted Cruz is perhaps fishing.
Just
But even
making shit
Ted
up.
Cruz separately sent a letter to the DOJ saying that we don't know to what extent Comey authorized the leak, or to what extent it's conflicting with McCabe's testimony or whatever. There is a conflict on what happened afterwards.
Is Wick
in
good
terms
tonight?
of
Oh,
Comey
Wick is
saying
just
that
moderating
McCabe
tonight.
didn't suggest that the leak
He's
came from
not,
him, and McCabe said that he did admit that it came from him. So
saying
that's where there is
anything
actually a
crazy,
genuine
but-
conflict in what they said after the fact. But it doesn't
Yeah,
have to do
seems
with prior
chill.
authorization. And Ted Cruz himself, it's so funny you bring up Ted Cruz. He was the one who, in his letter, I think my most recent short shows this, that in his letter he said, "We do not know if Comey gave authorization." So even if you take Ted Cruz, a partisan MAGA Republican, who is obviously
Let's watch that short. While we're at it. Curious.
Good idea.
Maybe it's this.
We can.
Yeah,
If you
what
want
do
to
you-
dodge, you can do that.
What do you want to say about Comey?
There was evidence that he leaked, that he had McCabe leak to the media, specifically the New York Times.
It's the same thing. Peace has been arguing with
that,
people about this for the last few days.
about the Russia investigation
Makes sense.
into Trump.
What is that evidence?
I'm quoting Wikipedia now. In a December 2020 letter to the Department of Justice, U.S. Senator Ted Cruz wrote
That's a
to
letter
former FBI
to. Sorry. That's a letter to the Department of Justice. That's not a letter from McCabe, correct?
Yeah, you're correct.
Okay. So what's your evidence that McCabe on Trump or on Comey's ordering
Yeah.
like leaked something?
Ted Cruz wrote the former FBI official Andrew McCabe had said that Comey was aware of McCabe's authorization to leak to the press, but Comey has
So
denied the claim.
who?
Yeah. So what is the evidence that McCabe sought authorization from Comey,
Yeah,
or that Comey
just doesn't say
authorized
that.
McCabe to say anything to the press?
The evidence would be Ted Cruz corresponds with the DOJ.
That's not evidence. It's that Ted Cruz asking the DOJ for something or sending a letter.
Yeah, in the letter, what it says here, we do not know, however, whether and to what extent then FBI Director Comey was aware of and authorized this leak after the fact. The letter that people are citing says, Ted Cruz does not know
That's not
To what
evidence of
extent
McCabe.
they knew?
Ted Cruz was
Right.
in there,
Well,
so
he's-
what's the evidence? What's the evidence that's cited to by the letter? That's not evidence. That's a letter to the DOJ.
Well, it's that McCabe said this. Like, what do you mean?
So McCabe says that he authorized a leak. He doesn't say that Comey authorized or told him to authorize it. And it doesn't have to do with Russia. It has to do with Hillary Clinton. So you're wrong about that.
Okay, and what's your point?
There's an absence of evidence. So
What's your
everything that I've been
point?
presented with
And there's no
doesn't
evidence.
show that Comey
Doesn't say
lied.
anything.
And so I'm
Okay, well,
I'm
Comey
seeking
was
evidence of
aware
it.
of McCabe's authorization, so I don't know what's your.
After he
I think we're good on that. There's gonna be that guy talks slow.
It's just over and over again,
his
yeah.
history of
Yeah.
mischaracterizing his testimony, at his word, his letter to the DOJ indicates that they're actually not aware that Comey authorized this leak to the Wall Street Journal, and the reason is because it's been investigated and he didn't authorize it. And the IG found that, and
Yep.
the previous Trump administration found that. And guess what? The reason they charged McCabe, right? The previous Trump administration charged McCabe. Why? Because their theory was that McCabe was lying. So it's a height of irony to come back afterwards and in a conflict between a he said, she said, which isn't even in conflict with each other on the relevant portion, that in that conflict, Trump takes the side of McCabe in the first term and then takes the side, Comey in the first term and takes the side of McCabe in the second term. So it's all bullshit. And even Ted Cruz's own statements show the emptiness of this charge.
All right, we can go off about that later or whatever, but I have no clue where the show's
We're
going.
ending the show. So
Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, I don't really want to continue to talk. I have no.
I mean, what's the point? You haven't read any of this shit. I mean, I'm sorry to be mean, but like, you came on a stream. You don't know shit about this indictment, dude. You don't know anything about it. You haven't read the IG report
Yep.
about the McCabe matter. You don't really know who Dan Richmond is. You don't know any of the theories behind it. And so, like, I'm not like trying to be mean, but you shouldn't be on here. And the other guy, this like dickhead who wants to do a military coup, he shouldn't be on here either. But the fact that we're even humoring your opinions that are based on nothing, you're making the comparison to the Her report, trying to characterize the Her report. You haven't read it. Isn't this
Yup.
embarrassing?
That's
Oh, I never said
awesome.
all. I had a great time.
True.
Okay,
Good fun.
great.
He's
Wonderful.
right.
We're gonna go into closing statements.
My guy, Peace Code.
Dev,
My
I
guy.
want to talk to you about the Adam and Stitch thing after this.
My boy right there.
Fine.
Do
But I'll
you?
always
I
support
do.
That was a
Peace
fun
Code,
fucking time,
even
wasn't
when
it?
I
it's
do. I have some
retarded.
thoughts, but I want to get through. I want to get through
Sure,
this
sure,
segment
sure,
before we
True.
transition to that, and they can leave if they want or stay if they want. It's up to them. We're gonna start with Audacity closing statements, and we're
Who
gonna end
among
with,
us has not been
Palp.
retarded?
Let's go around. Go ahead, Audacity. Give us your thoughts.
At one point or another.
Again, I'm just going to end it with lawfare is bad. We shouldn't be doing it. We can always go chasing the original sin of who started it. We can
Me,
always build, someone
actually.
could always build a strong justification. Someone obviously, to Pisco's
Okay.
point, more informed than me on
Yes.
this topic. You're absolutely right about that. I did come into this looking to have a conversation. Didn't go as planned. Shit happens. I'm sorry for wasting your time. But I am just indifferent because
Why would he?
this is the current political climate we're in. This is going to be how things operate for the foreseeable future,
No,
and
it
we are
does
going
not have
to
to
have
be.
to
It does not have to be this
honestly,
way.
unless another regime gets
You can
in
just
and
not
actually makes
support it,
changes and actually puts forward the
maybe.
legislation
That is possible.
and the order. This is not how we're going
True.
to do this anymore. These cards are always going to be on the table, and it's always going to be how things are going to get played.
Okay. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate you coming on. Yeah. Thanks. I've linked to all these guys in my YouTube description, by the way. They have taken
I
time out of their
don't.
day to
Fuck
put out
him.
content, so please give them a follow. Dev, go ahead.
Okay, so it's very easy for Republicans to say that Democrats do it and Republicans don't. It's very easy for Democrats to say that Republicans do it, Democrats and then they don't. Both sides can claim that any evidence to the contrary has been manufactured by their opponents, that motivations cannot be known, and you're just mind reading the worst possibility of all possibilities. But it's actually not just postmodern anti-truth bullshit all the way down. There is an objective reality here. There is a truth value that we can unearth. And the honest truth is, guys, I'm sorry, but like the Democrats engage in orders of magnitude less lawfare than the Republicans right now. And that can be borne out just through honest inquiry and investigation. And you know, I will self-shill right now. If you have a spare 4 hours and you're a Trump supporter, go watch my January 6th video. It's 4 hours because I
Oh,
I put in
God.
every
Oh,
single
I thought
piece
that
of
was the other
evidence,
guy, sorry.
Every single drop.
No, this is Dev. He's good.
I talked
We
to
like
all my
Dev.
right-wing friends.
I thought
gathered
that
a whole
was
bunch of questions
the
that they had,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, good faith
Jan
questions
6
about
guy.
the election. And
So
I
it's like,
answered
oh,
each and
shit.
every single one of them with evidence. So if you're open-minded, if you're honest, go give me a click. I would appreciate it. And you know what? After you watch that 4 hours, I guarantee you will have at least a few more questions of your own.
Thanks for coming in. Check out that video, gang. Take a little bit of time out of your weekend or something. Go watch that. Peace go, please.
Yeah, this debate was sad, man. I mean, it kind of ended in the first minutes where there was one of our interlocutors who said, basically, I'm not here to defend the Comey indictment, and I'm just going to trust potentially that it's possible, I suppose, that there's some secret evenance none of us are aware
Let's
of.
trust the government.
And then
you
eventually
know?
admitted that I'm
It's-
indifferent.
They've
I'm
do
indifferent
something
now
Literally.
as to
Let
whether
the
or
government
not
do
there
something
are
bad.
political prosecutions
Couldn't be,
going on.
right?
That's
Imagine
like
saying that
actually-
of
that's
your
like
company.
actually what
You
he
don't
said.
care whether or not lawfare
Literally.
persists by your side. That's essentially admitting the worst kinds of accusations that were made of the left and the Democrats is you don't care about it when it's on your side, and you're just accepting that wholesale. Yes, I don't mind political prosecutions. I mean, he goes a step further, saying even if it's the case that my preferred candidate loses in every
Whoa,
single
got
election
20 viewers.
contest
Where'd you
in
all come
court
from?
and before the various state legislatures and
What's
before
up,
Congress,
y'all?
ultimately, I would be okay with a military-style coup to promote a theory that was
Sup?
never substantiated in all these different forums where there was plenty of time and space to air out those forums on the fact and the law. And it ultimately grounds out into, like, you just don't believe in these principles. You don't hold the principle of no lawfare, no political prosecutions. On the facts of each one of these cases, we can explain very clearly why the prosecutions against Trump are based in fact and law and why there's justification to go down those. You haven't even read the primary sources or the main reports or the relevant investigatory documents of those cases. Haven't read the her report. Haven't read Ngoran's opinion with respect to the Letitia James decision.
You just
Haven't
don't know
read,
anything
any
about
of the relevant
this.
fact
And somehow
patterns
they feel
related to the
confident
matter.
enough to go
Right.
into
So
a
why should we
debate.
take you seriously if
Fucking
you're trying to make
insane.
these false equivalences between different cases and you haven't read it? And at worst, like trying to characterize the her report and what the main piece of evidence was in the her report and flip-flopping on whether you read it or whether you read reports of the report or read discussions of the report. This is all so embarrassing, guys. And it's embarrassing for the country that we have to stomach
Guys.
this level of interrogation into
Bro.
things that should be of the utmost importance. The independence of the judiciary, the independence of the Department of Justice, these should be of the utmost importance. Political corruption, yes, on your own side matters. That's why I know your talking points from your side more than you do, because I actually care about it. So when someone makes an accusation, for example, that Biden was corrupt with respect to these political prosecutions against Trump, and that's their argument, I know the talking points there. I knew the quote from Alvin Bragg. Why do I know the quote from Alvin Bragg? Because when someone made that accusation, I followed up on it. Even though it's your talking point, half the time I'm the one bringing it up because I've actually done the research into this. And I would encourage you and your audiences to do this bare minimum, the scant amount of research into the claims, into the
Bare
relevant prosecutions.
fucking minimum.
Because when you
Literally.
do, you'll notice there is
You're going to do a debate
humongous
on something,
asymmetry.
maybe
It
just
is
read
an
the fucking
untenable
things.
asymmetry. But that asymmetry exists
Maybe know what the
purely
fuck you're
and
talking
exclusively
about.
with the MAGA corrupt officials currently in charge of the executive branch. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for being here. Check them out, gang. Poppy, you are last up. Close us out.
I'm retarded. If you never I know none of you guys have ever heard of me, so I'm sure you never watch my show, and that's fine. But check it out because it's most
I
all
don't
I
want to
do
know about you.
is I read the news and I opine. And a running joke with me and my co-host since we started the podcast back in 2021 is don't come to us for advice or these hardcore super deep dive political takes because we're just two intoxicated retards. That's what we are.
Oh.
But I was given a prompt. I tried my best a day.
No.
I did my best to prepare for that prompt. And then we
No.
went off into the weeds on everything else tangential
You
to the
can't even
prompt.
take
and I was
accountability.
frankly unprepared for a lot of it. And I hope my retardation was at least entertaining and you got something out of it. And I'll close with this. Everything that guy just said is bullshit. And with that, I yield the balance of my time.
Okay, wonderful. Dev, you wanna-
can't even own his
That's it,
takes.
so I'm gonna let these other guys go.
Hey,
We can if you want, sure.
Thank you.
It was a fun night.
thanks, guys. Much appreciated.
Yeah, thanks. See you later, buddy.
Holy shit.
All right.
I don't think I have. That is maybe the most one-sided discussion that I have ever participated in. It was like
Yeah, it was dog
I
shit.
felt bad,
Yeah.
but
They're all horrible. Like every conversation about
couldn't let
anything,
my foot off the
like
gas because of
anything
how
ever,
much this
is
matters
just the
to me.
same shit.
but like
It's always
Jesus
bad.
Christ.
They're
I
all
think
bad.
it's telling that the conservative to typical people that they have on don't want to come into this discussion because it's just you can't defend it. It's indefensible. There's
That's
no
why he had to
tenable
get
defense of it.
like Wake had to get those guys that nobody's ever seen before because nobody else will fucking defend that shit because they know.
A
I'm still
lot
alive?
more than I
Well-
think.
I was just
left-wingers,
talking
I say things there sometimes and no one knows who I am.
Yeah, but I mean like on this particular thing, like this is what Trump did the other day, right? How many Trump supporters are in Wake's audience that Wake knows that Wake could reach out to, that
True.
and the ones that come on that he
True.
can get on, right, are these people because nobody else wants to defend it because nobody actually wants to defend anything Trump does. They would just talk around shit and just fucking lie and dodge and be, oh, what about you? What about you? What about you? And then that's it. That's all they could ever do. They don't
That's
actually
fair.
hold beliefs. It's fucking insane.
Fair.
Damn, we're in a shutdown right now. Isn't that crazy?
Is there any more news memes?
Not really. They just kept trying today to pass it and weren't able to because Democrats haven't gotten what they wanted because that's what you do when you negotiate. You have your, like the Democrats' terms are out there. Like they're known. Like, hey, they want you to fix the fucking healthcare shit that is being fucked by this fucking CR, but they don't want to do it. So that's simple.
I thought the Bernie Sanders video was good. I liked it. I like what he's been doing.
Yeah, he does good stuff. I had a good, not Burke Market. Fuck, deleted it. Newsom posted a face thing. Did you hear that Jane Goodall died earlier today?
I saw that. That's so
Monkeys.
sad.
Fuck.
Chimpanzees, I think.
Yeah, the chimps. Yeah. It's all monkeys.
No.
It's all monkeys.
Yeah.
If he was on
That made me
Gavin
sad.
Newsom's account himself, that is. Fuck, I can't find it. Fuck, did it get deleted? There's no way it was deleted. Fuck. It's a good post too.
What do you do?
Oh, it's just like, oh, now that the government shut down, Gavin Newsom is now president of the world. As of today, we will be giving free healthcare to people, and we will be doing this and doing this, and it's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was gonna say I didn't have that much else to cover. I didn't want to look at more shutdown stuff to the news. I wanted to listen to a convo that my good friend Kafka Esquire did on Destiny stream earlier today.
Oh,
I
fun.
didn't get a good listen, but went on and had a chat. And apparently some people had thoughts about, so I just wanted to re-listen. See, and also so everybody else can see my good friend Kafka Esquire, what he believes in advance of next week. We're going to be doing our next e-court show.
Oh, when?
Debate. Possibly next Thursday. We're still hammering out the details, but yeah. For all you watching, next Thursday, for right now, as far as we know, next Thursday around 4 p.m. PST, 7 EST, going to be the next e-court show.
It's
I'm not
earlier
sure if
this
I should
time.
even be. Yeah, it's gonna be way earlier this time. Last time it was late because one of the people had a work call that they had to do so late, and they're West Coast. But for this time, it's gonna be a much more reasonable hour, and I don't even know if I'm gonna announce it because I think it's happening. I mean, Food Shops came on and was like talking about it, so it's happening. It's gonna be Food Shops versus Hobbit Follower. Food Shops, good friend of the stream, streamer, on Kick Food Shops, YouTube Food Shops. So follow her. I'm sure most of you know her. And versus Hobbit Follower, and a moderator of Destiny subreddit, and they will be debating on the topic of how we treat our allies. And we're specifically talking about people like Hutch, Soy Pill, Not So Erudite, who are critiquing Destiny on his rhetoric, Charlie Kirk wise, and people are giving them shit, and Hobbit Follower is defending them, sort of, in his position as head moderator. But it will be more hammered out for the actual debate itself. We'll see.
Is that the position, like, are they the positions that they hold themselves, or?
Yeah, for this one, it's not going to be like, well,
interesting.
We're going to hammer out like the specifics, like, so we know everybody's position going in, like where exactly is disagreement, and we'll hammer on where the actual disagreement lies. But yeah, last time it was one person. It was kind of like, it was very much like mock, like that guy wasn't actually anti H1B, but this time it is going to be more actual, and we're going to see how it works. With last time it was like actual lawyers, so they very much knew like how this shit goes. This time it's not going to be, so we're going to see how it works with non-lawyer people. Yeah.
Fun.
Fudge asking, will the loser debate be tarred and feathered? Did you ask that last time? Somebody asked that last time. We have been considering the tarring and feathering, and we will get back to you on that. For the debate itself, you'll have to. You did ask. Okay, yeah. Yes. We've been considering it. It is still on our docket. The judge has not reviewed that motion yet, but we will get back to you once the judge rules on it. However, Judge Kafka Esquire is quite slow, so this might take months to get a ruling on. So we'll let you know.
Based.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi. Hello.
Really quiet again.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was chatting, typing to somebody. All right, let me put on this convo.
What's up, baby?
Hey, I heard some of your conversation earlier. So hey, everybody, it's Kafka. I heard some of your conversation earlier. You touched on free speech for a little bit and kind of the issues that we are facing around it. And I just want to run that by you, get your opinion. So, do you think that, like, whenever you think about free speech, would you agree that we have it for like a specific purpose?
You're
right?
welcome,
Like,
Fudge.
free speech isn't the end unto itself.
Correct.
Whenever we talk about it, right? So, like, we have free speech because we want to be able to, like,
it produces better outcomes. There's a tension between multiple speakers being allowed to speak. The tension that in resolving these debates is good for society in general. Yeah.
Well, I think we could even like go in even more precise of like, people having free speech mean that the government can't control reality for people, right? We can say things and the government can't stop us.
I mean, the government can
Right,
still
like-
control reality. They can still have a heavy input into what people see as real or not, right? Like rigging like government figures
Sure.
and stuff.
Sure, but if the government, let's say the government has like a vested interest in a certain like view of reality or perception of reality, and then someone says, well, that's not true because of these reasons, free speech lets us do that. Lets us at least
Sure.
try to make the attempt to like
That was
fight
right.
back against it. And I feel like in my mind, that's where I see a lot of like where that First Amendment right comes from, right? Is people, is the founders, or at least people that agreed with the way they set the Constitution, is we want to be able to speak out against
You can
the
disagree
government
with this,
Wait,
basically.
controlling
Yeah.
people.
wait, the Prancess in my chat. Hold on. Wait, what? Hold on. Prancess talking shit. What the fuck? I'm shadow banned on Kick. My chats don't show up. Wait, what the fuck? Why isn't your shit Prancess?
Wait,
Hold on. Let me
what?
DM Prancess. What's going on with Prancess?
What happened?
I don't know. Prancess was trying to chat in my Kick chat, and apparently it's shadow banned and can't see.
Whoa, really?
You say talking shit? Was I talking shit? Did I mention Prancess?
No, not while I've been here.
Yeah, I don't think I mentioned Prancess. Somebody tell him I was talking shit when I wasn't talking shit? What happened? Hold on.
That'd be crazy.
My chats don't show up. Prawn. Earlier, Peach asked if they were talking shit in YouTube chat. What do you... Oh. Peach? Oh, is that what... Okay. Peach asked if people were talking shit in YouTube chat. I said no, and Prawn said talking shit. So Prawn was watching. It's not... Oh. Oh yeah, why the fuck? Okay, hold on. Now I better.
I'm sorry, my bad.
No, you're good, but... No, I'm just surprised Prawn was in there. Prawn, are you still watching? Oh, I think he's live now, so... I assume he's not watching, but... See, what's
Ask
Prawn up
him.
to? What's
Is
the
he
Prancess
okay?
up to? What's
Ask
Prawn up
him.
to? What's
Is
the
he
Prancess
okay?
up to? Oh my god. The Prancess. What's he up to? What's going on here?
And stream. I've been playing Mega Bonk a lot. Not very scary,
He's
but
gaming.
a lot of fun. Very addictive.
Hello?
And finally, signed
Fuck,
up
I'm
for
not
Death.
not signed in. Hold on, fuck. I opened my other fucking Chrome
When did I beat Silent Hill 2?
Prancess chat.
I felt like
Hello?
yesterday, but it's probably like a while ago.
What's
It was
up,
back in March. Damn.
buddy?
Time flies. Time fucking flies.
See what he has to say.
Oh, is he reading it?
Let's see. Maybe he's reading. Maybe not. I mean, he's starting playing games, so...
Like, all right,
Oh.
it's nice that you like update your graphics and whatever, and like have like new branding. But can you fix your app, please? What's up, Zipzip? Bro, I was trying to talk in the chat and it wouldn't post. I'm like shadow ban on Kick.
What the heck?
Silent Hill feminism, is that what the F is for? Real life is scary enough. True. Well, it was decent company. No stress having her hang around. No, she's very chill. Very chill. She helped me transition to the non-drama time, to the wholesome content. She was down for that.
Also, I
She was
heard
down
he's
for
doing D&D. Let's see if that's a thing.
it.
What's
You
what
can type
all
it
of
in your own
D&D is he
chat.
doing?
Oh, that's true.
I
I'd be
thought
down
you.
for D&D.
That's true.
I had no idea what you were saying.
Well, I'm doing it through Restream. We try
You
it
not
right
hear me,
now.
or just...
No, I heard you.
Ooh, yeah.
It
we're
was a
doing D&D.
DMT, like
That's
he was
it.
doing
Which one
drugs.
is-
Oh, no,
Gotta sign up.
D&D. Dungeons
Thing
and
is,
Dragons.
I'm gonna have to whittle people down. We already have 8 people that are interested.
Okay, that's a lot of
I
people.
bet some will bow out, but I'm not trying to do D&D with 9 people. The combat would take forever. Alright, let me
Fuck, I
test
keep
some
typing in the
out.
wrong fucking screen.
Graphics.
Hello.
Hi. Sorry, I'm chatting to...
Dead stream.
Shut up.
Gotta entertain the people. You're streaming.
Well, you're here too. You could entertain them.
Okay, I didn't know
Miss-
you're doing something.
Miss Fake Kelly Jean.
I don't know,
You
maybe
could have
this
been
is my
doing
other
something.
There's gotta be like
I don't
a... There's
know.
gotta be like a
There we go.
dollar store Kelly Jean joke, something that I could do, right? Something that like...
I'm
Very
not
rhymes or
a
something?
dollar store Kelly Jean.
I know, but there's gotta be like a... It's
How
gotta be like
dare
a...
you?
Something that rhymes. There's gotta be something that rhymes. Oh shit, Non-Fawn's in my... Oh, what's up, Non-Fawn? What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Move that here.
What's going on, man? Somebody said, no, talk to chat. The fuck? Chris, CSF? Oh, hey, CSF, what's up? Can you make some Sword 2 memes
That's too many
of
people
Destiny content?
laughing
Okay,
my ass off.
thanks,
I know,
CSF.
I know. I'm not doing
I'm
that.
convinced. Okay. Not much going on with me, but I'm good. Yo, that's good to hear, Non-Fawn. How you doing? Are you...
Wait, why
What's
is
going
it
on? Are you
locked
streaming
in?
right now? Are you live?
Bro.
Non-Fawn's not live, is he? non. I don't want to go off prompt. Did he respond? I didn't.
Can you guys hear the music?
If he responded. Non-fun's not
His
live.
name's
I don't see it
Rhyme.
in my audio.
I'm always here, just not able
That's
to
not
chat
good.
with. Oh,
That's
okay.
not
No, you're
good.
good. CSF. That's awesome. I've been lazy. I wouldn't be chatting if I was like. I mean, yeah,
Why
it makes
is that
sense.
fucking locked?
I
Okay,
guess that
I'm
makes
gonna
sense.
try borderless.
What have you been up to recently? Streaming or otherwise? How's the shrimp welfare going?
Shrimp?
Have you saved a lot of shrimp? Yeah, non-fun is he's saving the shrimp.
Really?
Yeah, he's saving the shrimp. He loves shrimp. Yes, non-fun is the shrimp king. Non-fun will become a Zipzip 45 restreamer. Non-fun, I love you. Definitely restream my shit because you have more viewers than I do. I think. Probably you absolutely have more viewers than I do. So
Yeah, mine
become
too.
a Zipzip restreamer. Give me eyes.
I like shrimp. Are we talking what kind of shrimp? Like the shrimp that we eat?
Yeah, his thing
Nice.
is. Non-fun's asking Baby Peach, have you heard about the Shrimp Welfare Project? Have you heard about the Shrimp Welfare Project?
No, I haven't. What's that?
It's about farmed shrimp, okay? It's about the conditions in which shrimp are farmed, that they are
Oh.
inhumane, and
Really?
shrimp, in fact, do feel pain, and they are being unfairly treated, okay? We gotta save the shrimp. That's what
How do we do
Non-fun's
that?
doing. Donate to the Shrimp Welfare Project. And they are
Okay.
raising awareness and being based.
The Shrimp Welfare
I
Project?
will open Non-Fawn's linked tweet about the Shrimp Welfare Project.
Please do.
It would load. Why is it not loading? There it is.
22.
It's 1 minute 45.
In 2022, some 440 billion farm shrimp were killed. Many of
shrimp
them died
costume.
painful deaths, buried alive
I'm
in
showing
ice
her the
and
video
left to
non-farm.
freeze and
It's very
suffocate over
important.
the course of 20 minutes.
Is
But
this
some of
non-fraud?
them were treated to a much less
This is
painful
non-fraud.
and immediate death via electrical
I love the
stunning
shrimp
machines.
costume. Oh
That's
my
due to the
god.
efforts of the Shrimp Welfare Project, a charity which works with farmers to implement humane slaughter initiatives, saving about 3.9 billion shrimp a year from suffering a painful death. They also limit inhumane practices while shrimp are still alive. Things such as eye socket ablation, in which female shrimp have their eyes removed to artificially increase their fertility. Not only is that painful and
Aww.
stressful for the shrimp, but it also leads to deformities in their offspring. And yes, the evidence suggests that shrimp are sentient and can feel pain. They rub their wounds and respond to painkillers. They make trade-offs between pain and receiving a reward. They even showcase individual differences in behavior and risk aversion. And the
Exactly.
Shrimp Welfare Project is incredibly effective. Just $1 can save about 1,500 shrimp from painful deaths per year for 10 years. That's 15,000
Really?
shrimp in
Holy
total.
shit.
It's obviously hard to know exactly how much shrimp suffer compared to us, but the best evidence we
I'll
have
donate
suggests that
$1.
a rather conservative estimate
They
is that they
save
suffer about
1,500 shrimp.
3.1% as intensely humans do. Under that estimate, a single dollar given to the Shrimp Welfare Project prevents as much suffering as stunning 46.5 humans before they are left to die being buried alive in ice. Now, I can understand having some objection to quantifying that, and maybe you think even an equal amount of suffering experienced by shrimp isn't as bad as it would be if it were experienced by a human, but we should at least have some minimum consideration for the suffering of
Bro.
any animal, and donating to the Shrimp Welfare Project is a crazy effective way to reduce suffering.
Guys, we should advocate for humane
I'm gonna donate.
farming. Based. See, Non-Fawn.
Convince me.
See what I can do for you, Non-Fawn. Become a Zip restreamer, okay? This is what I can do for you. I can get you donations. Zip goated. I love you, Non-Fawn. Remember back in the day on Darius's DG After Hours panels? Those were the days, weren't they? What a time. Non-Fawn, are you in my
Wait, I can't-
server?
Oh,
I'm
never.
gonna add you to my server, okay? And you can hop on stream whenever you want, okay? I'll give you perms. Join.
You have to donate $10 or more.
Whoa.
That's a lot of money.
Non-Fawn lie?
But that's a lot of shrimp.
That is a lot of shrimp, though. So consider that as well.
Hmm.
Non-Fawn, do you have Prancess on? Do you have him on board with the Shrimp Welfare Project? Or is there a war between the prawn and the shrimp? That might be a thing, right? I don't know.
Baby. Sorry.
Non-Fawn, you're invited to my server. Join my server. There are not many people in here, but there will be one day. Non-Fawn,
Hey,
Non-Fawn.
how fun.
You have stream perms now. You can join my stream now if you want, or in general. If you ever want to hop in and talk about, I don't know, some economy shit. I know you do a lot of economy stuff, government stuff, whatever. We cover news, politics, anything. Well, at least he's heard of it. Not sure how on board he is. Well, Francis is live right now. I think you should go in there and teach him a lesson. Teach him about the Shrimp Welfare Project.
Do you have to donate $10 at a time, or sorry, at least
Minimum.
$10?
I don't know. I don't know, actually. Non-fun. Oh, wait. Non-fun's in the call. Hello? Non-fun?
Yeah.
I am.
Yo, what's up, Non-fun, my friend? How are you?
Jeez. Oh, I gotta close the stream. I'm a fucking amateur.
Oh my god. You gotta turn off the
Yeah, I'm
radio
doing
when you
good.
call in, brother. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, I know. Horrible. You do kind of have to. I think if you donate through the Shrimp Welfare Project directly or whatever, or through the every.org thing, you do have to donate $10 at a time. You can kind of get around it if you donate via my Tiltify link, because I did the
Oh.
I did the Shrimp Welfare subathon thing. I just did a charity stream
Yeah.
where I kept streaming as long as people kept donating to the Shrimp Welfare Project. So if you use my link, you can donate less than $10, but you do also have to donate in pounds. I mean, PayPal will
That's
do
okay.
PayPal will do the conversion for you, but I think you have to donate
Wait, why would it be in pounds?
$1.44 or whatever the exchange rate is right now. So
Why would it
No
do that?
worries. I'll look it up. Is it on
'cause
your
they're-
X?
You just
they're
posted it in
they're
the
British
thing.
charity. I sent it in
I'm gonna put it
the-
in
The Discord?
the
my
side chat. Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in my chat.
I can read your Discord, by the way.
Pounds? I thought the British used stones. True fudge.
Wait. Zip, when you went to your side chat, I saw it on stream, so just be careful.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but
Okay.
I don't know if I can get around that. There's a way to get around it, but I don't done too late.
I just didn't know if it's the same if you open like DMs and stuff. I didn't want you to
yeah,
like
it's not the same.
accidentally.
It's just because I have
Okay.
the call popped out, and that's what I have on stream, so that's what's on.
Okay.
But it's fine. But
I just care about you.
Good call. Good call.
Whoa, you've had 420 raised so far? Oh boy.
Why it's called non-fun
Yeah.
420?
And it's 420 pounds, so it's like $500 something, $560 right now. Although it
Dang,
wasn't
that's awesome.
it wasn't 560 when I raised it. The exchange rate changes quite a bit, but
Wait, why is it in pounds? You're American, aren't you? Like,
they're they're a UK charity. So
oh,
it's
I see.
in
I see,
pounds.
I see.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Look at
Yeah.
based.
it's annoying. It's cringe.
What's,
It's the worst thing about them.
You have any
honestly.
thoughts about the government shutdown right now? Anything you know that I don't? What do you think?
I don't think so. I mean, my thoughts are not going to be that
I mean, we're gonna agree.
complex,
obviously, yeah,
but
it's bad.
You know, let's say, yeah, believe it or not, well, government shutdown bad. Okay,
Well,
ideally the
actually,
Republicans
you know what?
would.
No, actually,
I'm happy with it.
shutdown is good because it's the Republicans that
Well,
did it,
so-
and
so
the
the-
Democrats are
Wait, sure.
allowing the shutdown. It's good that there is a shutdown happening because the alternative to this is Democrats not.
Sure.
fighting for
Okay.
people's health.
Yeah. I was gonna. So the shutdown itself is bad. Obviously, is the thing I'm saying.
It was leading
I
to
think
bad consequences. Yeah. No,
yeah. So I think the issue is there's a way Democrats could play it out. It'd probably be good for them. I don't know. The issue is I don't have faith that the Democrats are going to be able to
believe,
effectively
okay.
message on
I
stuff,
believe.
but
True.
I believe.
it's possible.
I think it's already happening. Okay, look at the polls. Look at the polls. Okay, if you've seen Chuck
What
Schumer,
polls?
Hakeem Jeffrey talking, they pull up the polls. Okay, if you just look at the past, when Trump was president, we had 2 shutdowns, and it fucked them really hard. They lost midterms,
Yeah.
partly because of it. I have confidence that even if the Democrats do not message well on it, that the American people will know that it is the Republicans' fault because they're the party in power. And
hopefully,
I think
Yeah, most people don't really think much past that, so.
Yeah, it's true. I do think Democrats are doing mostly okay with the messaging. Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer pulled their shit together at the last minute, like yesterday, and did good in their speeches. And people like AOC have been going really hard on the shutdown today. And obviously
Bernie
she's really
Sanders
popular.
has been good too.
Bernie did good. I saw the new senator from Delaware, I believe. I forget her name. But she did a video.
the Sarah
Yeah.
McBride or whatever.
Yeah, Sarah McBride.
Yeah.
That's right. She did a video where she's like looking for where the Republicans at for the shutdown, and they're nowhere to be found because they don't want to negotiate. So that was a good video.
Let's
It's cute.
go.
There's a lot of good people out there fighting a good fight as Democrats. I think we will get through it. I believe.
Hopefully, they healthcare
hey-
is a issue most people agree with Democrats on.
Hey,
So
wait,
hopefully
hey,
they.
Yeah,
and if
true.
not, the alternative is we break the record set by Trump. Or I guess I don't think he technically broke the record, but at least in modern history, he fucking can get another. It was 35 days last time was the shutdown.
Wait, really?
make it
I don't remember
longer,
it being that
yeah.
long.
There was like stopgaps, so it wasn't like technically like fully like defunded or whatever, but still was a shutdown for 35 days.
Jeez.
We need to go longer. We go longer. We're in it for the long haul. Okay. I hope our Democrats will not fuck themselves. I hope.
Ideally, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, guys, save the shrimp. Donate
The shrimp.
to
Save the
Nonpause
shrimp.
Thing. Just $1 saves 1,500 shrimp, guys. Okay, from suffering.
Those poor
From
shrimp.
suffering a painful.
You know what's unfortunate? The 1,500 estimate was like the I don't think it was the median. It might have been. It was either the median or the average because it's based in like in expectation.
Yeah.
So it was like I think it was 1,100 to 2,000 or whatever. They have revised their estimates. Okay, they have better data.
Oh.
Okay, the new estimates are like 1,000 to 2,000, and I think they say the most likely now is 1,400. Okay, so it's actually
Wow.
only 14,000 shrimp
Hey,
per dollar
you
That's
know
now.
what?
still
All
a
that
lot.
means, all that means, okay, is
Ideally.
that the Shrimp Welfare Project has done so well that there are less shrimp that they could possibly help. Okay.
True.
That's true. That's true.
So-
Well, part of it probably is that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last thing I saw about it, which I bet this estimate's outdated by now too, but it said that they were still experiencing economies of scale, basically. So they still actually were getting more and more per dollar the more they scaled up. But they might be at the point where there's diminishing.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it
marginal
works. But
utility
I
there.
mean,
But,
you
yeah.
still gotta fight the good
That's
fight.
okay
yeah?
though. That's
Honestly,
Have
awesome.
me some shrimp welfare.
Although I mean, at some point it wouldn't be the best. It wouldn't be the best thing anymore. Not that
Hey,
I don't have super strong opinions.
as long as
on
there's
if it's
one,
like
if there's
literally.
one suffering shrimp, okay, then gotta keep up the fight. Okay.
But if the opportunity cost of the dollar is giving it to like
Don't worry
malaria
about
nets,
that. Okay. Don't-
then
we get there when we get there.
yeah.
Okay. We're not there yet. But yeah.
like,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
at some
review
point it would be
this,
so few shrimp that it'd be better to give
yeah,
it to malaria nets or something. But yeah.
Exactly. Oh, true. You gotta get on the next thing. True. Jump on the next.
Yeah.
Thing. I'm covering this Kafka combo. If you want to hang out non-fawn, you can. But otherwise,
This
other
is what
shrimp guys.
exactly? This
Kafka
what?
Esquire, my
Kafka.
co-host for the E-Court. He talked to Destiny earlier, and I wanted to revisit the combo. Make sure I understood. But yeah, dude, you have perms now. You ever want to hop
Hell
in,
yeah.
talk some politics or whatever's going on? If you see me live talking about something you want to hop on for, come on.
Hell yeah! Wait, I have one
Oh, go ahead.
thing for you. Okay,
Yeah, what you got?
this is the only. You're
Oh,
the drama
boy,
streamer.
I'm
Okay,
not-
I'm the
oh.
econ streamer. This is.
Ooh.
It's a clip. Let's see. What do we got here? I don't care for the anti-fanship. What is this
Don't
clip?
watch it in public. Dude, you can just say
Wait,
no.
I'm
And
being sent a non-fun tweet. I'm being sent a non-fun tweet.
Wait, Queeman, he knows you? Why does he
What is
care
non-fun
about
posting
your
here?
shit? Bro, what was this tweet?
I surrender to you. I submit.
What was this, man?
I don't see anything
If
wrong
your
with it.
first name
You know what?
starts with the letter J, I surrender to you.
You know
A
what?
little bit.
What is this? Do you know her?
No, it's literally just an Instagram reel I
This
saw.
guy's ill. This guy's ill.
A little bit after that clip, he pulled up another tweet of mine, or I think got linked another tweet of mine. It was you know how the Charlie Kirk shooter dude had like a furry porn game installed or whatever.
Yeah, I do know that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like quote tweeted a news article about that with a screenshot of my friend's Steam library, and he has a bunch of furry games because if you look at the screenshot, he has like
Hey.
10,000 games installed because he there's a program that lets you install like every free or add to your library every free game on Steam.
Oh
And
shit.
that includes
I will say
a
that
lot
is
of furry
tweet,
games.
non-fun. That is a tweet that I could make. Okay, so yeah, I get it. I have a friend.
Oh,
with
really?
I said like it didn't include the one he had, so I said like, oh, thank God I didn't have that one. And Queeman thought it was real, bro. He thought it was real.
Oh my
If it were
God.
me,
So-
it would be real, but so maybe I shouldn't have said that then. I assumed you were.
Wait, how
being
many
legit, but-
furry games do you have?
Me?
Yeah.
None. I'm not a furry. I just happen to be friends with a furry.
Oh.
I have not been gifted a furry game, although one of my other friends has been gifted a furry game by that friend.
Have you seen the furry dance competitions?
No, I have not seen.
I highly recommend them.
I don't know if I'm going to be watching that.
They're actually
Okay,
really
no, fine.
good.
I don't know if I needed to see this, but yes, thank you.
I just want to clarify. Those are the
But
only 3
I've seen worse.
Are those furry
games
feet?
I actually have. Yeah, one of them is furry feet. I think I was gifted all of these.
Oh,
so
bro. Okay, nice.
I've not played them,
Based.
but they are goated.
Holy shit! I just looked at the
Yeah.
screen of hey, look, CS Avenue, it's you on screen. You're there. CS Ave, it's you.
No way.
He's in my chat right
Wow.
now. What the heck? Okay. Yeah, is that based shit? I don't know why
Yeah.
Cleveland cares
Yeah,
about
yeah.
your tweets, but that's hilarious. And
That's
also,
really funny, yeah.
good tweet.
I mean, I think it's only just linked to
tweet.
him.
I appreciate
I guess he does know who I am. I guess I literally just for some reason YouTube recommended me. I think I'm subscribed to him, so I guess that makes sense. But YouTube like recommended me one of his live streams just because he was talking about economics in it for some reason. I guess that is a thing that he does sometimes. And I just typed in chat, and like everyone in his fucking
I
chat
see.
recognized me, and there are people like doing the shrimp emoji, which I'm glad. I'm at least
Aw,
glad. Okay,
Even if
when
Cleveland's
I
a
type
retard, but that's good that they at least know.
when I type in chat, yeah, people recognize the shrimp stuff or whatever.
Yeah. We love
I
That's
think
the
so
welfare
cute.
project here. Zip stream, guys.
True.
Right, shrimp welfare friendly, okay? We love your shrimp.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, yeah.
Taste.
Okay, well I'll let you cover your whatever.
Yeah, yeah. And if you wanna hop on, feel free, bro. If you
It was
wanna
nice
do
to
a
meet
collab-
you.
Actually, if I ever do want to do I'll keep you in mind for the E-Court. I feel like you'd be good for debate about some economic shit or something. I don't know.
Hell yeah, for sure.
Thank
yeah.
you for teaching me about the shrimp, and thank you for all that you do for them.
Based.
Well, yeah,
Thank you so much.
appreciate it. Okay, yeah.
Alright.
Get back to
man.
your stuff. But I would be willing to do any debate about like tariffs or the new H-1B changes and stuff like that. So yeah,
Our last
but, yeah,
episode
appreciate
on
it.
the E-Court was about the H-1B changes. So
Oh hell
you
yeah!
might want to check it
Hell
out. YouTube.com/zipzip0045 and check out our last. It's
Hell yeah.
uploaded. It was fun.
I think I probably will watch that. Let's go.
Yeah. All right, bud.
Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I will become a Zip streamer and I'll watch it on
Maybe.
stream and I'll
You might
say your
have to.
content and you can.
Just saying, there's a market for it. Okay, there's a market for being a Zip streamer. So consider it.
Let's go.
Think
Dang.
about it.
Let's go. Yeah.
man.
Okay.
It's
Get back
good talking
to
to
your.
you. Been a while, so good to see you. All right, man.
Yeah, of course. Good to see you. Appreciate it. Nice to meet you, Baby Peach.
Bye. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Talk to you both later. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna heat up my chicken bowl.
Okay. Have fun.
One second.
Do you want me to wait for you to watch this or? Okay.
No, it's okay. You can watch it.
Right.
I'll come in soon.
Talk or people perceive things. And while that worked for a long time, it seems like now our free speech rights aren't letting us do that, whether it's the government or anything else. But it's just like our free speech right is not helping in its current form to like let us talk about reality as it is and dismiss, you know, a false reality that people are trying to create. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay, so then like if the free speech right we have right now isn't achieving the ends that it was originally created for, like that is at least a like kind of philosophical argument of why our current free speech right does need to change. Does that all
Well,
that
I mean,
track?
it could be that there are other things that are going on, right? Like you could argue that like going to the gym makes a person healthier, but then say you live in a society where instead of being allowed to drink water, they're like poisoning you slowly with some water-like substance. You wouldn't say that like, well, going to the gym is hurting our ability to be healthy now, or it's not helping anymore. It still is. There's just like another thing going on that would impact it. You wouldn't necessarily have to change the gym thing. You have to change some other parasitic or detrimental thing, right?
Well, sure, but I think that if you then were saying, well, we need to change this other thing, someone says, well, no, I have a right to go to the gym, so that means you can't change it. And it's like, well, no, motherfucker, I'm not trying to change your right to go to the gym, right? In this case, I want to change free speech rights to protect people in the same way that it originally existed. And people are saying, well, no, I have an unlimited free speech right. You can't change it at all. And it's like, well, okay, I guess so, but like you're wielding that in such a way that it's so broad that there's almost no way to address the issue, right? Like right now,
I mean, the conversation needs to start with like understanding like why do we have freedom of speech and what is it supposed to do? Like, I think the conversation is pretty easy once you get past that point. The issue is that Americans have a very childlike and naive perception of what freedom of speech is. They think it just means that everybody can just scream into the void and say whatever they want at all points in time, and that's it. If that's what you think freedom of speech is, no argument about limiting any of it is going to be compelling to you because you're fucking retarded. You can't be reasoned with.
Oh, sure, right. No, I guess it's not really. It's kind of a thing where, like, in my mind, whenever I'm talking to those people, and they're just like scream, this is like an absolute free right, I wouldn't start it at this point. Usually it's me just like showing very basic ways in which we don't have an unlimited freedom of speech, right? And then kind of that, honestly, I've had that happen enough times where that like totally broke their minds that I was able to have a pretty like frank discussion about the whole thing. But
Sure. I mean, I would start at like, why do we have it, or what's the goal of it, and then is that goal being achieved? That would be, I think the important stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I was looking at it. Okay, I was just wondering because I saw that discussion you had with Natsara that came up in there, and then last thing, whenever I see Ryan talk about how he's a moderate,
Fucking Ryan.
is it fair to say it like I get the same vibes as Connor when he says he's not a Democrat? It's kind of that thing where like they're just invested in calling.
Anybody who was watching last night, that Connor erudite conversation was fucking a. That shit was garbage. Ryan Molly
I
is
missed
truly
it. Do
the
I have to
worst.
watch it?
No, it's fine. It was just really dog shit. Ryan Molly is a centrist lawyer. He's a quote-unquote centrist. He just dick sucks MAGA and Trump, but he hides behind the fact I didn't vote for Trump, and that's it. That's all he does. Made erudite kind of have a slight realization of how retarded these people truly are, and that you can't fucking olive branch with these people as hard as she tries to fucking dick suck to them. But, yeah.
Interesting. That'd be actually pretty interesting to watch.
Themselves a certain title.
I
or do
feel
you
like
think
maybe
there's something else going on there.
Well, I think Connor is like, there's a weird group of people in the United States right now, like the Never Trump Republicans, who have absolutely no home. Like, as lonely as some people might feel, the Never Trump Republicans are truly like lost at sea. Like, no, they can't talk to MAGA because MAGA fucking hates them, and they're not
True.
really liberal, so they're not going to agree on things like oh my god, every single person about to die. They're never going to agree on things like abortion or like gun control, maybe stuff like that. Yeah. So, but I legitimately believe, I have no reason to think otherwise, that Connor is not like a Never Trump Republican, but there's just no home for those people. I don't think he's a Democrat though.
Which, well, I mean, I think it's kind of like, I think it's fine if like with Connor, where like I guess I could see like, yeah, categorically you can say that, right? But at least like, yeah, fair enough. I don't think I need to split the hair on that one.
Sure. Well, I'd say there's a difference though, where like Ryan will defend basically anything that this administration does, like with substance.
He's the
like
worst.
he might disagree around the edges, but he's always going to go to bat.
I don't know this guy.
For this administration when it comes to like important things, always. And he's going to say that like the left is worse on every meaningful issue. He won't give any ground there ever. I think that's substantially different than Connor's positions.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair. But then, like I think with both Connor and Ryan in mind, then not to compare him because I think Connor's way more base, but like whenever I then think about not so erudite's position or Hutch or some of the people in those categories, where I think we talked about previously, where they're always like reaching out to try to bring people over. I always have the question of like whenever they say reach out or like have an open, have grace to let them in or whatever, is it we stand on principles and let them follow us because we are right, or is it we compromise our principles enough to let them in, right? Like, okay, this person's never going to agree with abortion.
Who are we saying is them?
Like never Trumpers or like people on the edges of the Republicans that might vote liberal. They're like that's what they would argue. Hey, there are people on the right that would vote liberal. We just need to disavow the violence one more time, right? Like that kind of like argument. Where it's like,
you have to identify what your beliefs are, and then where you give ground on them, I guess. Like I actually I think I agree overall with Ezra Klein's point that you have to be willing to accept some level of disagreement in your party. I don't like that you used pro-life as the go-to, because I feel like that's one of the most lightning rod issues that Democrats I think have a strong advantage on. I feel like gun rights would be a much easier give. It means much less principally. The damage is far less to American society, and I think there are far more votes to be picked up there. Like if you're super pro-life, and that's like a meaningfully like a massive thing to you, I don't know how many pro-life Democrats you'd be convinced by. Whereas if Democrats can just stop with the fucking obsession on like AR-15s, like you're giving like no ground, importantly in my opinion, for policy. It doesn't matter that much, and you'd pick up potentially so many more moderate people who just like the gun rights thing is like a huge thing for them, I think.
Okay, because like I can understand that kind of argument of like, okay, we need to like have kind of like a utilitarian view at like what's going to give us more voters versus like actual like good for society with our views like that. I just feel like I don't hear that discussion happening around like whenever it's like we need to say sorry for the 5,000th time and maybe they'll listen to us, right? To be facetious, but it's like I feel like whenever I like this kind of civility, politeness stuff, it seems like they're trying to say that falls into that same category of argument, but I never really see that.
Well, the civility, politeness stuff worked that way, then I would advocate for it. I mean, that's what I did for a long time, is try to be civil with conservatives, right? I mean, I feel like I thought it worked, right? So I mean, I tried it when I thought it worked, but when I feel like it's no longer working, then I'm not going to do it anymore.
Well, right, but that's what I'm saying. Like right now, it feels like we can see that it's not working, and they're unwilling to abandon it. Yeah, they don't really have anything to like support why they are choosing not to abandon it. I don't really see.
I think they don't want to be totally blackpilled on the other side, and they think that there are still people that can be won over there. When you're taking my strategy, you're basically saying like, okay, well these voters are lost to us forever. Now it's time to, appeal to your own side and see how many votes you can raise that way, right?
I don't know. Would you? I mean, I don't know if I'd use that language. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that I prefer the stance of these people have the opportunity to make the right choice. They just need to change their mind and follow us. We've done everything we can, and it's up to them now to make the decision. I don't have to. Right? Like, it's less of a like they're damned. It's more of a just like they have the tools in front of them to make the right decision. If they don't, that's not my responsibility. Right?
Sure, but I mean that's what you're talking about is like a damned position for a lot of those types.
Sure. No, I think maybe I'm being an optics cuck here. I'm just saying like it's more of a kind of like not us saying because and I think it's optics more for these people on the left that don't want to abandon MAGA. Like if I was to talk to like Nazi Erudite, I wouldn't say they're damned. We just have to try to forge our own path. It's say, hey, look, like the door is open to them. They can come over here anytime they're ready to do so. And it's abundantly clear that we are in the correct position. They should follow us, and they're choosing not to. At a certain point, you got to accept that people are going to make their own decisions, and and that's why we're forging our own path, not because like they are like damn. Maybe it's just like a
can't just
loading
infinitely cater to these people and then expect that somehow they're gonna like come into your thing. Like it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, why hold one person's hand because you want to, like, have them come over when that's not going to happen? They just, like, they have all the information available to them. I agree with that.
Exactly.
Maybe,
But,
I guess.
Okay. Yeah. All right, I appreciate the chat. Good luck in your video game.
Thanks. I love it, buddy.
Like, if they move over to, like, the other side, it's not gonna be because you were, like, holding their hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh shit, the Pete Buttigieg interview on Channel 5 came out. I
shit.
might have to watch that. That's some good content right there. Hello, Zeno D. What's
I think it would go
I
over
looking
well.
at? Government shutdown.
Because guys are looking for cheat codes.
A1.
Guys are looking for the answers. I
Debating
know I
MAGA
was when I
people.
Are not white enough.
and a lady walked for a minute. It makes me
Hanging
want.
curtains don't make these mistakes. Oh, because he's like moving, I guess. Interesting. Okay. Oh, JD Vance apparently did some speeches earlier today. I think I want to watch those actually before we get into the Pete Buttigieg convo. Because that seems like.
I watched the one with Caroline Levitt.
Oh yeah, that's what it. White House press briefing with Caroline Levitt. Let's see that.
Yeah.
That's good. And then Democrats speak after vote to end government shutdown. Fails in Senate. Okay, I might want to watch that too. These are like an hour long each though.
For the JD Vance one, he doesn't. A lot of it is like towards the end, and it's like the actual press conference with Caroline Levitt. I feel like just watching it through JD Vance, if you want to just watch him,
And then
it's
just
not
like-
like actually that long.
And then just skip the Caroline Levitt stuff, or whatever.
Most of it, yeah. When it comes to her stuff, it's like basically the stuff that you've all heard, but
Gotcha.
I guess she
Good
comments a
afternoon,
little bit on
everyone.
JD Vance's speech, but
Packed house here today, and I have a very special guest with us, the Vice President of the United States. He'll deliver some
Oh my
remarks
God,
and take
my
some questions.
right ear loves
First,
this.
I
Why
just
is
want
it
to
only
share
my
remarks
right
of
ear?
my
What
own.
the fuck?
Democrats in Congress have officially
they fixed
shut
it.
down the United
They fixed
States
it after?
government. House Republicans
Okay, so I'll
passed
leave
a
it then.
nonpartisan, clean piece
Wait, it
of
fixed for
legislation
me.
to
maybe not.
I mean, we'll see.
extend current government funding until November 21st. But nearly
Lazy Hobbit. Oh, hey, is that Hobbit Follower? I'm assuming that's Hobbit Follower. Zip, let it be known, I'm going to dominate the next segment. Hobbit Follower, I'm sure you will. I believe in you.
Woohoo!
And when Food Chop says the same thing, I'm going to tell her that I am sure she also will, okay? That's what's going to happen. But definitely one of you will win, and one of you will lose. That's that much I can definitely say.
Damn.
Thanks for watching, buddy. Covering the JD Vance talking at the White House about the shutdown, because this shit's crazy.
every single Democrat senator voted against this bill. To be clear, this was the exact same bill that Democrats approved 6 short months ago in March, just adjusted for inflation. This is the same kind of clean funding bill that Democrats passed 13 separate times when they held the majority during.
Yeah, when Democrats held the majority, it got passed. Isn't that crazy? That Democrats could get something passed when they were in power, and now the Republicans are in power, they can't get it passed. Isn't that wild?
During Joe Biden's administration. So the American people woke up this morning and asked the obvious question: why is the government shut down right now? The answer is pure partisan politics being played by the Democrat.
Okay, I don't know why she added that last part. She's right though. The answer is pure partisan
Yep.
politics. She's right. Not by the Democrats though. By the Republicans who refuse to negotiate on this continuing resolution, because that's what the fuck you're supposed to do when you're the party in power. You have to negotiate with the other side. You don't have 60 votes. You need 60 votes. Our follower says, if I lose, I'll ban her from the sub. Then we can do an unbanned appeal with her too. Holy based. Hold on. You might be onto something there. You might be onto something. That might be.
Party.
That might have to be the lost state. And then how about if you lose though, Hobbit follower? Then what happens to you? That's the next question.
Democrats shut down the government because President Trump and the Republicans will not force American taxpayers to pay for free health care for illegal aliens.
Illegal aliens do not get free health care. It's not the case. It's not how it works. It's not legal. Doesn't make any fucking sense. They can't point to anything where that's the case. It's just straight lies, and nobody gives a fuck.
America is $37 trillion in debt. We cannot afford to provide.
Again, America's $36 trillion in debt.
I know. Why?
There's one president who added more to that debt than any other president. Peace, do you know who it was?
Was it Trump?
Oh my god, ding 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 ding
Oh
ding.
my god.
You got it. It's Trump. Trump added more to the debt than any other president.
Yeah.
In one term. And he's doing it again in this second term. It's fucking insane.
And it's like, no, don't they own it too?
They no.
By
they
saying
don't own
like,
it.
oh well, it's because the country is like so bad.
They don't
and,
own
like,
it.
Blah, blah,
They
blah.
won't. They never acknowledge it because they just don't talk about it because they only talk
Oh,
about shit
I thought
they
it
don't
was
talk
more
about.
of like. I thought it was more like, yeah, well, he has to spend because it's so bad, and
Well, they say
just
that
wait
for
and
his
see.
last term.
The tariffs.
For his last term, they say, oh, that was because of COVID.
COVID.
And then you'll ask, okay, how much did he spend before COVID? And oh, he was still outpacing. Okay, oh, gotcha. So he was already spending way too much before COVID. So you can't blame COVID for it. So it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Care to illegals who broke the law to enter our country. To put this all into perspective, the Democrats
Again, illegal. When these people say illegal, understand there's a reason that people insist on the term undocumented, right? Because the term illegal does not mean anything. It means fucking nothing. Okay.
Oh,
undocumented
that's
makes
right.
sense because it's undocumented can refer to somebody who came in with no documentation, somebody who is who came in on a visa and overstayed their visa. That's not an undocumented person. They had their documents, they overstayed their thing. Somebody who's an asylum seeker, they're not undocumented. Somebody who has a temporary protected status, that is not an undocumented person. Okay, she's talking about this. This just lumps all those people in together, and then it matters. Kev says, Asmongold today said he was at the ER a lot for his dad and saw a lot of illegal aliens. He's so Jesus Christ. Did he actually say that?
JD Vance
we're gonna
says
get
something.
to it because JD Vance says something like that.
He
Yeah,
said
I saw
that because
clip.
of what JD Vance says. Yeah, yeah, it's
Exactly.
crazy.
Yeah. And I'm
I
sure it's
forgot
not
about
even
that.
true.
refuse to keep the government
And also,
open.
even if it
it's
is
not,
true,
it's impossible for it to be true.
First of all, it's probably not true. And even if it is true, yeah, undocumented immigrants, when they go to the hospital, they deserve to get treated just like anybody else. But
open over
Who cares?
healthcare to illegal aliens, and now have jeopardized critical healthcare programs for American citizens instead. The women.
It was Republicans who jeopardized healthcare for Americans. But okay.
Women, Infants, and Children program, community health center funding, Medicare treatment options, and
Yeah, so you guys should negotiate then if you want to keep those things open.
other health programs.
Lazy Hobbit says, if I lose, I'll get her a Gemsar commission. Might be interesting.
Are now all at risk because of the Democrats rejecting the clean CR. The most vulnerable in our country are being punished because the Democrats want to prioritize illegals over American citizens. And if Democrats actually cared about health care, they would applaud the actions taken by President Trump just yesterday
No, they wouldn't.
in the Oval Office. He took a bold and massively popular action to improve our healthcare system.
Wow,
He
did he?
announced
What
the
did he
first
do?
agreement with a major pharmaceutical company, Pfizer, to lower drug costs for Americans.
Wow.
This is a
Nobody else has ever done that before, I'm sure.
historical achievement long sought by past Democrat presidents that only President Trump was able to get done. Also yesterday, while the
only
Democrats
Trump could
were
have done that.
whining about health care for illegal aliens, President Trump signed a powerful executive order to supercharge American AI innovation and unlock cures for pediatric cancer patients.
Yeah. Trump
Oh, I
also
completely missed that.
defunded pediatric cancer research in the One Beautiful Bill. Defunded that shit also. So they will say this, but they defunded pediatric cancer. And also, we were already using AI to do fucking cancer research. This isn't fucking this wasn't some new thing that Trump got us. Oh wow, Trump got us AI. No, it was already happening. It would have happened anyways. Trump really didn't have anything to do with it. Like, obviously, because Trump is. What would he possibly have to do with it? Doesn't make any fucking sense. CSF says, how much does she get paid to lie like this? I mean, enough, apparently.
Ooh.
Apparently enough.
Is her like paycheck public?
I mean, in theory, we know how much every government employee makes. So let's see.
Yeah.
Press. What's your title? Press something. Press
secretary.
Is it press secretary? Salary.
Yeah,
Let's see. Oh, that
Caroline.
was one of the first questions. Press secretary salary. Let's see. 180,000, I think, is what I just read. Yeah, salary 180,000 USD as of in 2024. He's getting paid almost 200K for that shit.
That's crazy.
So that means over 4 years, like what, 180K, 180 times 4, so it's almost $1 million, 700,000 over 4 years, plus all the other money she could make off doing this shit.
And all the benefits.
Plus her
too.
husband is like rich, I think, so I don't even think it fucking matters. I think she needs the money technically. Her husband's like some fucking. First of all, she married like a guy like 30 years older than her or some shit, but.
Damn, get it, girl.
Yeah, man.
Get that bag.
You got the bag for sure. But basically, I don't think she needs the money. I'm sure it doesn't hurt though.
Think of all the shrimp she could save.
True. Well, but she won't. She doesn't like the shrimp. She's a hater. Where's the fucking. Where's her husband? Can I see the husband?
Type in Caroline
Okay.
instead. I think you're on the press secretary Wikipedia.
No, that
not,
was
like,
the
her
right
page.
one.
Oh, okay.
But not fucking. Because I
I'll look it
consider.
up.
Because now you gotta look at her side stakes. She has in like Trump coin or some shit. Yeah, she definitely has Trump coin. She definitely has. Her husband's definitely involved in some fucking business dealings. Shit.
I'm gonna Google.
And she's gonna make money off book deals, off fucking press appearances, off fucking everything. Yeah, 100%. And the old ass rich husband.
In the United States. While President Trump took action to lower drug prices and improve the lives and the care of American children with cancer, again, Democrats are fighting to
Book. So CSF says book deal she can write. I never said she could write. I said she'd publish a book that says written by Cameron Lynch.
59. She's 20. She's 27?
Yeah,
Bro.
plastic does wonders, doesn't it?
Wait, no. She looks like so much older to me.
Yeah, plastic does wonders, doesn't it?
Oh my god.
Her fucking
well, he's
nose
59.
is done to fucking.
To
Look
give
at her
healthcare
fucking
ben-
nose. Like
She looks like a rough 37.
does
Yeah,
that?
true.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, CSF says. Never mind, I forgot ghostwriters exist. Yeah, it's super easy. It's that simple. She can't
But
fucking write for shit.
he's a 50.
to illegal
He's a 59-year-old real estate developer. It looks like.
Yep, so, sorry. I said 30 years older than her. 32 years older than her. My bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, fucking weird.
aliens. The Trump
These people are
administration
weird. Weird people.
Oh, I'm
is
sending you a
fully
link.
committed to
Apparently. Hold on.
Oh.
There's like a short of her talking about her husband or something.
Oh jeez. Let's
Wait.
see. What are we looking at?
Hold on. It's on TikTok. I'm gonna send it to you though. I don't know if you're like, it's not my shit's weird sometimes when I like try to format it.
Okay, you haven't sent the link.
Or
yet.
when I try to there. Sorry.
Okay.
I wanna watch it.
Okay. Let's see. TikTok. Tell me the
Yeah.
Chinese spyware. I gotta watch it on this Chinese spyware thing. Oh brother. Okay, let's see.
I didn't know until today that you married a man who's a lot older.
Yes.
He's 59.
He's fighting. Yep.
You're 27.
Yes.
Revelation.
How did that happen?
I met my husband during my congressional campaign. Mutual friend of ours hosted an event at a restaurant that he owns up in New Hampshire and invited my husband, and I was speaking, and we met, we were acquainted as friends, and then we fell in love, as you said. And
They just fell in love. Wow.
Any like,
Oh.
I can't date him. He's 59.
yes,
57,
of
whatever.
course. I mean, it's very atypical love story, but
Oh, it's
he's
just atypical. Huh?
incredible. He's my greatest supporter. He's my best friend. He's my rock.
I guess that's it. Thanks for
Bless
that
you.
clip. Very enlightening.
He was 22 when she was born.
Pretty
Think
weird.
about that.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I know, 32.
Was she born after 9/11?
No. 2025.
Yes.
And she's 27. That would mean she was born in what year?
Oh, true. Sorry. For some reason, I thought I was way older than I am.
No,
I
yeah.
was like, she's like 10 years younger than me. I'm not 37.
Nope,
so.
she's like a few years younger.
Yeah.
This app says, look, I don't do woman on woman hate, but some women transcend that standard. Wait, this app, you're a woman? I don't know that. I don't know why I assumed you were a guy. Oh, now I get AI modded. Wait, why?
Wait, was that the A? Wait, can you read it again?
Look,
it was
I don't do woman on woman hate, but some women transcend that standard. I guess because you said
it's probably
women
on woman hate or something. Yeah, woman hate.
Get wrecked, I guess. Somehow CSF got past the AI mod yesterday by when the chat included Hitler and rape and like I don't even know. That was crazy. And it was like rapist and racist and Hitler, and somehow they got past. That was crazy.
All 3 R's. Oh, racist. Okay, gotcha. Not. Oh.
That's crazy.
There's 1 R. I hope you didn't use.
Lowering healthcare costs and advancing policies that will save American lives. But right now, we need to keep the
Save American lives, because fuck the rest of the world's lives.
government open
Getting my
and
Switch,
funded.
sorry, 1 second.
And individuals and organizations across the political spectrum, across the country, agree with the Trump administration and Republicans.
Do they?
The labor union leader, the Teamsters, Sean O'Brien, sent a very blunt message to Democrats over their destructive antics. He said American workers are not bargaining chips. Senators need to stop.
Yeah, I'm a woman, but I blend in well online. That's my own name, Casper. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's probably why, because Casper, ghost, and a male name in general. Yeah, I mean, cool. But I have a woman in my audience.
Screwing around and pass the House passed clean short-term funding.
What the fuck? I'm gonna have to. When Peach puts her headphones on, I need to ask her about that. What the fuck did I just see? Did she have the red Switch? The Mario edition? What the hell is that? That's insane. And she just leaves?
Bill. The
It
U.S.
shows up and
Chamber of
leaves?
Commerce, the world's largest business organization, called to immediately pass the Republican Clean CR, saying,
Immediately.
quote, shutdowns are harmful to the economy, the American people,
Wow, maybe they should negotiate then. Thoughts?
and our national security. And even Democrat Senators Cortez Masto and Fetterman acknowledged
Wow, Cortez Masto and Fetterman, the fucking losers, they voted?
that their party is
Wow.
betraying the American people with this costly and chaotic Democrat shutdown. Enough is enough. Democrats need to stop sabotaging our
enough.
country and holding the American people hostage in the country. Democrats need to do their jobs. The American people want the government
Maybe
reopened.
the Republicans
and
should
this
do
is
their job and negotiate. They didn't even talk to Leader Thune did not talk to Leader Schumer. Or to Speaker Schumer. And Mike Johnson did not talk to fucking Hakeem Jeffries. What the fuck?
proven in a New York Times.
Wait, Peach, can you hear me? Hello? Your headphones on yet? No, she doesn't have her
Times poll showing that 2 in 3 Americans say the government should not be shut down by the Democrats, even
Wow,
if their
thank you.
absurd demands are not met.
Thank
The
you,
president
Caroline. That's
and
very real
Republicans
numbers,
are working
as you
very
guys are known for. Wait, Peach.
Yep.
Hear me? Did I see your switch? Do you have like the red Switch, like the Mario edition?
No, I just have the regular Switch. I had the
Joy-Cons are red.
the Joy-Cons. They're both pink because you know how they're like pink and green or whatever.
Yeah.
My ex and I switched, so his is all green and mine's all pink.
See. Cool.
Yeah. So I have 2 pink.
Hard to
Joy-Cons.
read.
I mean, that looked red to me, not pink, but that's okay.
They're pink.
Prove it.
Ugh, I will later.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Open the
That's what I
federal
thought.
government. The vice president here has been crucial in this effort. We encourage all Americans across the country, call your Democrat senators and encourage them.
Casper a woman? No. Kev, why is that's not a bad thing? We love women here, okay?
To reopen the government. That's what President Trump and the Vice President want to do. And with that, I will turn it over
As
to our
we
great
love
Vice
women
President,
here.
J.D. Vance.
Great. Well, thank you, Carolina, and good afternoon to everybody, and good afternoon to everybody
Thank you,
who's
JD
watching at
fans.
home. It's a tough act to follow, but let me just say a few things, then I'll take a few questions. Number one, Democrats
Holy
say
shit,
that they
wait, did you guys see that?
And good afternoon to everybody, and good afternoon to everybody who's watching at home. It's a tough act to
Tough
follow,
act to follow.
but let me
She's
just say
like,
a few
last
things,
month
then I'll take a
immediately.
few questions. Number one,
Immediately back. She doesn't give a fuck. She does not give a fuck. Holy
Democrats
shit.
say that they care a lot about lowering healthcare costs, and yet, when the president took historic action to work with the drug companies to lower prescription
Because he did that despite defunding all their fucking medical research before. So it doesn't
Prescription
fucking
drug
matter.
prices, the Democrats did nothing to help us. In fact, we would have loved to have the Democrats helping us, but they
You
didn't.
would not. No.
They talk about doing something. They don't actually do the hard
When Democrats are in power, they do way more of this shit.
work of making it happen. What they have done instead is to shut down the government because we won't give billions of dollars to healthcare funding for illegal aliens. That is
Not true. It's just a lie. They can't point to anything that shows this. It's not true. It's just not true.
what has actually happened. To the American people who are watching, the reason your government is shut down at this very minute is
Because Republicans refuse to negotiate with Democrats to government funded.
Despite the fact that the overwhelming majority of congressional Republicans and even a few moderate Democrats supported opening the government, the Chuck Schumer AOC wing of the Democratic Party
Chuck
shut down the
Schumer
government because
AOC wing. What the
I just
fuck is that?
I didn't notice
What
that
is he
the first time
talking
I
about?
watched it.
Is he what the fuck is he saying? Anybody know? The fuck is that?
they said to us, we will open the government, but only if you give billions of dollars of funding for health care for illegal aliens.
Yeah, they didn't say that. They just didn't say that. That didn't happen.
That's a ridiculous proposition. Let me say
Good emote, Fudge.
two other quick things, and
Cap,
then
the
again,
public
I'll take some questions. Number one.
Did you guys even hear that? I
We
can-
all
I
understand
heard
that
it.
Democrats and
Okay,
Republicans have policy disagreements. The Democrats want to do things. Look, when Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries were in here a couple of days ago, they made some suggestions that the president was more than happy to say, yes, let's sit down and talk about how we can solve the healthcare crisis that we inherited from the Biden administration. But it's one thing to say that we should solve the healthcare crisis for Americans. It's another thing to say that we're going to shut down the government unless we give the Democrats every single thing that they want, which
Not every single thing. Just this thing. Because what Democrats would want would be go back to how the budget was before and do an actual continuing resolution instead of the one big beautiful bill that they call a continuing resolution, even though it's not. So, nope. One of my buddies and I went and Kev says because now that I know you're a woman, I can't drop kick you. Okay. One of my buddies and I went and compared. Okay, we are also because we love women here. Okay, Kev, we are equal opportunity. Okay, you can drop kick anybody regardless of gender. One of my buddies and I went and compared headlines. Chuck Schumer and AOC are buzzwords to the MAGA propaganda script today. That is fucking insane. If you know anything about anything, that is insane. But cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, are you feeding your kitty a treat?
Yeah,
What the hell? That's so cute.
they're her favorite. Colby doesn't like them, so
What is it?
it's one of those like squeeze tubes.
Of like, oh my god.
It's like
that's
a
awesome.
Go-Gurt.
Yeah, like a Go-Gurt. Like the Gerts.
Yes.
Triple 10. What do you mean? No, dropkick or sexist? True. If you don't dropkick CSF, then you are sexist. Okay, think about that. Analysis. What is that emote? Big tech duck eyes? This is an awesome emote. I'm insane? No, wait, no, you're not insane. Wait, who said you're insane? I think that's insane that that's the fucking buzzwords. Crazy.
which, as Caroline says,
Go-Gurt, but fish
includes
guts
giving
and
billions of
cow
dollars of taxpayer
eyeballs.
funding for healthcare for illegal migrants. That's ridiculous. You
Nobody wants healthcare for illegal migrants. It's not a thing that's happening. Not true.
don't have policy disagreements that serve as the basis for a government shutdown. Let's have the conversation about how to fix American healthcare, about how to make healthcare.
Yeah, let's have the conversation. Maybe you guys should have had the conversation. You guys had 60 or 90 days since the last time that this happened. Why didn't you talk during then? Why didn't you try to get the votes that you needed for this one?
More accessible as a.
Also, he couldn't drop kick me. He'd have to catch me first, and he can't because I'm a ghost. Casper is a friendly ghost, but still a ghost.
The president showed he's more than willing to act on behalf of the American people for this very reason. What you don't do is say, unless you do exactly what we want to do as congressional Democrats, we're taking a hostage. And the hostage, it turns out, is critical, essential services that the American people need. Caroline talked about some of it. Let me.
It's just insane. This framing. This is what it's literally just.
I think it gets
like no
crazier.
you because this is what you do. This is what
Talk about
Republicans
some
do.
more. Our
They
troops
hold you
are not
hostage.
getting paid starting today because of the Chuck Schumer wing of the Democratic Party. We have.
I did it again. The Chuck Schumer wing of the Democratic
What the fuck is he talking?
Party.
What is he talking about? Like what the fuck is it? What is this? What is this?
I have to wash my hands, but I want to hear the part that he says. I forgot.
I mean, I'll wait.
I'm gonna wait.
I better address something from chat. So go quick. Maybe go
Oh,
quick.
okay.
I feel like they should not be allowed to blatantly keep saying healthcare for illegals, when it's not possible outside fraudulent documents, which would be a different issue. Yeah. You would hope they wouldn't be allowed to blatantly keep saying healthcare for illegals. The issue is, they're allowed to do whatever they want, okay? The issue is that what's supposed to happen when you blatantly keep saying lies is that the media is supposed to call you out for it. The media is supposed to report the truth and say, hey, this isn't true. Now, there are media that are doing it, but not doing it loud enough and doing it strongly enough. And the majority of the media that people are watching, like Fox News, which is like still the most popular like news, is completely on the other side, and they will dick suck on everything and literally lie for the administration. Literally, like they paid $787 million for lying. So that is the issue. They can blatantly keep saying this stuff because no one will check them on it. It ain't right. You're right, Fudge. It ain't right. So we need to change. Shit all needs to change. But what the fuck? Are you back, Peach?
Yes. Thank you.
I wasn't waiting for you. It just happened to be that I had a lot to say about this chatter because they can't just keep saying healthcare for illegals.
Have people who require food assistance, low-income Americans who require food assistance, who will not get it unless we reopen the government.
Yeah, then maybe negotiate with the Democrats so that can happen. Maybe.
Thanks to Chuck Schumer and his wing of the Democratic Party. We have flood insurance as we start hurricane season in the southeastern part of our country. That flood insurance is going to disappear because of Chuck Schumer and the far left of the Democratic Party. We need to reopen the government. Let's fix America's problems. Let's work together to solve them. But let's reopen the government before we have our negotiation about healthcare policy. That's what the American
people can negotiate and then get it fixed.
People demand, and that's certainly what the President of the United States wants. Let me make one final point. I think a lot of Americans are asking themselves, why did this happen? Why did the Democrats shut down the government despite, as Caroline said, voting on the exact same piece of legislation 6 months ago? And there are a lot of different spins that we can put on it, a lot of different answers that we could give, all of them true. One answer I already gave is that they want to give health care benefits to illegal aliens. That is true. They gave us legislative text that would have undone us cutting off health care benefits for illegal aliens. That's one of the things that they asked for. But the reality here, and let's be honest about the politics, is that Chuck Schumer is terrified she's going to get a primary challenge from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the
He misspoke.
That's right. He said she. Yes, that confused the crap out of me too. Okay.
And also,
cool.
If this is true, then why the fuck are you calling it the Chuck Schumer AOC wing of?
reason why the American people's government is shut down is because Chuck Schumer is listening to the far left radicals in his own party because he's terrified of a primary challenge. So I'd invite Chuck Schumer to join the moderate Democrats and 52 Senate Republicans, do the right thing, open up the people's government, and then let's fix healthcare policy for the American people.
Do the right thing, like Mike Pence.
That's a lot. So Matt Boyle.
Mr. Vice President, there's two key Democrat lies I would like to get your take on and see if you can address. The first is that you're seeing a number of top Democrat leaders, from Kamala Harris and Chuck Schumer to Hakeem Jeffries, claim that it is a Republican shutdown caused by Trump. The second is that they're out there now claiming that they don't want to give health care to illegal aliens. Can you address both of those lies from the Democrat Party?
Yeah, so on the point that it's a Republican shutdown, look, it's obviously a Democratic shutdown. Just look at the vote totals in the House, look at the vote totals in the Senate, and look at
if you look at the vote totals, you'll see that Republicans have 53, and so you need 60. And so if you don't have 60, then you need to get votes from the other side. That's how the fuck it works.
the President of the United States' own action and conduct throughout this crisis. Nearly every single House Republican voted to open the government, Matt. Nearly every single Senate Republican voted to open the government last night, and even
nearly every. Good one.
To their credit, a few moderate Democrats voted to open the government. That's not a Republican shutdown when nearly every single Senate Democrat...
No, it is, because you're the party in power, so you have to negotiate with the other side. You have to get votes. That's how government works.
Votes to shut it down, and every Republican voted to open it up. It's just obviously not true. Now, you can disagree about a number of things, but you can't disagree about the obvious fact that Republicans voted to open the government. The president stands ready to sign that opening of the government. We just need a few more Democrats to join us in that effort to open the government. Your final question about illegal alien benefits. Look, the text is very clear, and I even saw, I think it was George Stephanopoulos, in an interview with Mike Johnson, did a fact check that was totally rooted in baseless claims. It was basically Democrat propaganda. If you look at the legislative text that they gave us, they tried to turn on...
Yeah, Democrat media is really Democrat propaganda, always. Yeah, not like the Republican media. They aren't Republican propaganda.
Two separate provisions that would give healthcare benefits to illegal aliens. Number one, if you're an American citizen, you've been to a hospital in the last few years, you probably noticed that wait times are especially large, and very often somebody who's there in the emergency room waiting is an illegal alien. Very often a person...
How would... Okay.
Exactly.
If you go to the emergency room, how would you know the person next to you is an illegal alien? Personally.
Exactly.
Secondly, this is why Asmongold said that shit.
Yes.
Like literally using
yes.
his dead dad.
That's why.
Literally using his dead
Yeah.
dad as a prop, okay? Because his dead dad did not agree with him politically, okay? So literally using his dead dad as a prop to, like, it's just disgusting. Make this like point on politics. It's actually fucking disgusting. He's a piece of shit, garbage human being, roach man, and
It's so obvious too that like he's just literally taking JD Vance's talking points. I completely forgot JD Vance said that until someone in chat said that.
And
I'm
if
like,
this
oh
is
wait,
true,
that's right.
even if it is true that illegal aliens are fucking over our healthcare system, they're all in the emergency room. Like, illegal. If I'm like, okay, people deserve healthcare. Like that's a part of an emergency room. They can't turn you away. They shouldn't turn you away. It would be immoral for them to turn you away when you need medical care. Obviously. Yeah, people are inhuman and they don't care about anybody. They don't care about human beings. They're barely human.
Who can't even speak English. Why do those people get healthcare benefits at hospitals paid for by American citizens? The answer is a decision made by the Biden administration that the Trump administration, working with congressional Republicans, undid. We turned off that money spigot to healthcare funding for illegal aliens. The Democrats, in their legislative text, want to turn it back on. That's one thing. The second thing, Matt, is we all know that there are various ways in which the Biden administration waived away illegal immigration status. They gave parolees. They gave asylum claims to people who weren't really claiming asylum.
So what he just said, okay? Just to rewind.
As we all know,
so
that there are various ways in which the Biden administration waived away illegal immigration.
Waived away illegal immigration.
Status.
Okay. Here's how they waived away illegal immigration status.
Gave parolees. They gave asylum claims to people who weren't.
They gave people parole and asylum. That's how they waived away illegal immigration. Okay.
No, he says like that they gave people asylum who like never like claimed asylum too, which doesn't make any sense.
It's not. Yeah, it's not how it works.
Really claiming asylum, and when they waved the magic wand of amnesty,
they waved the magic wand of amnesty. Amnesty was not given. Okay. Fucking wish it was given. Okay, for one thing, to be based if they actually did give amnesty. Giving people parole and giving people asylum status is not waving away immigration. Okay. What JD Vance is talking about. He does not want any immigrants, okay? Because, believe it or not, parole and asylum are legal statuses, okay? And these are legal statuses that Trump has revoked from people, okay? They're currently revoking. It is disgusting for him to say this. It is un-American. It is inhuman.
Millions of people legal status, even though they were in the country illegally.
Legal status, even though they were in the country. This means nothing, okay? That this means nothing. This is why when you hear the term illegal, okay, don't say it yourself. Correct people, okay? Undocumented is one term. It is usable. When people say illegal, it's because they don't want to talk about what's actually happening. They don't want to talk about what's actually occurring. They want to say shit like this, okay? They want to say shit like this, that they're giving legal status to people who are here illegally, okay? Doesn't make any sense. It means nothing. Okay? It's not how it works. It's not how it fucking works.
They also gave those people access to healthcare benefits. So what the Democrats are engaging in is a sleight of hand. They're saying no.
They gave those people access to healthcare benefits. So you came all the way around, okay? When he says, and he's admitting it here, he's admitting it. When he says illegal immigrants are getting healthcare, what he means is legal immigrants that were giving asylum status or parole status or refugee status, they were giving healthcare privileges. Which might be true. They don't get that much, okay, I will say. But legal immigrants, some of them, do get some level of healthcare privileges. Through Medicaid, through Medicare, possibly, okay? This is a thing that is possible. I will tell you, it's not very good. They do not get a lot, okay? And it just exposes how much of a lie this is, okay? When he says illegal immigrants are given free healthcare, it is not the case. It's just not true. He's talking about legal immigrants getting healthcare legally. It's all a lie, and it's disgusting. He's talking about illegal immigrants. He's talking about people with legal status, because he doesn't want any of them to have legal status. They want to deport all of them. Like Laura Loomer posted, they want to get 60 million fucking people out of this country. 60 million is the number of Latinos in the United States. It is disgusting.
Ooh.
No.
I missed that.
Laura Loomer, who, first of all, is another disgusting human being, demonic looking face, okay? In person, it looks absolutely fucking disgusting. For those of you who have not had the misfortune of having to see that shit in real life, it is fucking disgusting. It's horrible.
Why have you?
Don't worry about that.
Oh, okay.
And first of all, she's like in a relationship with Trump or some shit. It's fucking weird.
Still?
And secondly, I don't know still, but she is absolutely an advisor to Trump. She's very close to Trump, and I think she visits the White House like every other month or every month. Okay, this is somebody who hasn't the president, like who has the president's ear, and she said 60 million people should be deported. That's the entire population of Latinos in the United States. It is fucking gross.
Those weren't illegal aliens who were getting healthcare benefits, even though everybody, knows they were in the country illegally.
Everybody knows they were in the country. That means nothing. Not saying anything. He's saying everybody knows these people are illegal. What he means when he says that is everybody doesn't want these people here. That is what he means.
I want these people here.
It's a lie told by the Democrats that they're not trying to give healthcare benefits to illegal aliens. It's a lie that is obviously untrue if you just look at the text that they gave us, and all you have to do is understand that this is about who benefits. We think the American people's government ought to benefit American citizens. The Democrats are willing to shut it down to benefit illegal aliens. The contrast couldn't be more clear. Peter.
Thank you, Vice President Vance. The big holdup is, of course, that you guys say illegal immigrants are getting taxpayer-funded healthcare. Democrats say you're lying. That makes it feel like it could be a really long shutdown. Is this going to be a long shutdown?
You know, I don't know. I can't predict what congressional Democrats are going to do, Peter, but I actually don't think it's going to be that long of a shutdown. This is a pure guess from the Vice President of the United States because I think you already saw some evidence that moderate Democrats are cracking a little bit. They understand the fundamental illogic of this. Look, for years, every single one of us, we can remember Barack Obama on the White House lawn. We can remember Chuck Schumer. We can remember, Nancy Pelosi for years. In Chuck Schumer's case, for literally decades, we've heard them say you don't shut the government down over policy disagreement. Okay, Republicans think this thing about healthcare, that thing about healthcare. Democrats think this thing about immigration. Republicans disagree. Whatever those disagreements
are, brainless. It's just brainless.
You don't shut down the.
Zip Zip is a Groiper confirmed, says Hobbit follower. He's that guy that Laura Loomer kept talking about her IQ to. Have you seen that clip, Peach? You know what he's talking about?
No.
Laura Loomer IQ clip. Fuck, it's such a good fucking clip. Am I gonna be able to find it? Fuck.
And she was talking to you?
No, this.
Oh.
I gotta find the clip, okay?
Okay.
Okay, here it is. Fuck, here it is. I found it. Oh.
Mature.
It's not crazy. Why it's NSFW? Why is it NSFW? Okay, there's a YouTube link.
Your eyes look so good.
This is Laura Loomer talking. It's a very bad quality, but that's her.
Your eyes look so good. You're like beautiful.
Thank you.
You're like an Aryan degenerate goddess.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you. You're Aryan too.
I know, but I'm Jewish.
It's okay.
And the Nazis hate.
He's a Nazi she's talking to. She tells him, oh,
Wow.
but I'm Jewish.
It's okay.
And the Nazis hate me.
It's fine.
The alt-right people want to put me in a gas chamber.
You can kind of tell her by her face here that it's her when she moves.
A gas chamber.
You can tell it's her.
Because they're obsessed with the Jews.
I think they're just memeing on you, but it's okay.
They're just jealous because I have big tits and an Ashkenazi IQ.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You got it.
I'm going to tell you a
Next
secret.
level.
Like, you know, so many people in this movement who preach trap life are like fucking people on the side and like cheating on their partners.
That's so
Like,
bad.
they're not even like really trap life.
Yeah, that's Laura Loomer for you guys.
That's insane.
Bro doxing himself live. Yeah, that's me, guys. That's how I know. Actually, it's true.
Based.
That is me. I'm the groiper. I mean, if I'm the new J-Stock, and J-Stock was a groiper, so maybe it applies to me as well. Just to say, I'll neither. Actually, I won't say that that's me. I will neither confirm nor deny whether that's me. Okay? Maybe that's how I know which it looks. Just to say.
The government over it. For the first time since the Democrats have been in politics, they're now saying that unless we get every policy item that we
not every, just healthcare. That's all.
Demand, we're going to shut down the people's government. They're trying to take a hostage, and we're not going to let them.
Or you could just negotiate. Maybe.
And the administration announced today that $18 billion bound for New York transportation projects is going to be frozen so it can't go to DEI programs there. But the timing of this, does announcing that today I mean, you guys are going to squeeze Chuck Schumer's home state until he blinks.
Look, Crazy Hobbit says the cadence is the same, bro. Bro, I keep hearing this. I don't know. I never watched J-Stock. Maybe it's just DGG accent or some shit. Okay? But I don't know. I'm not Canadian.
I know what they're
Not a fucking
saying,
leaf.
but it's not like I don't know. I'll think of an example, but
I haven't talked to
hear
Russ
it, kind
about
of.
this morning, but look, I'm sure that Russ is heartbroken about the fact that he's unable to give certain things to certain constituencies. We want to do everything.
Wait, I think I maybe missed the question. Hold on, let me.
While saying that don't think about him saying, remember, government of free
Wait, here it is.
that we demand we're going to shut down the people's government. They're trying to take a hostage, and we're not going to let them.
And the administration announced today that $18 billion bound for New York transportation projects is going to be frozen so it can't go to DEI programs there. But the timing of this, does announcing that today mean that you guys are going to squeeze Chuck Schumer's home state until he blinks?
Oh,
Look, I haven't talked to Russ about this this morning.
That is a good question. That's a good question. Your chat is delayed. I sent that with the Groiper clip. Oh no, well I saw it. I just didn't read it until that. But yeah.
Called out.
I don't think my chat is delayed. Maybe, unless the YouTube chat is delayed, maybe. But I'll take a
I'm
look.
sure it's fine.
It's fine.
But look, I'm sure that Russ is heartbroken about the fact that he's unable to give certain things to certain constituencies. We want to do everything that we can to help the American people, but when the Democrats shut down the government, we have to actually do a little triage to make sure the most critical and most essential services are provided. The government does a lot of things, of course, Republicans.
And you can just cut whatever the fuck you want and defund anything you want and do all the fuck shit that you want to do during a shutdown. That's why you don't give a fuck, and that's why you will allow the shutdown to happen. You don't want to stop the shutdown. You want the shutdown. That is the point. Republicans want this shutdown.
Republicans think that the federal government probably does too much, but there are a lot of critical things the federal government does that absolutely all of us would agree need to do. Our troops need to get paid. Our air traffic controllers need to make sure that people are flying safely and on time. We need low-income people to be able to access the food services that are provided by the federal government. There are
Republicans really care about low-income people and their food, guys. It's true.
critical things that need to be saved. We're going to do everything that we can over the coming weeks, if the shutdown lasts that long, to ensure that people get the essential services that they need, despite the fact that Chuck Schumer has shut down the federal government. It's not going to be perfect because we are in a government shutdown. We are going to have to lay people off if the shutdown continues. We don't like that. We don't necessarily want to do it, but we're going to do what we have to keep the American people's essential services continuing to run. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, and thank you for being here. Yesterday, President Trump said, as a result of the shutdown, we'll be laying off a lot of people that are going to be very affected, and the Democrats, they are going to be Democrats. Has the administration asked agencies to target federal workers who they believe to be Democrats in these reductions of forces?
So he's going to answer, no, of course not. That's not what we're doing. But the answer is yes. So.
Yes.
I didn't see. Like,
I'm pretty sure he actually answers kind of honestly, but I don't remember.
I'll say I didn't see 30 minutes ago. Thanks, Zeno DG, for following on Kick.
We're not targeting.
It almost feels like they keep mentioning Chuck Schumer specifically to rile up a crazy to start blast. I mean,
you know what? Yeah.
I mean,
it's just so funny
they
because
would want it to happen, and they would celebrate it if it happened. And we know this.
But they blame Chuck Schumer all the time.
They celebrated the last fucking speaker. Or the last fucking Democrat leader to when they got attacked, okay? They celebrated, so they absolutely would celebrate if it happened to Chuck Schumer. 100%.
They be blaming Nancy Pelosi right now too, which is everything is the Democrats' fault that they don't like. So Republicans only or the voters only know 3 Democrat names. And it's because they just repeat them and blame everything on the same 2 or 3. AOC, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Agencies based on
Kamala
politics.
Harris.
We're targeting the people's government so that as much
Sorry,
as
Hunter Biden.
They know Kamala Harris, and they know Hunter Biden too.
True.
Essential services can continue to function. That is the question the president has asked the entire government. Is fundamentally, okay, we're in a shutdown. That causes some problems. The troops aren't getting paid. There's nothing that we can do about that while the government is shut down. But there are essential services that we want to make sure, as much as possible, they still continue to function. That is the principle that's driving us forward during the shutdown. It's going to continue to be the principle that drives us forward. But let's be honest. If this thing drags on for another few days, or God forbid another few weeks, we are going to have to lay people off. We're going to have to save money in some places so the essential services don't get turned off in other places. That is the reality of the government shutdown that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have foisted upon the administration.
So he didn't answer. The answer is yes.
No.
They're going to be targeting Democrats and for layoffs. That is what's going to happen.
Right, they're going to be Democrats. He said they're going to be Democrats.
And Trump said that they're going to be Democrats, as the person is responding.
pain and problems that would come with a Democratic
he
shutdown.
goes.
And yet in the Oval Office yesterday, the president said that a lot of good could come from a shutdown. So square that circle. Which is a Democratic-caused crisis or a Republican opportunity for reform?
Why would
I
Trump
think
say
all the
all
president
good
is saying,
could
Phil, is that he wants to make sure the American people's government functions as well as it can, despite the fact that we're in a shutdown. We're going to have to make things work, and that means that we're going to have to triage some
Oh,
certain
that's
things.
all
That
I
means
know.
certain people are going to have to get laid
course.
off, and we're going to try to make sure that the American people suffer as little as possible from the shutdown. That's what the president is saying. Is that yes, this is a bad thing. Obviously, the president is trying to reopen the government, but we're going to make things work as well as we possibly can, given the constraints that we have.
And then all those policy differences for the discussion and the negotiations come.
My question, Peach, what game are you playing?
Breath of the Wild. Or sorry, Tears of the
I
Kingdom.
was gonna say. Well, good based.
Later, during the Biden administration, Democrats twice voted to expand these Affordable Care Act tax credits, but those were supposed to be temporary and they were slated to expire at the end of the year. As you sort of crack the door open to negotiation at a later date, would the party that ran on defunding Obamacare really negotiate about potentially expanding Obamacare?
Well, Phil, what we've said.
Yep. They keep saying, "Oh, we want to do this. We want to do it." No, they're not going to do it. They're never going to do it. It's all
To the
lie.
Democrats is that we're willing to have a conversation about how to ensure that Americans continue to have access to health care, and frankly, they should have access to better health care at a lower cost. We inherited a mess of a healthcare system from the Biden administration.
You know, DG says, "What about government officials being able to trade stocks while in office?" Thoughts? There is a bill that Democrats proposed to prevent government officials to trade stocks. Republicans refused to do it unless the president was removed from that.
Shut up.
Yeah, I think they refused to do it anyways, but they specifically wanted to remove the president from the list.
Holy
So,
shit.
That's pretty crazy. I mean,
Can't make that
Democrats
shit up.
support that.
Oh my god.
But Republicans refuse. So pretty crazy. You guys never going to be allowed in a press release again? Yeah, of course.
It's why the president.
Yeah.
They're just never going to call on them. So.
What we've said to the Democrats is that we're willing to have a conversation about how to ensure that Americans continue to have access to health care, and frankly, they should have access to better health care at a lower cost. We inherited a mess of a healthcare system from the Biden administration. It's why the president has worked so hard on the most favored nation status for prescription drugs. It's why we care so much about lowering the cost of prescriptions, and why we're doing everything else. We're willing to have that conversation, but I think it's important to bracket the healthcare policy conversation because it's separate from the government shutdown. We think that we can open the government and then have the conversation.
It's not separate at all. But
nope.
You can say that because you don't want to negotiate. It's not separate.
About what best healthcare policy to fit the needs of the American people. That's all we're trying to do. That's all we're trying to accomplish. We've got to reopen the government first. Now, Caroline, I don't know how you do this, how you actually choose people, because I don't know 90% of the names in here. Is it just who's the best dressed? Okay, I really like your shirt. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. You are president of the Senate. Can you talk about what you're doing, what the administration is doing to try to get other Senate Democrats to vote to open the government?
Yeah, we're talking to a number of our colleagues, Democratic and Republican in the Senate. I talked to a number of them last night. The president, of course, is talking to them as well. I think there really are two categories of demands that I've seen privately from congressional Democrats. I think on the one hand, those who are negotiating in good faith are saying, look, we just want to make sure that we're able to have a conversation with the administration about some of the critical needs that we see that need to get fixed over the next few months. We recognize it's kind of absurd, and a lot of them will admit in private that it's kind of absurd to
No, it's not.
shut down the people's government over these disagreements,
It's
but just
really not.
agree to negotiate with us in good faith on these issues. And of course, we're having that conversation with them. Then there's another category, people who say, give us everything we want, or we're going to keep the government shut down. We just write those people off because they're not negotiating in good faith. And frankly, we don't
just
need,
write 'em
we already got
off.
3 more Democrats
Easy as
last
that.
night than I thought we would get. And I think it's because they recognize the illogic of the position of taking the entire American economy hostage because they don't get their policy priorities. So 3 moderate Democrats joined 52 Republicans last night. We need 5 more in order to reopen the government. And that's really where we're going to focus, is how to get those 5 additional Democrats.
Thanks, Mr. Vice President. First 2 questions. Are there plans to meet Democratic leaders again in the coming days, or are you planning?
For some reason, on screen, on my chat, I see not a base Lazy Hobbit saying not a base question. That's a fucking Fox News guy trying to tee JD up to talk about taking shit away from Dems. It's probably true, but I don't see it in my YouTube chat for some. It's weird.
Oh, it's because your YouTube chat is set to like top
that's
chats,
the whole question?
not
No, I got a second.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh,
Group
it is.
chats or whatever.
The president's been posting some images.
Sometimes that happens, yeah.
Senator Schumer
I saw.
recently. You said that you're interested in good faith negotiations with these leaders, but what message does that send? Is it helpful to post pictures of Leader Jeffries in a sombrero if
Yeah.
you're trying to have good faith talks with him?
Oh, I think it's funny.
That's
The
true.
president's joking, and we're
Oh,
having
it's
a good time. We can
funny.
negotiate in
It's
good
just
faith while also
funny.
poking
Yeah, what a good joke.
a little bit of fun at some of the absurdities of the Democrats' positions.
Oh,
and
just
even,
poking
poking
fun.
some
Just
fun
poking
at the
some
absurdity of the
fun.
Democrats
That's
themselves.
all.
I mean, I'll tell Hakeem Jeffries right now, I make the solemn promise to you that if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop. And I talked to the president
Oh, wow. Yes. That's what we want.
The what means
of the United
The
States.
sombrero memes, the AI videos where Hakeem Jeffries is wearing a fucking sombrero and has a mustache, because they're fucking racist.
Holy
about that.
shit!
Now,
I didn't
to your
even know
first
that was
question,
a
are we negotiating
thing.
one-on-one?
Yeah, hold on. Let's watch it for
What?
since we don't know that's a thing.
Is that one of the AI video? I was supposed to be
Jeffries.
watching the AI Trump videos that are being posted, but I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah, it's fucking wild. Let's see. Do I have to watch this fucking
Sugar
Why?
bullshit.
Okay, here's the
Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans
real
bullshit.
post that Donald Trump.
Not even black
on his
people
social-
want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us.
It was not censored in the original. I gotta find the like actual one because
Wait, what was the word that was censored?
it's just like fuck or something. I don't know.
House Minority Leader
Why is this? Can I just watch the? Can I just see the original, please?
It's
AI
why I
Jeffrey
hate the internet.
Streamer, X.
No, you can't. You can never just watch the original. It's impossible.
Why?
It's so annoying.
This shit sucks. Whatever. You got the idea. It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Are we negotiating in groups? Look, I will
Jeez,
go to the
Pete.
U.S. Capitol right now and meet with Chuck Schumer or any Senate Democrat if it helps us reopen the government.
Hey, that's not your job though. It's the job of the Senate and House leaders, and they aren't doing it. So.
Most of the conversations, in my experience at least, have been one-off. We're also, of course, relying on some of our Senate Republican colleagues who have good relationships across the aisle. We're going to do whatever we have to do is the answer, and I think it's tough to predict what shape this negotiation is going to take.
Whatever, except for negotiating
Over the next few
actually
months,
in
but I feel
faith.
good about the fact that Democrats already realize privately the fundamental irrationality of their position. I hope that they're going to publicly acknowledge it and reopen the government.
I hope other things happen.
Guy in the back, yeah.
Mr. Vice President, you responded to a post on X of Chuck Schumer on the House floor back in 1996, railing against illegal immigrants receiving taxpayer-funded benefits. You said Chuck Schumer once recognized that it was disastrous to give illegal aliens rewards for breaking the law. Now he wants to shut down the government unless we reward illegal aliens for breaking the law. Why has Chuck Schumer changed his stance?
You know, that's a good question.
What
Actually, it's a very
great
tough question. Asking me to get in the head of
question.
Chuck Schumer is not a
Thank
place I
you.
particularly
I thought that was
want to be,
fucking
but
Fox
my
News
basic
loser.
read on it is that the entire
Like
Democratic
Marty
Party,
Shaggy's
the
fucking
political
boyfriend.
leadership, not every Democrat nationwide, but the political leadership of their party has got it into
The
their heads that the
sexism?
only way to be compassionate
No,
is to
her
be
boyfriend is literally like in these press releases, and Trump and Caroline Levitt are always like dick sucking because he will dick suck them.
Oh, I've never
compassionate
noticed.
to illegal aliens rather than American citizens. If you go back to what Bill Clinton was saying, even Barack Obama in some cases, what he was saying about illegal
Oh, he said a thing.
Obama.
Oh, I heard it.
immigration 10, 15, 20 years
No,
ago,
you couldn't hear
you would
me,
put them
but
on the
yeah,
MAGA
it's
right based
That's
purely
okay.
on their rhetoric around illegal
Obama.
immigration. So I don't know why they've gone so far to the left. I think it's
He
bad for
said
the
it.
country. I think it's bad for them politically. But our principle, all I can do is speak for the president that I serve and the country, the administration that I serve right now. We believe that the American people's government exists for the American people. That means the people who have the legal right to be here, and that's why we're fighting to reopen the government. And unfortunately, the Democrats are fighting to shut it down for the benefit of illegal aliens. And I'll take a couple more, and then I'll let Caroline. I'll go back to my day job, so Caroline can go back to hers. All right. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Just going back to the sombrero, you said that the president's joking, but Hakeem Jeffries says that these memes were racist. What's your response to that? And just if I may briefly go off topic, Secretary Hegseth yesterday made an edict about no more beardos in the military. Just wondered what.
Sorry, what did he say?
No more beardos. Beards. Oh, sorry, that's my accent.
That's so funny.
Your response to that?
I didn't see that particular comment. I thought Pete gave a hell of a speech, and a speech that really is just oriented around returning the American
Jesus.
military to the very
I
high
missed
standards
all
that
of
it has
this.
had for virtually its entire
From what I was
history
watching.
until Joe Biden came along and decided to lower standards. I think it was bad for our military, and it was bad for our troops. When I was a young United States Marine, I did not have a beard. I am now the vice president, so I get to do what I want to do. But I think Pete's trying to reimplement high standards, and that's a very good thing. On the sombrero thing, I mean, Hakeem Jeffries said it was racist, and I know that he said that, and I honestly don't even know what that means. Like,
Means
What?
that it's racist.
It means
I
it's
don't know
racist.
how
What are you
could-
talking
I don't know what
about?
else you're supposed to like think of that. I don't know what else you're like. It means it was racist. I think that's probably when he said it. I think he probably meant it. Like the words are in English. I think you understand English. Well, maybe he doesn't, but yeah.
Is he a Mexican American that is offended by having a sombrero meme?
So.
What?
Hakeem
So
Jeffries
he
would have to be
understands the
racist
joke.
for
He
that to
gets
be-
why it would be racist.
There's
What
also
do
the
you-
same guy who called fucking what was it? Hold on. JD Vance, wrong name. Senator, is it Garcia? Padilla, that's what. Sorry, I just did the thing.
Racism?
I did a racism. I just did it. Well,
Damn.
why can it not just be a YouTube? Can it not just be YouTube, please? Why is
Just
this
type
such
it in
a-
on YouTube.
Okay, I got fuck you.
I know. It's rough out here.
JD Vance, Jose. So this is him. You remember a few months ago, 3 months ago, when Senator Alex Padilla was like attacked by the fucking like security as he was like trying to ask a question to Kristi Noem when she was in California. He's a California senator. They like fucking like attacked him basically as he was just trying to ask a fucking question. JD Vance comes out afterwards and says this.
And the reason I'm here is I just wanted to hear from the law enforcement officials themselves, the state officials, the local officials, but also the federal officials, what's actually going on here on the ground. And I think there's some good news, and the good news is the rioting has gotten a lot better. But the bad news is, as I heard from everybody, unfortunately, the soldiers and Marines are still very much a necessary part of what's going on here because they're worried that it's going to flare back up. Well, I was hoping Jose Padilla would be here to ask a question, but unfortunately, I guess he decided.
It's Jose Padilla. He says a mistake, but it's an interesting mistake to make. And that's this guy who's like, what's racist? Is he Mexican American?
Oh my god.
What that means. Like, is he a Mexican American that is offended by having a sombrero meme? I mean, I saw one of the major TV stations put the meme up and then say, this is AI generated. And he had like the curly animated mustache too. It's like, the American people, do you really not realize the American people recognize that he did not actually come to the White House wearing a...
Oh my god.
Is that the fucking issue, JD Vance? Is that the issue people have with the fact that it's AI generated? Or is it the fact that it's a fucking disgusting, insane,
like no one actually thinks that was him with the sombrero on? Oh my god!
As the president of the United States, like
a sombrero and a black curly animation mustache. Like, give the country a little bit of credit. We're all trying to do a very important job for the American people. The president of the United States likes to have a little bit of fun when he's doing it, and I think that's okay. I'll take one more question.
Holy shit!
Every previous shutdown, workers have been furloughed, not.
I'm so black-pilled on America. I get it. I get it, Rolamo. I feel ya. I think we have to keep up the hope. Okay, I think we're gonna come back in the midterms. And back majority, or at the very least, fuck up their majority, and do good shit. Okay, I believe in our country. However, I don't believe people in our country.
Laid off. So why does the president want to fire some workers and not just furlough them? Why is this shutdown any different?
Well, first of all, we haven't made any final decisions about what we're going to do with certain workers. What we're saying
well, you haven't made a final decision, but the president said he wants to lay people off instead of furlough them.
Is that we might have to take extraordinary steps, especially the...
No, he didn't say might. He said they want to, and because there are good things that are going to happen from a shutdown.
Longer this goes on, we're going to have to take extraordinary measures to ensure the people's government operates, again, not perfectly, because it's not going to operate perfectly in the midst of a shutdown, but operate as well as it possibly can. And I think that the Democrats, if they're so worried about the effect this is having on the American people, and they should be, what they should do is reopen the government, not complain about how we respond to the fact that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have shut down the government in the first place.
Thank you, Caroline.
Oh, thank you. Bye-bye. Haha, bye. Okay, fuck that. We're not watching Calorie and Love It, the fucking demon spawn.
So, like, the only thing that I will say about Caroline is that, like, they do call her out and say things like, okay, so the biggest thing is when JD Vance said that, like, there will be layoffs, like, immediately no matter what or whatever. Caroline got some shit for it because she got some questions that were like, you know, you're saying that it might happen in a couple of days. JD Vance is saying that, like, it is imminent. Right? Am I saying that right?
Minute?
Yeah, thank you. I don't know why I can't say it. So, like, which one is it? And she just, like, had no... She's like, well, they both mean the same exact thing, actually. They're all synonymous with each other. And it's like, what?
Everybody understands that. These people lie. Like they breathe.
Yep.
Disgusting. Just wanted to point out, Chul10 in my kick chat said, Jeffrey Diddy Vance. Interesting. Think about it.
So funny. Do you think... Actually, that is a good point. Do you think that Trump calls him JD Vance to like little, or like JD to like little bro him sometimes?
No, I think it's to make him look cuter. Like, oh, like look, they're best friends. Like they're on a first name basis. Like, look at this guy.
Sometimes
he's JD.
he's, like,
he's a cool guy. Like, guys, you should like him.
Oh, JD. Okay, I get it.
My friend JD. That's why he does it. However,
that was like my good old buddy, old pal JD.
That would be funny if that was the case. I mean, maybe. But I don't think it's a little bro thing. I think they are a thing. Rebelmont says, I'm writing an essay, hopefully for Kafka's site. Oh, the politics of destruction. Oh shit, Rebelmont. That sounds fucking cool. I'll definitely check it out if you write it. I don't think it's Kafka's site. It's team effort from everyone involved. But yeah, pragmatic papers, guys. Go read them. They're good. I'll be checking out that article. Comes out. We should read the pragmatic papers on stream. I might have to do that. I might have to make that just a new segment. Reading some of the pragmatic papers. Yeah, that's cool though. Yeah. Kafka, friend of the stream. Kafka Esquire. Watch us do the E-Court when we do it. Probably next week we're gonna have the show between Uchops and Hobbit Follower. Destiny's Head Reddit mod. I should all watch it. Okay. When did the Democrats get here?
Where the heck are you this year? Their government.
My left ear loves this. Holy fuck. Can nobody do audio properly?
Nope.
Good afternoon, everyone.
My ear, bro.
At midnight, Donald Trump and Republicans shut the federal government down because they don't want to provide health care to working class Americans.
True.
Leader Schumer and myself met with President Trump and legislative leaders on Monday. We had a conversation that was designed to avoid a painful government shutdown and address the Republican health care crisis. Subsequent to that meeting, we heard nothing from any of the legislative leaders on the Republican side, and the president has been engaging in irresponsible and unserious behavior, demonstrating that all along, Republicans wanted to shut the government down. That's no...
Moss says, I've written 3 since Kirk, but I had to get Destiny's permission because I steal so much from him. He's good with it. I recommended his cute new little mic for him. Oh, nice. I appreciate you recommending a cute little mic for no reason.
No surprise, because for decades, Republicans have consistently shut the government down as part of their efforts to try to extract and jam their extreme right-wing agenda down the throats of the American people. Democrats have repeatedly made clear, we are ready to sit down with anyone at any time and at any place in order now to reopen the government, to enact a spending agreement that meets the needs of the American people, and to address the devastating Republican health care crisis that has caused extraordinary harm on people all across the country, in rural America, working class America, urban America, small town America, the heartland of America, and black and brown communities throughout America. The Republican health care crisis is devastating, the likes of which no one has ever seen. Largest cut to Medicaid in American history. A possible $536 billion cut to Medicare because of the one big ugly bill, if Congress doesn't act by the end of the year. Tens of millions of Americans are about to experience dramatically increased premium, co-pays, and deductibles because of the Republican unwillingness to extend the Affordable Care Act tax.
And not because of the shutdown. That's going to be because of the shit that they did. Their fucking bill increases people's healthcare costs, increases their insurance premiums.
Credits.
It's disgusting.
Hospitals, nursing homes, and community-based health clinics are closing all across the country, including in rural America, because of what Republicans have done and the health care crisis they have triggered through their cruel actions throughout this year. Republicans have even canceled medical research in the United States of America, even as it relates to children who are battling cancer.
And they're going to fucking lie to you and tell you that they're working on pediatric cancer research.
In nature. Yep. And Democrats are fighting hard to reverse it. Cancel the cuts, lower the costs, save health care on behalf of the American people. It's now my honor to yield to the whip.
He talks like a mixture of Obama and
Thank
Bernie
you, Mr.
Sanders.
Leader. We are so grateful for all that you have done and putting the American people's voice into this debate. And I've had one question from my
Look at his shoes. Rip the fuck out.
Republican House colleagues this week. Where the heck are you? Where the heck are you? You've cut people's health care. You're giving their hard-earned tax dollars to billionaires in the form of tax breaks. And then you don't even show up to defend your own policies, your own bills. Mike Johnson and Steve Scalise are both from Louisiana. Most children in Louisiana are on Medicaid. 64% of all births in Louisiana are paid for by Medicaid. 74% of nursing home residents in Louisiana are on Medicaid. Yet Republicans are willing to shut down government, refusing to even show up for work this week because they want to cut Medicaid by $1 trillion, because they want to be on health care for children and seniors and pregnant women.
Nope.
Because they want to pay for billionaire tax cuts. Well, Mike Johnson and Steve Scalise can fight for the billionaires. They can double down, if they so choose, on their lie about who we're fighting for. But we know who we're fighting for, and so do the American people.
Right.
Democrats are fighting for families, families in Louisiana, families in Massachusetts. We're fighting for American families in every corner of this country. We're fighting for a child's right to go to the doctor, fighting for a new mom's right to have a safe delivery. We're fighting to keep millions of people from losing their insurance and keeping health premiums affordable for everybody. We're here to do our job. It is long.
Damn, fudge. That's crazy. Don't let them hear
Massive two
that.
shits.
Don't let them hear that. Okay? Bostonians are gonna get mad at
Chat
you.
name?
No, foot. Massachusetts. Massive.
Oh, I thought it said massive two shits.
Yeah, massive two shits.
Oh, I don't get it.
I just told you what it. I just told
But
you.
why?
They said Massachusetts.
I like Massachusetts. Do you have a problem with Massachusetts?
No, Fudge has a problem with Massachusetts.
Oh.
I said don't let them hear you. Okay, or the people from Boston in this chat are gonna get.
I bet they would give two shits.
Which says I'm just slandering Massachusetts. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I like Massachusetts.
Rollmoth in YouTube chat says I'm 51. I've seen a lot of political theater. This shit is absolutely insane. He's right. People don't realize how bad it is. We can't survive this with Republican rebels speaking up for reality. I mean, there will be no Republican rebels speaking up for reality. If that's what you are like.
If he's saying
expecting or hoping
political
for,
theater,
it's not gonna happen. This is
wait. If
political
he says
theater.
political theater, he's either a like Rush Limbaugh like cultist, or he's like a Democrat memeing on it. There's no other option. The only people who use the phrase
This is a
political
Democrat
theater.
meme, I assume.
Okay.
But,
That's
yeah,
all I'm
this is,
saying.
and also they're referring to the Republicans. I mean, it is political.
That's one of their buzzwords.
These people like JD Vance and Mike Johnson who are spreading this shit that it's like, oh, the fucking they want healthcare for illegal immigrants. It's political theater. They don't believe it. They know it's a lie, and they're just gonna keep doing it because they don't give a fuck. They don't have to give a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. No one cares. So we need to make them care. Okay, you're right. People don't realize how bad it is, and yeah. No, I mean this is real. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, people don't realize like this shit actually like it will affect you. It will affect you, chatter, you who are listening, you Peach.
Yep.
It will affect you. This shit affects your life. But nobody cares. Nobody thinks it's real. It's all just on TV. It's crazy.
It's political theater.
No. Voice says I like Massachusetts as well. Lived in Boston for a while, but I like shitting on them more. Okay, base. I mean, I like Boston. Boston's a good city. I will be affected.
I think
pet their
I'll
hands.
go to Boston.
Alright, sorry to break the news to
Start.
you guys, but you will be affected. Really sad. Really fucking sad.
Past time that Republicans join us.
You
and
won't
end
be.
This Republican shutdown. It's now my great pleasure
won't be.
to yield the microphone
No.
to our chairman, Pete Aguilar.
I will.
Not technically.
Thank you.
Because,
Thank
like,
you, Whip
aren't
Clark.
you on your parents'
And
health
his-
insurance until, like, 26?
You don't know how old I am. You do.
Assumed you were a
And,
baby.
that doesn't mean it won't affect me.
Fair.
When I say it will affect you, I'm not saying necessarily that you are on Medicare and will be affected. I'm saying people in your
No, I know,
community,
but even your
people
health
around
insurance,
you,
like,
your
premiums and stuff are
grandparents.
gonna go up, but if you're not paying for health insurance,
Well,
it's a
but
limit.
if my parents were paying for it, then that will affect me, right?
Fair.
We're fighting. Republicans are nowhere to be seen.
Sorry.
Our message has been very clear. Cancel your vacation, cancel the cuts, lower the cost, fix healthcare. That's why we're here. Donald Trump and House Republicans have shown their true colors
Thank you, Democrats.
this week. Instead of protecting healthcare, they're ripping it away. 15 million
Sure.
people at risk of losing their healthcare coverage. And while we're here trying to keep the government open, the guidance from our colleagues on the other side, Lisa McClain, my counterpart,
Guidance?
the chair of the Republican conference, instructs their members, don't talk about healthcare.
Yep.
That is their message. So while we're fighting,
This is like a known thing. The Republicans instructed, like like you said, the chair instructed the other Republicans to not talk about healthcare.
Really?
Yes, because if they do, it doesn't look good for them because they're shit on
for
healthcare.
healthcare, we're fighting to keep
It's
this
fucked.
Like,
government
recently?
open. The
Yeah, like in specifically in relation to this.
Oh.
guidance from the GOP has been very clear. Don't
And I
talk
think in
about
general,
these issues.
since like they've had like, I think that came out like months ago. Like this in general, like they've told people not to fucking talk about this. Rebel says they should be saying these people are liars 100 times more. I agree. But they're doing it. They're doing it here. I mean, we're watching it. That's why we're watching it, because like that's the other thing is like they're saying it, but sometimes people just don't see it. That's why it's like important, I think, to like watch this stuff, watch what Democrats are saying, and see, like like Democrats are sometimes like really united on messaging. This is one of those times. Everybody's saying this, that they are lying about this, and this is what we're fighting for, and this is where we're gonna make our stand, and it's really important that they do so.
Because they know the American people are with us. Democrats have been at the negotiating table for months, and we want to work in a bipartisan way. We've always wanted to work in a bipartisan way to solve these issues. Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House. They own this crisis. They own this shutdown. And instead, they want to use people as political pawns. Russ Vought wants to lay people off. He wants to fire people. He wants to use this shutdown to carry out the agenda that he has wanted all along. It's shameful and it's wrong.
It's true.
Republicans will do everything in our power to fix this Republican mess.
We misspoke. Unlucky. The Republicans will do everything in our power. The Democrats.
To provide health care to people and to ensure that the American people aren't left out in the cold, because it's the right thing to do. Leader Jeffries.
Thank you, Pete. Questions?
Thank you very much, Mr. Leader. Two quick questions for you. One, I want to get your reaction to Russ Vought announcing this $18 billion hold on infrastructure projects in New York City. Do you think you're personally being targeted?
The Trump administration is targeting the jobs, thousands of jobs, of hard-working Americans, working-class Americans, and blue-collar Americans who are going to lose the ability to work. At the 2nd Avenue subway site.
Yep.
Or
Literally
at the
like
other
mom and
project that
dad.
has been canceled related to the Cross Harbor Tunnel. That's consistent with what the Trump administration has consistently done throughout their time in office. Lose jobs, cause economic pain and hardship for the American people. It's shameful, but it's very consistent with the Trump administration's track record of failing on the economy and targeting working class Americans.
And then just one quick follow-up, just what's happening on the Senate side. It seems there have been some bipartisan discussions on the Senate floor where they may be discussing some type of short-term CR and trying to buy a little bit more time to work through some of these issues like the ACA. Have you been briefed on those discussions? Do you support what's happening in the other chamber?
I haven't had a conversation with Leader Schumer about any developments on the Senate floor, but House Democrats and Senate Democrats remain consistent and in lockstep in defense of the health care of the American people, and that's not going to change.
Good afternoon. Jared Golden, as you know, was the only Democrat on your side of the aisle who voted for the original CR. He just put out a statement that said that the Democratic opposition to that was, quote, driven by the demands of hardball politics, driven by left-wing groups to make a show of opposition to President Trump. That's a pretty harsh statement from one of your own members. Do you refute that?
House Democrats have consistently made clear that we will sit down with anyone at any time and any place to enter into a bipartisan agreement that makes life better for the American people. We will not support a partisan Republican spending bill that continues to gut the health care of everyday Americans. Health care is not a partisan issue.
True. You should promote my stream in DG. Link my stream in DG. I can't do it myself, but you could do it.
Oh shit! Wait, who said that?
Radiant.
It's not a partisan issue.
Because he was linking food
It's
shelves.
an
I
American
said, wow,
issue.
not linking me.
And when you strip away health care from everyday Americans, that impacts Democrats, independents, and Republicans
I haven't chatted in there in
alike.
so long though. It
When
makes
you
me
strip
feel
away
bad
health care
and
from
like
the American
dirty.
people, as Republicans have done
You're here in
and
my
want to
stream.
continue to do,
Do you ever promote
you're
my
impacting
stream?
people in rural America, in urban America,
If I,
in the
Yeah, that's what I
heartland
fucking
of
thought,
America,
bitch.
if I NDG while
Yeah,
watching
okay.
it,
I thought
maybe.
so.
If
I thought
a partisan
so.
issue,
If
defending
Destiny isn't live, and I
access to
also
healthcare
watching
that's
your stream,
affordable,
and
standing
I
up
have
for
DG
hospitals
open.
and nursing homes
Usually
and
isn't the case,
community-based
'cause
health
he's-
clinics, that's
he's
not
part of the time
partisan.
that I'm not on my PC on DG.
That's
Kick her YouTube.
That's as American as
Or both.
baseball, motherhood, and apple pie.
Either.
Question?
Both.
So Russ just spoke to House
What a ding
Republicans
donks
on a
in
call,
chat.
says that these firings are likely to start within
Let's
the next
fucking
48
go. Hey,
hours.
Upton.
Also said that
You
Blake
also
is
link my shit in there.
going to
Fuck
run out
you.
of money within the
Kick
next
Upton.
week.
Yeah,
And he
Kick Upton
just
should actually.
You're in
I
there
feel
too.
weird
I've
doing
seen you
it.
in there. You're not linking me.
Posted
Hi, Kate.
that $8 billion of green
Who did?
energy
Yeah, you.
will actually be
You.
cut immediately, and it's going to
You,
affect
DG chatter.
16
Link my
states,
stream.
all of them which have
People
either
watch.
Democratic leaders or Democratic majorities in their state houses or Senate.
Oh, good.
What's your response to that? Feeling the pressure?
No, I saw you in here earlier. Don't say you just got here. I saw you in here earlier, and you didn't like my shit.
Been doing since
Don't be mean to
January
Cake.
20th.
I like Cake Upton.
That will be mean.
The mass firings
Anybody who's
of federal workers. Trump administration has been engaging in this since January 20th.
Cake Upton's the only
Targeting
person
the
that's
clean
ever
energy
cared
economy.
about Clone Hero.
Not based. They said I'm unfollowing Peach now. Whoa. Whoa.
Republicans have been
Calm
doing
down,
that since
calm
January
down,
20th
okay?
and assaulted the clean energy economy and the
Fucking
creation
crazy.
of good-paying American jobs in their one big, ugly bill. Trump administration has been killing jobs. This is a job-killing administration. Job creation is down, but you know what's up?
Kill
Costs. They promised to lower costs on day one. Costs aren't going down. Costs are going up.
just
Inflation is
link
going up
them?
under the Trump administration. And one of the reasons why Democrats are fighting hard at this moment is because unless we extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, more than 20 million Americans in a matter of days are about to experience the reality of dramatically increased premiums, copays,
They
and
about to
deductibles.
cover people to judge.
Many of them will experience medical bankruptcy as a result. That's why
what we're doing next.
Democrats are fighting hard
Every
on behalf of
Buttigieg
everyday Americans. I'll yield to Catherine to talk about the WIC issue. But in every other shutdown that Republicans have caused, including in the 35-day shutdown that Donald Trump presided over in 2018 and 2019, funding for women, infants, and children, their health, their nutrition, and their well-being was maintained.
Yeah, that's right.
It was maintained. In every other shutdown. The reason why the Trump administration is threatening now to cut funding for women, infants, and children is because they can't stand that program. They're on the side of their billionaire buddies. They've been running the largest pay-to-play scheme in American history. And Exhibit A of that was their one big ugly bill, which is now law. Largest cut to Medicaid in American history. And they stole food.
Hashtag
from the
kick
mouths
that,
of
or
hungry
sorry,
children,
hashtag kick slash
women,
Zipson 45.
veterans, and seniors, and all of this was done.
Sir, audio settings, enable mono. Where? Here? Is that a thing you can do in YouTube?
I did it.
Windows settings?
I don't
Bro,
know if
I'm
I
not
can-
changing my fucking Windows settings because of this shit, okay? Wow, that's a good one. Can you possibly show love to... I don't know. No. I will not be showing love to your friend. Sorry, Yelmar. Nonfon linking. Oh my god, this is the thing. Holy shit. Well, Nonfon, I didn't even know you were still here.
Nonfon's here?
Still here. He linked me Equalizer Plus. This is what I wanted. I was gonna see if somebody was gonna fucking think to link that,
nice.
but yes, this is what I wanted. Fuck, I need to, like, if I move your shit, does it move it on OBS? Okay, no, it doesn't move. Your paste up, boom, boom. Okay, how do I mono? Boom.
To provide massive tax
Oh
breaks to
my
their
god,
billionaire
it's so
donors.
much better.
We're fighting for the health care of the American people. They're fighting
Thank you,
for their
Nonfon.
billionaire
I appreciate
donors,
you.
their friends and family plan, which has been all about enriching the lifestyles of the rich and shameless from the very beginning of the Trump administration. So all this talk that we see right now, as if it has anything to do with the shutdown that Republicans have caused, no, it's their ideology.
Praise the Lord.
Cruelty
You're not
is
good
the point
boy me, Kate Upton, okay?
Wait, apparently...
when it comes to the
apparently,
Republican Party.
I have...
Unless
Wait,
I ask you to.
I have... So somebody is claiming... I haven't heard this yet, but did Andrew Callahan cut a bunch of his interview with Pete Buttigieg to appease his lefty friends?
He was going to, and then the
Did he not?
non-lefties said, hey, don't do that, and so he did not cut that shit out. So we'll be seeing the mostly unedited. It is still edited, but the cut that does not do the cringe lefty edits to make Pete Buttigieg look bad. We'll be seeing that in just a moment once we're done with this, which we might just be done with this.
Sorry.
I don't know, unless they're gonna keep going for a while on too many specifics. Let's just watch the Pete Buttigieg thing. A second. All right, let's get right into the interview.
What is this hat?
It's a goofball.
So to lighten the mood a bit, you see the news recently, the Tucker Carlson statement.
He was dating women just a few years ago. That's totally fake. Wow. He's not gay at all.
Smart.
He said that you are...
He's not gay. That's Tucker Carlson. Why does he care?
Tucker Carlson.
If
Wait,
Pete
there are
Buttigieg is
claims
gay or
about
not?
Tucker being. Oh, sorry.
Tucker saying that Pete Buttigieg is not gay.
I see.
Are basically fake gay, and that you've created this persona to appease the woke mob.
That's disgusting.
In a weird way, I guess it's progress. There was a time when I would have done anything to not be gay.
Like you would have gone to conversion therapy?
Maybe, yeah. And then I grew older, I matured, I went to war. During that deployment, I thought, like, this is insane to, like, be a grown-ass man with no idea what it's like to be in love. If I get through this deployment okay, I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna come out, and if it messes up my career, so be it.
Pete Buttigieg interview.
All right, thanks so much for making the time.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So what's going on, man? What's on your mind?
Bills.
Big question. I mean, where do you start? I'm really thinking a lot about where we go from here as a country, but also in my party, because we need to be able to talk in a different way about what's going to...
Hold on. Obama says I have a 7.1 cyst on my like it. Address the lies, please. My separate Democrats true. Tucker is kind of sus. Tucker is kind of sus. Why does he care? If people just gay.
Because he's gay.
Many are saying
He's asking if he's single.
Many are saying this. Oh my god, Agwarama91, thank you for linking me. Paste. And then the lefties called him the Esther. Yep, people like the Vanguard are making fun of him for being gay. These are our allies, by the way, supposedly. People like the Vanguard.
Happen. That's on my mind. AI is on my mind. Preschool's on my mind. Chess and I have 4-year-olds, so I don't know where you want to begin, but there's a lot to talk about.
I mean, AI is a pretty good place to start. Are you concerned or optimistic about the future?
Chacha's saying, do I need to be a hot e-girl with a webcam to come on stream? No, do you want to come on stream, Cha-Cha? You have me on Discord? I don't know what you'd want to say.
Of artificial intelligence.
Yes. I mean, of course you got to be concerned, right? Because it's bringing all these upheavals and problems.
I like
Cha-Cha. I also
Cha-Cha.
think there's an enormous amount of potential.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the uses that I'm closest to is automated vehicles. This is a technology that has been developing for years and years. Still not in widespread use. But when it is, if we do it right, it will save thousands and thousands of lives. If we do it right. Because human beings driving kill roughly 40,000 people a year in this country. We don't really think about it that much because we're so used to it. But the number of people who die in a car crash every day is about the same as the number of people who can fill an airplane. And if we had a plane crash every day, we'd all be up in arms, right? So the promise of something like AI in terms of safer vehicles is...
Curious X and Kick Chat. If he becomes president, can we call him a gay lord or no? We'll have to see once we get there. Once we get there,
There's a city in Michigan called Gaylord.
It's also a name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Gaylord or something.
Gaylord? Yeah.
is enormous, but like we also have a lot of worries about what happens if that goes wrong. And you could say the same about medicine, you could say the same about any number of national security implications, but the thing that I think about the most is what's going to happen to our economy. Because I'm from a place in the industrial Midwest where when I was growing up, these huge changes came. It was trade, it was automation, it was a bunch of things in the 90s and 2000s. And people got left behind. And even when they found a new job, they didn't necessarily find something that fit them into their community the way that their old job in a tool and die shop or in some part of the auto industry did. And the result of that was they couldn't find the sense of belonging that they had before, and that led to this explosion of problems. Social problems, mental health problems, political problems, I would argue. Like the moment we're in, I think is largely driven by that. So if that's what happened then, because of the technology and things that happened in the 90s, think about the level of displacement that might be coming our way now. Like today, some companies are hiring less at the entry level because of AI, and that's now. So a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, as the software gets smarter and smarter, what's going to happen to everybody? I think that's a massive problem that people in the political and policy world are not really preparing for the right way.
Yeah, because I mean, trucking is one of the biggest employers in the country. So if you were to automate all trucks and vehicles that are hauling stuff across the country, you'd have a ton of people out of jobs. So you'd have to figure out where they're going to work after that.
This is happening in transportation. It's been happening for a long time in manufacturing. But the other thing is, it's happening more and more in the white collar jobs. So like 15 years ago, if somebody's job was at risk in, I don't know, trucking, one of the things that would happen is they would be told, well, what you should really do is you should learn coding and start working on software, which may or may not fit for that person. But if they went off and did that because society told them to, now, 15 years later, the AI is getting good at writing code. And that's one of the areas where there's questions about whether there's going to be hiring. We're talking about architecture, graphic design, law. like lawyers.
Green.
So white collar as well as blue collar jobs that are on the line.
Isn't an AI just like Metal Gear? Holy shit, it's exactly like Metal Gear.
I really don't think that people have absorbed that. I think when we think about AI, we're thinking so much about the doomsday scenarios, which are also a thing, right?
Yeah.
But I think we're less prepared for what is very, very likely to be on us very soon, like by the end of this decade.
What you're talking about, massive
in the video? That is
unemployment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll be like 50% unemployment, but I do think that you'll see certain categories of jobs where suddenly like a huge chunk of the jobs, especially the entry-level ones, just aren't there. And then people who went to school and were told, study this, there's going to be a job waiting for you, and there isn't. You know, we've got to act fast to make sure that there's answers.
Yeah, I used to selfishly believe that my job was irreplaceable as a journalist, like as a street interviewer, because I have to actually talk to people in person. Then I saw an Instagram and TikTok page recently with 2 million followers or something like that, and it was all AI street interviews. And there's not a single comment saying like, "What? This is taking jobs away from the real street guys, man on the street." It was all just praising the genius and the actual content within it. So it might come from my job too.
I mean, it's hard to think of a job that isn't implicated in some way. Either something about the job changes or the entire job changes.
Definitely. I mean, it's gotten to the point that they actually have AI Channel 5 episodes that they're like posting on Twitter and Instagram now.
What? Hello?
I'm at the Abolish ICE rally. Shit is absolutely hectic. Tonight, any sign with the word ICE, from ice cream to ice machines, has become a target. Slushy machines are being drained. Everybody is slipping. What the fuck is going on?
Reddit told me I'm literally fighting Hitler.
These niggas are absolutely insane. Where the fuck is the Kirkinator?
Sir, the Antifa has hit the second McDonald's ice cream machine.
Pookie, wake up. We got a problem.
The Kirkinator.
So to lighten the mood a bit, you see the news recently, the Tucker Carlson statement.
He's never agreed to interview, but I'm going to ask him like some very specific questions about gay sex and see if he can even answer.
He said that you are basically a fake gay and that you've created this persona to appease the woke. Carlson statement.
He's never agreed to interview, but I'm going to ask him like some very specific questions about gay sex and see if he can even answer.
He said,
what specific things does Tucker Carlson know about gay sex? Huh?
Very specific. Well, he's gonna take notes. He's gonna ask. Oh, true. How is he gonna like?
What would Tucker Carlson be able to know and fact check if somebody's really gay or not? Exactly.
That you are basically a fake gay and that you've created this persona to appease the woke mob.
Oh, thanks for the follow, Yarmark. I didn't see.
Carlson claims Pete Buttigieg isn't really gay.
He was dating women just a few years ago. That's totally fake. He's not gay at all. Smart. So I said that on the air. People got all offended.
Yeah. I mean, in a weird way, I guess it's progress. Like,
why is he called Peach Buttigieg?
A good chunk of my life
I said Pete, they just say it weird.
Even knowing that like being gay would be a career ender for me. I had two parts of my career when I was in my 20s. Public service and being interested in public office and being in the military. Both of which could have ended because I was gay. And honestly, I don't like thinking about it now, but there was a time when I would have done anything to not be gay. Like, just like...
I have to read these, okay? Sirius X says, I can share my notes with Tucker. Easy. And someone else said, I'd have gay sex with Tucker Carlson if he asked nicely, assuming he wants to learn something. I mean, he seems curious. So.
Only if he wears the bow tie.
Only if he wears the bow tie, true. He won't do it anymore. Won't do it anymore. He refuses.
Nope.
He got blown the fuck out too much.
To do, and I would have done it.
Like you would have gone to conversion therapy.
I mean, if I thought it would have worked, the state of mind that I was in at a certain time in my life when I was younger, maybe, yeah. Because I thought that the reality would just shut down my options. And then I grew older, I matured, I went to war. During that deployment, I thought, like, this is insane to, like, be a grown-ass man with no idea what it's like to be in love. Like, if I get through this deployment okay, I'm going to come home, I'm going to come out, and if it messes up my career, so be it. But that's how I live my life. And so to now be at a point where a right-wing, whatever you want to call him, personality, commentator, his big conspiracy theory is that I'm secretly straight is, like, kind of hilarious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's progress.
Yeah, because what would you possibly have to gain about lying about that?
Yeah, I don't know. But that's the nature of these conspiracy things, right?
Cute
I mean,
guy.
you know this much more deeply than I do. But I think
Peachy's not interested.
Cute.
He's not interested.
Oh, man.
it doesn't have to make sense in order for it to make sense to someone. And what is important is to say something that's like outrageous enough to get attention. And like, here we are talking about it because it's actually like, of all the things you could say about me being gay, probably the most like novel.
You weren't gay. You'd be
is
the
to say that I'm
easiest
actually
fucking
not.
presidential candidate.
I didn't know that you didn't
ever.
come out until after your deployment.
True.
Yeah, I was already mayor in South Bend. And part of what happened is when you get deployed, you write a letter or they tell you.
He says, unfortunately that got AI modded, but I will read it, okay? If he comes to the next DC politician gay orgies, I'd give him a head. Thank you for your service, Senti. Thank you for your service. He absolutely will come to that because all these Republicans are fucking gay.
To write a letter, just in case.
No.
I still have it in my desk drawer. It says just in case on the outside. And I'm sitting down to write this letter that's for my family to open up if I don't make it. And I'm taking stock of all these great things in my life, which really are these great things in my life. I mean, I'd become the mayor of the city that I loved. I owned a home, you know, like I had a good life, great friends. But like this huge part of what most people consider to be important in their lives just wasn't there for me because I had figured out long since that I was gay and I didn't think I could or should like try to date and keep it a secret. So I just didn't have that as part of my life. And sitting down writing that letter, I just thought I can't, you know, I'm already into my 30s, like I can't go on like that. So that's kind of when I made up my mind. Not about being gay, but about
He's already in
coming
his
out.
30s.
For sure, and you feel like that was a really important thing for you to do.
Yeah, and it opened up
He
so
was
many things in my life.
He was in the military. You couldn't
Yeah.
I mean, you know, pretty soon after that, I met Chasten, who I married. You know, we're now raising 2 kids together in Michigan, where we live. And I just think about all of the most important things in my life,
They're
like
Michigan?
family and our home, and none of that's there in a world where I don't just.
Is he in Michigan? Am I crazy?
Is he?
I'm pretty sure. If I remember, maybe.
Why
not,
isn't he
actually.
governor? I would vote for him,
Because-
probably.
He has his sights set higher. Okay. No, sorry. He was mayor of South Bend, Indiana.
Fair.
I know it was South Bend. I forgot what state. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy,
whatever
just because
the
Indiana
consequences
is
come
so
out, people I am,
Republican.
start dating. And
Somebody said that hairline says 45.
like have that part of my life.
So
I mean,
you expected some initial backlash, but it actually went the
got-
opposite.
He has a good
He has
hairline.
gray beard,
There was
too.
definitely both. I mean, as soon as I came out, there were people having press
A
conferences
Muslim vote
denouncing
in Michigan
me
would
for
probably never
whatever.
go for him.
But there's some
Oh,
like
that is
nasty
true,
stuff
actually.
online.
That is,
But
that's why
also,
he's
it was
not
interesting.
governor of Michigan. Because
But like the Muslim vote really isn't like that big,
come
just
on.
because.
plus,
but it really
plus,
isn't.
plus everyone else that wouldn't for the same reason.
You're
You
right,
could-
but
you
it
could
wouldn't
never-
be just because of like it. Like they don't dominate that much, but you're right.
Also, I don't know why that got AI modded since, but yeah, I read it out anyway.
Was a lot of people did surprise me with their reaction in the other way. Some people like just found it, especially people I was in the military with, like just found a reason to say hi. Didn't say anything other than that, but it was kind of a way of like checking in or kind of a way of letting me know they didn't care. And then other people, including people I was in the military with, it turned out I was in the same boat and I never knew it. And they wrote to let me know that. And I got reelected. It's actually that same year with more votes than I did the first time around. And this is in, like, Indiana's a conservative place, right? This is while Mike Pence is the governor of Indiana, like, just to give you a sense of how conservative. And it was okay. Like, you know, not perfect, but it was okay.
Was there any reaction that really surprised you in a positive way?
You know, one story I tell a lot is someone I ran into who pretty soon after I started dating Chasten, who I knew was like more conservative. I ran into her and she had this like almost like naughty look in her eye and she's like, I ran into your friend and he's fantastic. And it was like this like moment of like I could have lectured her on like this isn't my friend, you know, but like the point was like she wanted me to know that she was like in this accepting place, right? Which I thought was really, really moving because I was like honestly pretty terrified about how many people would or wouldn't be accepting. The other thing that was surprising is that it wound up being this thing that I was afraid would just like make me
That is like
other, just like
it's a very like common thing. Or I have a gay family member, and that is how people will talk about him and his boyfriend.
That's so crazy.
Or sorry,
still.
husband. Yeah, not
Alien
still.
to
They're actually like married, but like that was how they would talk about shit like
the world I grew up in, which is like a very like straight conservative culture. It actually became the most normal thing in my life. Like what was not normal was being somebody who worked 18 hours a day and didn't miss that he didn't have any kind of like dating life, right? That might have been how I looked or like tried to look normal, but that's not normal. What's much more normal actually is now where like I'm trying to have a presence as a public figure and a political life and also trying to do right by a home where I got a husband waiting for me and 2 kids and a dog and you know we're getting the roof fixed and like some of the most normal things in my life are there because I opened that door.
Yeah.
And maybe that's been
understand that was all
we have AI.
Oh, what you do?
a good chunk of
Misclicked. I misclicked.
for sure. Military with like I could have like tried to for sure.
Making it back.
That might have been how I looked or like tried to look normal.
Made it back.
It's much more normal to do right by like surprise.
Yeah, speaking of Mike Pence, do you think
Made it
there's
back.
a pipeline between like homophobia and people being closeted?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, you see these stories about like apps like Grindr like, blowing up.
Wait, let me just go back to that question.
I opened that door.
Yeah.
And maybe that's been the biggest surprise.
Yeah, speaking of Mike Pence,
Speaking
do you
of
think
Mike
there's
Pence.
a pipeline between like homophobia and people being closeted?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Speaking of Mike Pence.
you know, you see these stories about like apps like Grindr like blowing up when the RNC comes to town and all the Republicans are in one place, right?
Yeah.
Wait,
And look,
really?
I think a lot of people.
Yes. Wait, did you not know that?
No. What's
This
this
is
app called?
When Grindr?
Oh, I thought he said it was like different than Grindr.
No. Grindr, whenever the RNC is in town, or there's like a rally or some shit, like fucking, it explodes. This is like a true thing.
I had no
that
idea.
Grindr has
That's
reported
so
on
funny.
Always. And it's, yeah. Yeah, that's what Senti was talking about earlier, about politicians, because whenever they're in town, suddenly there's a lot of gay
They're
sex
such
happening
pussies.
Yeah,
Well, they don't
pretty
like.
much.
Yeah, okay.
I'd like to think it's different than when I was in high school, but I think even now a lot of people get the message that like you don't get to just be who you are and not have that define you. And that's the part I think we're still really working on in the gay community, is like being able to have that just be like a thing that's like true about you among like many other things that are true about you, like what your job is, or having brown hair or whatever, and not have it have to be like the thing that everybody knows about you or sees when they see you.
On a broader community level, how did you feel about the T getting removed from the Stonewall website?
It's terrible. I mean, look, if you look into the history of what made it possible for people like me to have rights like we do, like to get married, like a lot of that was advocates and activists who were transgender in the 60s or 70s. I mean, it's hard enough now. Imagine what it was like then.
Can't even imagine.
Who stuck up for everybody's rights. And so, I get the politics of it. Like, I get that it would be politically convenient, honestly, for like people to pull up a ladder after them and leave out others, but that's not okay. Like, people have to stick together. And that's not just across the LGBTQ community. It's like anywhere somebody is getting beat up or having literally or figuratively.
Okay. People pulling up the ladder behind them, that's gay. Okay?
Because of who they are. Like, everybody else has to stick up for them.
Going back to the very beginning, you said you grew up pretty conservative, yeah?
I grew up in a conservative state.
Oh,
I didn't grow up
him?
He's so cute.
Look at that.
Oh my
Look at
god,
that
he's so
face.
cute.
I didn't grow up in a conservative household.
Okay, so your parents were Democrats?
Yeah, they were definitely left of center.
Right.
I think they were kind of skeptical of the Democratic Party too, but they were people who really cared about what was going on. The news, TV was always tuned to the news. My dad was always reading the paper. Like, I grew up with a sense that the most important things are the things that are happening in public life that kind of affect us all. We were politically connected. Like, I don't think I met an elected official when I was growing up, but we were very politically aware. And so that was something that made me always feel a little bit at odds with my surroundings, because our household was liberal. Our community in a lot of ways was not.
Yeah, one thing you mentioned too there kind of touches on what's going on in New York right now. You mentioned a bit of skepticism with the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And right now we're in New York.
Homo. Sirius said. Fortunately, got AI modded, but true.
New York City, there's a pretty contentious mayoral election. What's really not that contentious? You have an overwhelming groundswell of support between 18 and 32, especially in this neighborhood for Mamdani, who's kind of considered to be the front runner.
Pete's so
Yet you don't really.
So yeah, he's really a cool guy. I like Pete.
I really like him.
Everybody likes Pete.
Nobody
hates Pete.
I
Homophobic.
haven't really paid attention to him at all, really, to be honest, but...
Cool guy. He's transportation secretary under Biden. Good shit. Good guy. He needs to say a slur to get votes in this climate. I mean, if Pete Buttigieg came out and called the Republican the F slur...
The F slur?
Instant 50 state landslide. Instantly. That's all I'm saying, okay? Just saying. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Like 99% of the messages you say get AI modded. Yeah, he needs to give us the F word back. Okay, I don't know about that one, but he can say it.
In New York City, there's a pretty contentious mayoral election. What's really not that contentious? You have an overwhelming groundswell of support between 18 and 32, especially in this neighborhood for Mamdani, who's kind of considered to be the front runner. Yet you don't really see too many Democratic politicians openly supporting him. What's your stance on what's going on?
I think he's doing so well because he's focused on the issues people care about, like affordability. And I think that's what we as a party should be doing. There are things he's going to say and that he's going to do that are going to make more sense in a Democratic primary in New York than like a general election in Indiana, or even a Democratic primary in Indiana. And that's just like politics are different in different places, but the core of his message, which is to focus on affordability, I think is the right message. I think also, you see these maneuvers, like the Trump administration apparently trying to put a thumb on the scale of election by getting Eric Adams a new job so he'll get out and clear the way for Cuomo. That's everything that people hate about politics, no matter like where they are politically. And I think it's just supercharging people's frustration with that.
But why is there the hesitation?
And he dodges the question. Yes, fuck the people demanding that Kim Jeffries or Chuck Schumer or whoever the fuck endorses Mamdani, okay? You don't need the fucking endorsement. You're gonna win the race, okay? The reason to do an endorsement is to help somebody fucking win a race, or so that they can help you, so that they can like project their fucking shit onto you, their popularity. It's a either way. It's a utilitarian thing of like, hey, I'm gonna help you, or you're gonna help me, and that's why I'm gonna connect myself to you. If there's no utility in doing it, or if it can hurt you, then don't fucking do it. You don't have to do it. If they still want to do it, good. I mean, it's still a good thing, but fuck. People are demanding that should happen. People like Peace Go. Mega cringe. Sirius X says, Adams is a Bin Laden plan. Curious.
tendency to endorse him explicitly.
I think there's a lot of folks who aren't so sure about what he said about the Middle East or some of his positions that are economically pretty far left. And a lot of people who think of themselves as Democrats still aren't there on those issues. I also do think that my party should learn from the focus on everyday life, which I think is part of why
Dodges the question again.
The approach of just like getting out there and talking to everybody.
Yeah, I think that specifically anti-Trump rhetoric is kind of falling on deaf ears, especially with my generation, which I guess is Gen Z. Mainly because most people, I'm 28
He's
right now.
Gen
I don't know a single person who owns a home.
I mean,
you know, and I
Gen
live
Z's
in
like up
California.
to 28. So yeah.
How old? He just said. How old is he?
Gen
Z. Mainly because most people, I'm 28 right now. I don't know a single.
28 is
28?
That's like the max Gen Z gets right now. Yeah.
Okay.
And it says he's so good at the strategic politician's answers. Probably not a good quality, to be honest. He sometimes get really real, or the public American. I mean, he gets real too. I mean, he's been on. If you watched him on Jubilee, or on, was it Flagrant? I think he did Flagrant as well. I watched that too. He's pretty good at talking. He will give the politician an answer if he needs to, but I think usually he sounds pretty real. Especially on the Jubilee, he was really.
Single person who owns a home. You know, and I've lived in California, Pennsylvania, and Washington, Seattle. Everybody's still renting. Most people are working 2 to 3 jobs.
The politician answer exists because it's good sometimes. Like sometimes you have to answer with like a politician.
Everybody's overworked, and then at the same time, I'm being told, you know, we open our phones and we see horrible videos and imagery of things happening in the Middle East, and then we're told that we're supposed to direct our anger toward Trump. And obviously, there's not a big support of Trump in my generation, especially
because Trump.
Right.
My God.
That's kind of silly.
Also, this guy, by the way, I just found this out today. Andrew Callahan voted Jill Stein. Okay, so this is who we're dealing with.
Really?
Yeah. But he has said that he like regrets having done it. But
okay.
Still, what the fuck? Okay, so this is who we're.
That shocks me, actually.
So, yes, you should focus your anger on Trump as it relates to the Middle East, because Trump is the one that was bombing Iran, fucking ramping up the tensions. Trump is the one giving Netanyahu a fucking blank fucking check to do whatever the fuck he wants in the Middle East. Yes, you should focus your support on Trump if you care about the Middle East.
In the city, but most people aren't waking up.
And you should have voted for the person who be able to be him.
Furious about the president every day. They're furious about economic circumstances.
Well, and she was just a really good
candidate. It's really important to stand up to these things that are happening, like the president sending military troops to militarize American cities. Like any other, we can go down the list. But yeah, I think especially if you're in a place where like not being on board with Trump is kind of a given, then like you can't use that to end the conversation. Like that's like a background of the conversation. What people really want to hear from the opposition or from Democrats is like, okay, what are you going to do? Look, I can make the case, and I will all day, for things that my party has done or tried to do that are going to be better for everyday life. But it's also clear that just collectively, as a country, like the experience of young people is policy failure, right? Like you're supposed to be able to at least hope to purchase your home. And that's not happening. And I have a whole set of ideas about things I think would help on that. But I think you're right. Like I get that like people only want to hear it so much about Trump if you don't have something that at least feels like a plausible answer on how you're going to be able to afford to get a home, or how you're going to be able to afford to get an education.
Another thing too, that he's not bringing up exactly is people also need to listen for thing that isn't just Trump bad. Like people will say that about Harris, like, oh, she just said Trump bad. Like, no, she had policies, she had things that she cared about. She talked about.
Yeah, true.
But people didn't care to listen to it because they would just listen.
Trump bad.
Republican media tells them.
Orange man bad, like that's the meme.
Like what your outlook is in life in terms of the job that's actually gonna get you there.
And it's also just like we know that our tax revenue is going to the government. Everybody, we go to urgent care, we have a doctor's appointment, we have to pay $500 to $1,000 for anything beyond a basic checkup. And we're simultaneously seeing that money that was involuntarily being sent to regimes that we generally disagree with as a generation. So there's kind of this fatigue, and I think that the Democrat Party will have to lean a little bit more progressive to get young voters for next election, at least next primary.
I think we got to speak to what's on young voters' minds, and yeah, we got to do more listening, right? Which is, I mean, it sounds obvious, but like, I don't think there's a.
You will not say yes, we should get more
progressive. And the conversation's been a very, I think the party, any political party, definitely mine, like has a tendency to get into these very inside baseball conversations, and people don't see themselves in it. What I'm trying to lay out is a case for how it doesn't have to be this way. We can make it better, but we have to make certain policy choices. Like we have to decide that wages have to be a certain level you can actually live on. We actually have to decide to change certain things so it's easier to build housing, because if we build more housing, housing will become more affordable. We have to decide what our healthcare policy is. And yeah, part of that is anti-Trump, because Trump like ripping out Medicaid and making your premiums go up, like getting rid of the Obamacare subsidies, makes healthcare more expensive for you. We also have to explain what we're going to do to make it less expensive for you. We got to explain what it means to have a childcare policy where, like, you have a kid, you can afford to have a kid, and you can get paid family leave that every other country has. But what I'm saying is that's not something where you can throw up your hands and say both sides are not doing anything. We're like, Republicans have stopped paid family leave in this country. Democrats are trying to get it done. If we had enough power,
give more money to people.
So there's a set of things where I believe right now that we have the right position, and there's other things where we need to do some listening and some rethinking about our policy commitments.
There's just this generational nihilism that set in, and I don't know if it was Obama that triggered that, but there's been all these moments of hope where it seems like things are heading in a positive direction, yet the baseline remains more or less the same. What are some imminent policy changes you think would trend things in the opposite direction?
Well, again, my point is it doesn't have to be.
He's gonna give the politician answer. King, do not say what policy changes should be done.
This way. Like, we don't have to settle for this. Politics is messy, and it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and people disappoint you, and it can suck. But it is the only way to make things better. And when you get it right, things do, in fact, get better. Like, there are a lot of people in my life who went from not being able to have any health insurance before Obama to they have health insurance now. There's more problems with the healthcare system, for sure. We went from no insurance to insurance. People like me.
What he's saying, trying to say, which we won't hear, leftist retards, okay? Democrats do care about this stuff. They do talk about this stuff, and they do it when they're in power. Okay? When you let Republicans get in power, they fuck everything up. That is what matters.
He went from not able to get married to able to get married in the short span of my adult lifetime, right? So things can get better if we make them better. So what are the biggest things we want to make better? Cost of living, right? Wages, in many cases. Access to things like those family policies I'm talking about. Like,
I don't really think this argument by Andrew, or whatever his name is compelling, unless we start pushing for actual socialism. These people will probably never be satisfied. There will always be something else for them to criticize them for. Yeah. Now Andrew's not like completely, totally lefty, I think, but he's certainly influenced by those people, and almost got like made like insane edits to this video to make Pete look way worse than he does. Because
that's
lefties
crazy
who
too.
watched the shit on his Patreon were complaining that he made Pete look too good. He says, I can't pay for healthcare because my money goes to OF models, babe.
Paid leave. A lot of things about education need to get better. Like I said earlier with AI, like we need policies to make sure that if AI is going to change the way your job works or change your job or cost you your job, that doesn't mean that you can't recover, which means making sure that things like your healthcare are less connected to your job if you don't want them to be. Like if you're going to change jobs 13 times in your career, which the younger you are, the more likely that's going to happen, then you should have an option that isn't to have your health insurance change every time that happens.
Switching from Blue Shield to a different one.
That'd be so nice.
Talking about this, like the annoying clerical process of having to switch insurance providers.
Yeah, and it's not just the clerical process, right? It's the uncertainty and the fear. If you're not sure the new one has different benefits than the old one, or you're not sure your new employer has good coverage, like that's why there need to be alternatives. I think the government should provide alternatives. I don't think the government should force you into any plan, but I think there should be one that you can get that is still yours, whatever your job is. You should be able to afford it. My point is, there's this tendency to like throw up our hands and say all of this sucks because everybody's failed. But there are real, very major, important differences between how the two sides are approaching this. You got one side that is taking the money out of healthcare and putting it into the tax cuts for the rich, and you got another side that wants to make sure that the wealthy pay their share and then use it for things like healthcare. Like that's a real difference. And if you stay home, you're kind of choosing the first group.
And I think that's
true. Fuck the non-voters. Fuck them.
True.
Back to what I was saying originally, all those points are why so many young people, especially in New York, resonate with Mamdani and the message that he is delivering, because he kind of plans to address most of those things. Rent freeze, pausing the insane cycle of Airbnb gentrification, making
that can lead to bad outcomes. But like, it should be mandatory, but it should be way more encouraged than
so people
should be called out. If you
can afford basic groceries at city-run stores and be able to not have to, steal eggs. But there's probably someone stealing eggs right now near us.
Well, what it's going to come down to is results, right? Look, I was a young mayor that a lot of people said, like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
But I got enough people to form a coalition to believe that the trajectory of our city should change and could change. I should probably explain a little bit about what our city was up against. So we were a company town for Studebaker. Studebaker was a car company. It was a major car company. Like it was on par with the big three until it shut down in the 60s. And even though that happened like 2 decades before I was born, it was still everywhere around us when I was growing up, like collapsing factory buildings all over. And 30 years after that, when I was running for mayor, people were still trying to like go back to some past glory days. And my message was, it doesn't have to be this way. We can do something different. But then the day I won, the day I took office as a 29-year-old mayor, then it's just all about results. And that's when the rubber meets the road and it catches out for people.
Yeah.
Like, can you deliver or not?
So to get kind of surgical with the exact disagreements that, establishment Democrats have with Mamdani's platform. So you said it's Middle East and it's also some of the far left economic policies. What are those economic policies that are kind of red flags for the center?
First of all, you have a group that even now is just like frightened of the word socialism, right?
Socialism.
And he has identified himself as a socialist. You have obviously the language around the Middle East. Like, you got to understand, with something like globalized the Intifada, like a lot of Jews understand that to mean open season on Jews.
Open hunting season on Jews.
I don't think that's what it means to him. He's like taking steps to clarify that. But that's what a lot of people feel and think when they hear that. And his job, not just as a candidate, but definitely his job as mayor, will be to bring together people in a city who share the city and don't share a lot of other things in terms of their values, their worldview, or their experience. On the economic front, I think a lot of folks are skeptical about a government-run grocery store, just because if you look at the grocery business, there are a lot of businesses where there's tons of like profits sloshing around. You could say that in pharma, you could say that in a lot of businesses, right? Groceries operate on a very tight margin. So if you're proposing to make groceries more affordable, if you're saying you're going to subsidize food, that can make sense, right? We do subsidize food. That's what food stamps and SNAP are all about. Although, you know, that's something else that Trump is actively getting rid of, his budget is cutting SNAP, right? But if you're saying it's going to be better because the store is run by the government, I think a lot of folks are skeptical about why that would be better.
I guess maybe the process of applying for food stamps is, you know, maybe just annoying for people, and then also there's a likelihood of it getting denied, especially if it's in the hands of the federal government.
So that's something that is really important, like people's access to the benefits that they've earned. And that happens with food stamps, that happens with Medicaid. Remember, the people who are cutting Medicaid right now say that they're not cutting Medicaid. They say, hey, all we're doing is making sure that you're eligible. Well, what they're really doing is they're putting up so many pieces of red tape, so many steps that you have to go through to prove you're eligible, that a lot of people are going to fall out. And we know that's true because this happened in Arkansas. They did this exact move. What happened was they said this is just about making sure that you can only get Medicaid if you're supposed to. What actually happened is a bunch of people who are supposed to aren't getting their care. So I agree on that. The system, the structure needs to be better. I think a lot of folks are skeptical that having a business of that kind or an operation of that kind owned and operated by the government is going to work. But again, you win, you get a chance to prove it.
All right, so Pete here probably knows more about infrastructure than anybody else alive. But infrastructure isn't just about roads and bridges. It's digital too. And your digital infrastructure is most likely full of potholes. Every click, every search, every late night Amazon impulse buy gets scooped up by data brokers who are quietly selling it off like prime real estate to the highest bidder. These companies don't just know what shoes you wear or what apps you download. They know your location history, your family members' emails, and what time you usually scroll Zillow and where. They're mapping you out like a city grid, and that's no cap. For all these reasons, that's why I use Incogni. Think of it like a Department of Transportation for your personal data, except instead of fixing potholes, they're ripping up sketchy billboards that are plastered with your private info. Here's how it works. You sign up, and then Incogni sends official removal requests to data broker sites on your behalf. They don't just ask politely either. They push back when companies try to hold on to your information and play dumb. For me, that meant 80+ brokers wiped clean. The robocalls stopped overnight. The spam emails slowed down gradually, and suddenly it felt like my digital city just banned billboards. Peace at last. And Incogni just rolled out a new feature, custom removals. You know those creepy people search sites that list your old addresses, your cousin's names, and your high school mascot? With Incogni's unlimited and family unlimited plans, you can point to any one of these sites and say, get this off the internet, and Incogni takes care of the rest. If you want to sign up, here's what you got to do. Go to incogni.com/channel5 and use code channel5 for 60% off your annual plan. That's incogni.com/channel5, promo code channel5, or just click the link below. If you don't want your personal life auctioned off to the highest bidder, if you don't want to be reduced to a folder labeled single male 18 to 35 in some corporate basement server, get Incogni. Protect your data. Rebuild your digital infrastructure before somebody else paves right over it. Nah, but for real, supporting Incogni supports us and keeps Channel 5 alive and corporate surveillance free. All right, y'all, back to Mayor Pete.
So you have the word socialism scaring people, and it sounds like a huge thing is Israel-Palestine.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on that stuff?
Well,
bro, what the fuck?
There's so many...
Is he actually doing this? Why? Has every question been about fucking Israel, Palestine, Zohar Mamdani, bro? Why are we doing this? Holy shit. It's actually insane.
Things that have to be said. And what I've learned is, if you don't say all of them, people think you're abandoning them. So here's some things, in no particular order, that I know. I know that there are unspeakable horrors
Politician
taking place.
answer. Pete, yes. Let's freaking go. Give the politician answer that I want you to give.
No particular order that I know. I know that there are unspeakable...
Pete, you missed it. The question was...
Dang it,
sorry. 10 seconds.
Thing is Israel-Palestine.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on that stuff?
Well,
where do you stand on Israel-Palestine?
There's so many things that have to be
After
said.
Zohar Mamdani and like that, yeah, we're going straight.
And what I've learned is, if you don't say all of them, people think you're abandoning them.
Let's give the
So here's some
politician
things,
answer.
in no particular order, that I know. I know that
No particular
there
order,
are
please.
unspeakable horrors taking place in Gaza. I know that those unspeakable horrors are something that was unleashed by a war that started with unspeakable horrors being perpetrated by Hamas on October 7th.
Well, I mean, that wasn't the beginning of the conflict.
Well,
I mean,
that
this goes
wasn't
back
the
to
beginning.
It's not even gonna go back before 47. But this is exactly my point. The moment you say anything about...
When
the
is
moment
Zip going to visit the wall? Guys, we'll do a fundraiser for my trip to Israel.
What about the shrimp?
talk
And
about
we'll do a fundraiser
disgust at babies being put in ovens and people being flayed by Hamas on October 7th. Somebody says...
Pete, did you just say that shrimp are more important than the Jews? What the
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
disgust at babies being put in ovens and people being flayed by Hamas on October 7th. Somebody says, well, you're not talking about the history of the Nakba and what happened with the displacement of Palestinians. And the moment I express
Wait,
disgust
did he just
at
fact check
watching
him
people
on
in
the
Gaza being
babies and
starved,
ovens?
somebody says, well, you must be excusing what happened with Hamas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
there is nothing intrinsically anti-Semitic about speaking up for the rights of Palestinians. At the same time, a lot of people I know who
Come visit me in Tel Aviv. Yo, we got an Israeli in my chat. Hold on.
Oh shit.
Based alert. Sensi, are you gonna apologize for atrocities being committed by your government? I do
Oh
give a
my
fuck,
god.
but I will not put that on you because I'm not a person.
lie awake at night, worried about their kids going to college or walking the streets, hear expressions of support for Palestinian civilian life, and think about the fact that even though nothing about that makes you soft on anti-Semitism, the experience has been that those two things, expressions of support for Palestinian civilian life and expressions of anti-Semitism, have sometimes traveled together because there is, in fact, an explosion of anti-Semitism going on in this country.
Here at Harvard, it's easily one of America's most anti-Semitic, hateful universities.
I was one of the students who was doxxed after October 7th. There was a student letter that 34 student organizations signed, and that ended up causing a huge global kind of uproar, and there were trucks and names and stuff leaked to the public in terms of who signed. My name's right there.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Damn. Their perspective of our generation is really a matter of skill.
Actually. Yeah, that's me right there. Holy shit. Your Suck says, would they let Peach put her feet on the wall? Pay me money and find out.
Base answer.
That's just not for free. Pay her money.
In mobility, because obviously it's not good for someone to be targeted in an anti-Semitic tirade on a college campus. But you look at 65,000 plus civilians killed in Gaza, and then you think about somebody getting harassed on a college campus, and it just doesn't seem like a fair shake to balance one and say, someone's at Harvard, and there's protesters who are hurting someone's feelings versus people who can't leave, stuck in an open air prison, haven't been able to leave since 2005. They're getting shot indiscriminately in aid lines. They want sovereignty. Even if you want to go all the way back, Israel was supporting Hamas through Qatar as a way to weaken the leadership in the West Bank because they knew that Arafat and the PLO and the Palestinian Authority was a more secular organization with less radical goals. So now we're in this position that I would call it the Gaza genocide.
Cancel, true.
We can't believe
He
that
said 65,000. He's gonna get canceled. It's actually 680,000 or some shit. Jesus Christ.
Tax money is going to this war that we don't consent to funding. And we have to wake up every day in this unaffordable reality. And thankfully, I've been successful, but I still can't even afford a house because I just realized that 10% is actually the down payment. I don't have 10% liquid capital to put down, so I'm already have exceeded. And so it's just it's a bad situation.
Look, I feel all of that. I also think it's a mistake to say that the reason that housing is unaffordable here is because we're aiding countries. The same, Trump and Vance tried to do this with Ukraine, right? The reason we need to cut off Ukraine is because we could use that money better at home. But if you look at what's actually happening with the money here at home, it's not like every dollar that comes out of foreign aid. It's the same thing with USAID, right? And cutting, not that it was that much to begin with, but cutting food that we're sending to save people from starvation and disease in sub-Saharan Africa is going to somehow automatically wind up in your pocket. Most of the time, it's not. It's winding up in the pocket of the wealthiest Americans who are getting tax cuts under this administration. So I don't think that frustration with affordability at home means that we cut off aid abroad. I do think that what we spend money on abroad has to align with our values, which is why I think you see more and more people in my party saying, wait a minute, it's one thing to want to make sure that Israel can shoot down missiles that are being rained down on them by the Iranians, and it's another thing to be sponsoring Netanyahu going in to annex the West Bank or going in to invade Gaza, right? But I really think we have to talk about what we're doing with our money here at home in a way that is accountable to the domestic side of the policy ledger. Because that's not, I'm sorry, but the reason it's unaffordable here at home is not because we're helping certain causes abroad. That's never been the biggest share of our funding. And the trade-offs are real, but the trade-offs are between people who live here and other people who live here. And mainly it's the wealthiest people who live here versus everybody else.
So if the concern is anti-Semitism, I think that just to circle back, I have seen an insane explosion of anti-Semitic comments on Instagram in a way that I thought would be impossible even 5 years ago. And you have people who are actually neo-Nazis taking advantage of the post-October 7th discourse to
They don't get those things I say on Twitter.
piggyback on that to push their own agenda, pretending they care about Palestinians.
It's a pretext. I mean, a lot of people use it as a pretext, right? And part of how you can tell that is a lot of us are so troubled by a whole generation, right, focused on what we are seeing and rightly disturbed by what we're seeing every day in Gaza. But remember, some of these things, some of these expressions of anti-Semitism happened on the morning of October 8th. Before Israel even responded to October 7th, there were some of these things happening, on U.S. soil, the triangles being painted that are like a Hamas symbol. So that's part of what I'm saying. These two things in principle are not connect. They don't relate, right? Anti-Semitism, by definition, is an unjustifiable racial hatred, right? A position on the conflict and the effect that it's having, especially the effect it's having on men, women, and children in Gaza, is concern for people, right? Those two things, in principle, should not have anything to do with each other. Right. But in practice, a lot of people who are worried about their kids or worried about their family or worried about themselves see Like, it's not hypothetical. It's not just like somebody getting yelled at on a college campus. It's like people getting shot up, and like a guy with a flamethrower thinking he's helping children in Gaza by attacking Jews. Right? Like, this shit is real.
No, I think there's a lot of misguided energy when it comes to what people see as support. But I will say most of the Jewish people that I know that are my friends are pretty anti-Zionist, and they see, and I would agree with them, that every Israeli bomb dropped on Gaza, every bullet fired into an aid line, just ratchets up the anti-Semitism a little bit more. And so you have to ask the question, was October 7th the driving force of anti-Semitic outbursts? It really feels like the Israeli government and the IDF's military action is the driving force of anti-Semitism.
I mean, there's no...
Okay,
I don't
think
it's okay to blame anti-Semitism on, like, it comes too close to making it sound like that makes the anti-Semitism okay. I know that's not what you're saying, but I think at the same time, like everything that Netanyahu's government does right now, like everything you see the IDF doing in the food lines or the annexation or the ground movements into Gaza is incinerating a really important part of the moral fiber of what connects America to Israel and what I think connects a lot of American Jews to the Zionist project, right? The Zionist project is supposed to be about this moral realization that something happened, like a near extermination event for American Jews happened. And part of how the world needs to respond is to recognize that Jewish people will not be safe anywhere unless they have self-determination in their homeland.
The settler expansions into the West Bank have been pretty crazy.
And again, designed to make it impossible for there to be a functional Palestinian state.
Going
Netanyahu's government is doing everything that it can to make it impossible, right? I mean, that's what the annexation and settlements, that's what it's about. It's about spiking the two-state solution, which also means defying what has generally been America's position, which is part of why a lot of people in America are saying, wait a minute, why am I sponsoring Netanyahu to defy what America views as the way forward?
He says his name
and I
is
think
funny.
what the establishment and those in power need to think about, and the whole country needs to think about is, are we actually ready to do what it would take for a two-state solution to work? Is there any shred of hope? Or is two-state solution just something that politicians can say
I don't say
to
my T's anyways.
end this very difficult question and move on to the next question without being committed to what it actually takes to make it happen?
You think that it's possible?
I have to believe that it's possible because I can't think of something that would be better. But I also want to be honest toward your question. Like, it's never felt more out of reach in my lifetime than it does right now.
We're looking at it like, how can anybody possibly, talk about October 7th at this particular point when things have escalated to this horrific point where, like I said, you have 60,000 plus dead, and most importantly, people can't leave.
How can you talk about October 7th
the lack of
when
mobility.
there's a genocide happening? Bro, what?
That's literally what he just said.
Holy shit, bro. What the fuck?
And so I think a lot of us wonder, whenever we're 40, 50 years old and we're in positions of political power, are we still going to be in this situation, or is there going to be this permanent political gridlock when it comes to Israel-Palestine?
I think a lot of that does come down to leadership, and American leadership can make a difference, but I think the leadership there is what will make the most difference. And I think that this gridlock is being kept in place largely by Netanyahu because it's his ticket to stay in power, right? I mean, you see the people taking to the streets in Israel. What he's doing is obviously not good for the hostages either, and they're still hostages, which also falls out of the discourse sometimes. But like, that's real, they are real. There's a lot of people who all they want is the bodies back
think
of
if
their loved ones.
Russia launched a missile at Poland, these guys wouldn't care? I mean, not all pro-Pallies are against like NATO and shit. Although those people do exist, but I mean, that's different. The argument is weird to me. Israel is a party that needs to be negotiated with regarding any possible solution. This guy literally supports trying to occupy Israel with international forces. Well, that's not what he's saying, but yeah. And you're right, but I don't think he was arguing against it. Exactly.
There's also people who are alive, right? None of that is getting better because of what Netanyahu is doing. He needs this to stay just as bad as it is so that he can stay in power and stay ahead of criminal charges and all the rest of it. So that has to change. And there needs to be American leadership that can do two things at once, that can be committed to the security of people in Israel. And
Kamala Harris would have been better for people in Gaza. That is just the truth. It's just factual. Would have been better for the Palestinians.
Unwilling to sponsor some of the things that...
He fucking hates Netanyahu. Kamala Harris hates fucking Netanyahu, okay? And he hates her. Netanyahu wanted Trump in office. Every pro-Pally who refused to vote, or voted for Palestine, or got other people to abstain, they caused it.
By American policy and
partially responsible for this shit.
Prevent peace from becoming real.
Right. Do you think that there's any way that Israel will get back the right or the left? Because they lost the left first, and it took about a year and a half for them to lose the right. Do you think that our relationship politically with them is going to be permanently severed, or is there a bridge back to mutual understanding?
Israel did not lose the right. Also, based. Since he says, I do go to protest. Based. Absolutely.
What I know is that if it becomes just a partisan thing...
What do they protest?
In every, well, the government. This guy is Israeli. Yeah.
Oh, the Israeli government? Nice.
This fuck everybody. You, chatter. You should go protest. Your government, if your government is bad. No King's protests are happening this month, October. I think like...
Oh, really?
There's going to be another No King's protest. You, chatter. Look up where your closest No King's protest is. Go to it. Or
it'd be fun.
You're cringe. Yeah, it will be fun. I'm going to go to mine.
then I think the relationship is destroyed because it used to be a bipartisan concern. I mean, it still is a bipartisan concern, but
I think No
feels...
Kings specifically doesn't do in DC because.
Oh, really?
But or at least they didn't last time because last time it was at the same time as the.
Oh, the parades
military
and stuff?
parade, so it was like specifically because they were literally saying like we're gonna fuck up protesters.
Yeah.
For that reason they didn't. I don't know if they're doing it this time, but I haven't looked at it because.
I'll look into it. Yeah.
It's very different now.
In terms of the anger that's been brewing on both sides over the past couple years?
Yeah, I mean, more and more people, I think, on both sides are pessimistic about a two-state solution. But I can't think of anything better.
Yeah. As far as overall American intervention, and one of the big things that Trump ran on was not being an interventionist. And
They said he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars.
Only America first. America first.
It's kind of letting people handle their own problems. At least, maybe we have some covert funding of CIA programs, but we're not going to send any more troops explicitly to different countries.
Yeah, but we'll blow up a boat off the coast of Venezuela and rename the DOD to the Department of War. Like, it's kind of weird how he came in saying he's the peace guy, and then he's posting Apocalypse Now memes about making war on Chicago. Like, this guy's not exactly a peacenik, right?
There's been a war in Chicago for a long time. I don't think he knows about it. As far as your decision to volunteer to be deployed to Afghanistan, what prompted that decision?
Talk about Israel more.
Like hearing these stories about how Americans came together in a previous generation to serve.
How do you
but
get
I saw kind
a
of the
press pass, or do you just go with the camera? I mean, I think you have to apply for a press pass for like White House and like looking like official government buildings and stuff. But as far as I know, in theory, it shouldn't be that hard to get a press pass.
Opposite in my generation. Like if you look back at the generation like JFK or even like George H.W. Bush, right? These guys were in World War II together. They got to know each other. They became Republicans. They became Democrats. They were rich. They were working class. Like they all just kind of formed this sense of what it meant to be an American while they were defending America in World War II. It cut across class. And by the time the Iraq War was erupting, and I was a college student when that happened, very few people who I saw like on the campus of Harvard were going to wind up in uniform. I think the statistic is something like 50% of the graduating class of Princeton in the 40s went directly.
True. Applying for press pass in 2026 will require a live demonstration on how well you can lick the boot. Is also true, unfortunately.
In the military.
Wow.
Something like that.
And that was the Pacific or Europe or something like that. Yeah.
And, a couple generations later, I could like count on one hand the people I knew in the Ivy Leagues who were going to ever wear the uniform.
And you feel like that was having a chilling effect on patriotism and camaraderie across the board?
Yeah, because it meant you were farming out our wars to lower income people. And this started, this largely started in the post-Vietnam era. Because in Vietnam, everybody, but not quite everybody got drafted, right? Like Donald Trump famously avoided, he was a millionaire's son, he avoided having to go to war.
He's a drafter.
I told me this yesterday, she was in the Vietnam War, that if you were enrolled in a university, you didn't have to be drafted.
Right. So imagine the resentment that comes out of that, right? And then you get to my generation, and it's like this is a working class war. And then I'm against the Iraq War as a student. I'm watching this stuff play out. I'm looking at who's serving, and I'm beginning to ask, like, if I'm not serving, am I part of the problem? And so I signed up for the reserve, which is a way to kind of keep your day job and be in the military. 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year, and then you might get deployed. The thing that really put me over the top, actually, was when I was knocking on doors for Barack Obama. I was in the low-income counties in Iowa, and knocking on doors. It felt like every other house I knocked on the door of, there was this like working-class kid who mentioned to me that he was about to go to basic training or something. I'm like, well, if they're going, then I ought to be going. So I did. I signed up. I became part of the Navy Reserve. Loved the people that I served with. Knew that it, sooner or later would be getting deployed, and then it meant in the end getting deployed to Afghanistan. While I was
Okay, we need to gather up all federal employees that openly showed partisanship to Trump and line them up against the wall and impeach them. Not wrong. Just impeach them, though. Line them up against the wall and then impeach them.
Mayor, so that was a little complicated. I had to go on leave as being mayor to go be a lieutenant, but it was one of the most important experiences of my life.
Do you think foundationally 9/11 had an emotional impact on you?
Totally, yeah. I mean, the way it felt watching the fighter jets go overhead that day, it happened on like registration day, my sophomore year.
Okay.
And there's people walking around outside trying to get a cell phone signal, trying to call their loved ones. It was, I think, the first time that my generation saw a chain of events that happened overseas impact us here at home directly. Usually it's the other way around. And we were trying to use our imagination to think, okay, how is something that's happening, some policy decision here in America going down in Africa? But here's like, this chain of events started in a cave in Afghanistan with Osama bin Laden, and it ended with thousands of Americans getting killed.
So it broke this invisible wall that had existed.
We kind of lost our innocence. And then we lost our innocence again, because after 9/11, there's this amazing moment where everybody comes together, American flags, left, right, and center, everybody kind of feels a certain way. We're going to help each other, we're going to like stand up. But then that goodwill gets squandered.
You know who did 9/11?
In the Bush years by invading Iraq, which has nothing to do with 9/11.
I'm not going to say which people.
A bunch of other things that happened.
It was ISIS.
Yeah, I think part of why so many people were on board with the invasion
of
Iraq is a
Al-Qaeda.
lot of people didn't know the geographic differences between the countries.
Yeah, it's all like the Middle. Afghanistan isn't even strictly speaking the Middle East, but to a lot of people, it's like kind of the same general Middle Eastern vibe.
Right. It's also the word terror.
Sorry guys, it was us. Whoa! Breaking news, guys. Senti from Israel says, "Sorry guys, it was us." Heard it straight from the source. Curious. Very curious.
Just so commonplace as a justification for so many things.
They want to drag the modern world back to the past, to a dark age of violence, fanaticism, and terror.
Terrorism.
Terrorists. Radical Islamic
Terrorists.
The terror network will have nuclear weapons.
And the problem with the word terror is that it kind of evokes imagery of like someone throwing a stink bomb in the bathroom, or like, doing ding dong ditch. It's just terror for terror's sake, just adrenaline seeking.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think of when I think of terror.
Yeah, when I think of terrorism, that's what I think of. Stink bombs and
ding dong ditch.
That you should never advocate or condone terrorism. But when someone does something crazy, there's typically somewhere down there a valid grievance that was taken to the extreme degree.
Yeah, but that's the difference between understanding something and justifying it, or explaining something versus explaining something away.
On September the 11th, enemies of freedom committed an act of war against our country. A man can be jailed in Afghanistan if his beard is not long enough.
It was a public relations campaign on behalf of the government to make sure we didn't know why Al-Qaeda was actually upset with us.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that nobody's really in the mood to put things in context in 2001. But also, I think there is a correct awareness that like whatever missteps the U.S. made in foreign policy, that doesn't mean it's okay to hijack aircraft and fly them into buildings in New York City and murder everybody. I'm not saying
it made someone so mad that they were willing to do that.
I would say a lot of things made them so mad that they were willing to do that. But yeah, U.S. policy played a role.
True.
No question.
And it's important because if you don't want to repeat those mistakes and be back in the same situation, you're likely to do something like perhaps invade Iraq, which will create the same kind of resentment that led to 9/11.
But here's what I'm worried about from a Gen Z perspective, where I see a lot of folks in Gen Z who are open to like an isolationist approach. So like, none of this worked. All we do anytime we go abroad is we fuck something up, so let's just stay put, right? And I think Trump speaks to that, actually. By the way, that's all bullshit. Like, he was for the Iraq War, and then later on pretended to be against it. And like I said, now he's doing these warlike things. But never mind. I get that feeling. I think it's really important not to give into it, because the world is going to develop along some pattern and some set of values. And a lot's going to depend on who's leading and who is projecting. I'm not saying we project force everywhere. I think we only project enough force to defend ourselves. But what else are we projecting in terms of leadership? Because if not, somebody else is. And I do not want the kind of world order, if you want to call it that, of the 21st century to unfold on Putin's terms. I don't want it to unfold on Xi Jinping's terms. I want it to unfold on terms that are a little more consistent with what I think of as, yes, American values, but also universal values, like things you don't have to be American to believe in, around freedom and self-determination. It doesn't mean every country is going to be a liberal democracy that looks like America. Well, especially America now. I'm not sure I'd wish the current conditions in America on a lot of other countries. But I just don't think we can retreat and expect that to go well. I think another lesson of 9/11 is whatever's going on in the world will come find us one way or the other.
Did you see anything in Afghanistan where you felt like it was objectively wrong and needed to be corrected in terms of societal behavior and cultural practices?
You mean among the Afghans, or you mean? Sure, but that doesn't mean I thought it was my place to go in and like fix it.
Yeah.
Like there are.
You just mentioned a universal sort of moral code, and that kind of was. I was thinking of certain practices in certain societies that are seen as objectively non-democratic, oppressive, etc.
Yeah, I mean there was an enormous amount of corruption. Like it was sort of like ingrained in the culture in a way. You have to understand that that's kind of what it took to get things done. Doesn't mean no corruption is okay, but it's why I think an American would be shocked at some of these things that like police commanders would just be paid in cash, but also they personally would be expected out of their personal pockets to pay the salaries of all the people who reported to them, because like none of the government.
If Kamala was president right now, Buttigieg would not just be transportation secretary. Maybe he might be just to like keep it up, but he would be higher up, I think.
Absolutely.
He would be. I mean, Kamala, like if you were there for a few streams ago, whenever I was reading some of Kamala's book.
I'm so sad I
one of the things
missed it.
that came out was that's fine. I'll read more. One of the like big things that like is in the book is that Kamala's first like choice, like personally, for vice president was Pete. Like she really wanted him, but she knew that it was like not a good risk to take, like being a black Indian woman at the top of the ticket with a gay man as her vice president. That it just wasn't a good risk to take in such an important election. So like,
if I didn't like Tim Walz so much, I would believe probably that would have cost her the election. But I feel like without like even without Tim, you know what I mean? Like even with Tim,
I think Tim was the best choice that she had.
I do too.
She goes into very like there's a lot of specifics on like her three like final candidates were Josh Shapiro, Tim Walz, and Mark Kelly. Josh Shapiro being the governor of Pennsylvania, and Tim Walz obviously governor of Minnesota, and Mark Kelly being senator from Arizona. He decided against Josh Shapiro She doesn't say like specifically like it was because of this, but from the things that she says, it was Josh Shapiro wasn't because he was too ambitious. He was like really like he wanted the VP job so bad, and he wanted to be involved and like do all these things and whatever. Mark Kelly she didn't want because she thought that he might not be able to handle like the kind of attacks that would be put on him from like Trump and stuff. And Tim Walz was chosen because he was not ambitious. He like was self-deprecating and really wanted to like support Kamala on this, which is like the most important job of the PP. That's why Tim Walz was chosen. I think he did that really well. I think he was the best choice.
I do too.
Like Pete maybe would have been better on like certain things, but
yeah,
it's just
as far as like knowledge, like foreign policy,
of
like
course,
that kind of thing. Like he has a better skill set, but yeah.
Sirius says he was Jon Snow. I have not watched Game of Thrones. I don't.
Me neither. Oh my god, we both don't get it. I love it.
I just don't get it. But which one of them was Jon Snow? I just talked about like 4 people. But yeah, you can explain. Maybe I'll agree. Okay, continuing the video. I just went on a rant.
Machinery was working to
like
do
a
that.
Departed style Ponzi scheme.
Basically, Pete's based. Kamala really respects Pete.
It's not
He would have
from.
wanted him more. Oh hey, Nonfun, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, wait, real quick. Peach, if you donate $10 to the Shrimp Welfare Project, I'll tier 2 sub to your only or Fansly right now. Anyway,
Okay.
see you guys.
Based. Okay. King.
Based.
Amazing.
I'll do it.
Yeah, that really takes me back.
$10 to
They want to catch you up.
the shrimp.
The shrimp. We love shrimp. We love shrimp in this house. Tim Walz had friendly local neighborhood guy vibes. Yeah, that was also one of the reasons that she wanted him, was because he was like very grounded, down to earth, kind of thing.
Correct here.
That's the one with everybody getting shot in the face, basically, right?
Yeah,
There's a lot
I
of
don't want to
people
spoil it,
getting-
but there's
yeah,
that scene in the apartment
Right,
building, and everyone
right,
basically dies.
So
we're talking about Afghanistan.
Yeah, sorry.
Sort of societal clash.
Suddenly I'm thinking about elevators.
Anti-isolationist, and in terms of
Yeah. So like, take the treatment of women. Objectively bad, obviously, extremely objectively bad
Like
in
what kind of-
Afghanistan. Now, like they don't think women should go to school. They're not going to let women have jobs. Like just bad.
So what do they do?
What do women do? I mean, they're expected to be at home to produce and raise children.
Just like domestic servitude.
Pretty much.
Not
Right?
go to
Does that mean we
school,
invade
yeah.
them and make them change that? No. It does mean that like leadership, American leadership, Western leadership matters, right? It matters especially as the economic leader, to the extent we can stay the economic leader. Like we nudge things in the right direction and say, like, if you want to work with us, there's some things that we care about in terms of human rights in your country, right? So that's just one example, but that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but the strategic objective of the Afghan war, the Afghanistan conflict, was to disempower the Taliban.
Yeah, although by the time I was there, it was getting a little harder to figure out what the strategic objective actually was. Like I would go work out, and there's this room on the ISAF headquarters where I was stationed. It was like a gym workout room. And they had this thing on the wall, this poster that was like a PowerPoint of the like mission. And it was so convoluted, like there were so many things on there. It was meant, I think, for morale. It was meant to remind us why we were there. But the more I looked at it, the less I understood exactly why we were there. I think that's part of what made it very hard to get out. Because if you don't know exactly what your objectives are going in, especially once you've overthrown the Taliban, which happens super quickly, then it's really hard to figure out what the terms are going to be for you to get out.
So you felt like it went on for far too long.
Yeah, I mean, when I was there, that would have been year 13, 14. I was there in 2014. Started in 2001. And by the way, we thought we were the ones turning out the lights. Like I thought I was one of the last people there. And then it went on for years after that.
Would you describe your deployment as, was it calm, or were you seeing combat?
I mean, I wasn't like breaking down doors, but you know, it felt like combat when they were shooting rockets at us, for sure.
On the
It was
base.
not, yeah, usually on the base. And my job was to go outside the wire a lot, just like driving. We call it military Uber. Because the rule was you had to have 2 people qualified on a long gun, and not everybody there had a long gun. So some people just had pistols, some people had both. I was one of the ones who had both. So that meant like for my commander to go anywhere, the rule was I had to go with him, or somebody had to go with him. So it meant that I wound up just driving around Afghanistan a lot and seeing through my windshield what was going on in these cities.
What was going on?
It was just a city. I mean, there's this thing that happens when we hear about or see a place going through a war that you imagine that all anybody's doing there is war. Right.
Yeah.
But there's like girls going to school and guys with watermelons on their shoulders coming back from the market, and like hardware stores and a froyo place, and like there's just life, right? It's a city.
Yeah.
It's a city that's going through a lot. It's a city where like every few days there's a bomb. But it's a city.
That's one thing I noticed about Ukraine. I went there about 30 days after the war began, and I was driving through the interior of the country where there were rockets being fired. And there was a concentrated effort to maintain normalcy and just do your day-to-day routine. People were going to coffee shops. Of course, the air raid sirens would make people go into bomb shelters for like 5 minutes, but it was almost like the bars were closing at 8 instead of midnight. You know, it's just stuff like that where people don't want to lose their minds, and they want to keep morale high and not give in to the trauma and stress of the situation. Was it a similar thing in Afghanistan?
Yeah, because people have jobs to do. Like unless you're literally in the military, like just because there's a war in your country doesn't mean war is your job. Like you have some job in the coffee shop or whatever it is. And the biggest thing I took away, I think, was the sense of how people go about their everyday life when all of that is going on and happening to them.
What was your opinion about the withdrawal?
It was brutal. I mean, it was really, really hard to watch. It was hard to watch. Well, it was hard to watch the bombing because it was the bombing where American service members were killed, because that was right at a location that I drove through or at a lot of times and worried. I knew it was a high-risk spot, and I was worried that would be one of the places we would get hit. It was brutal to watch those images and the airplanes taking off and people clinging to them. And it's also brutal what's happened since. Like the way that a lot of people have been left behind who put their lives on the line.
So there was no real exit plan for people, our allies in the Afghan National Army?
I mean, clearly it was not executed in a way that took care of them. And then the decision by the Trump administration to just scrap all of these programs. There's a lot of people who are just high and dry.
What do you think about what's going on with the border right now? Or I guess with ICE occupying cities and federal agents being sent to places like Chicago and DC?
It's not okay to militarize an American city. And two things can be true. It can be true that we have immigration laws for a reason, and they should be upheld. And also, this doesn't justify militarizing an American city. Look, the border needs to be secure, right? That's been an issue for a long time. It's also true that the system, so the thing you're supposed to say, to sound like you're right on this issue, is you're supposed to say, I'm for more legal and less illegal immigration, which is true. I mean, I'm for that too. But if you go around saying that, you have to look at what we've actually done as a country. And one of the things we've done as a country is not made it possible for enough people to come in legally while having these economic pulls that pretty much require, our economy requires a certain number of people, or set up in a way that relies on a certain number of people to come in illegally. And we expect that to just work. And of course, it doesn't. And there have been attempts to reform it. There was a big one in 2005 or 2006. There was a bill, a year or two ago that wasn't a complete reform, but it would have helped. The last time we had actual comprehensive immigration reform in this country was 1986.
Yeah, under Reagan of all people.
Yeah, and I knew the congressman he was from Louisville, who was one of the people who did. He was a big Notre Dame guy. And under Reagan in 84 or 86, they did that. It was Ron Mazzoli, this Democratic congressman from Louisville. Al Simpson is this very conservative senator from Wyoming. They got together and they made a plan, they did it. And we haven't done a comprehensive reform since then.
Yeah, it should be Louisville. That's how the fuck it's spelled. People call it Louisville.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is that?
I agree.
Should we just deport Israelis? I don't know about that. That's gonna be his next fucking question now. Just Magnus says, is this interview on his YouTube channel yet, or is it from his Twitter? No, this is on his YouTube. It just got uploaded 11 hours ago. This is like the full edit, not the edited cut down to make that or whatever. He did not cave to the pressure.
Day. For me, I could be wrong about this, but I see a pretty clear solution to the immigration issue, which is to dramatically increase the number of asylum judges and put a lot more funding into the immigration courts. Because right now, I've had some experiences at the border. I keep in touch with some migrants that I've met in the Arizona desert and over the river in Texas, and most of them, their asylum hearing, their first preliminary hearing where they go to meet an immigration judge to figure out if they can stay or be deported, it's 4.5 years. And so, especially now with Trump in office, it's like, okay, you're sending ICE to these cities. What message does that send to somebody who's already here illegally and thinks, should I go to my asylum hearing in 3 years? And I think I'm going to avoid doing that because I'm here already and I'm one of 380 million people, so I'm probably just going to kind of bleed into society and not make myself an object of deportation.
But that doesn't speak to the economic issue, which is a whole American economy almost designed to need more labor than we're able to supply.
And one thing that I want to say too is that there's a notion that Americans wouldn't ever want to do farm labor. They say only immigrants would want to do these jobs. No, only immigrants would do those jobs for that amount of money. Yeah. I'm sure that if it was affordable, there would be tons of Americans, especially in the inner cities, who are like, I can move to the Central Valley of California and make $20 an hour picking artichokes, or I don't know how you actually extract artichokes from the ground, but doing whatever you have to do to get artichokes onto plates from the farm. People would do it. It's the fact that they're being paid almost nothing.
No, I mean, the whole thing about Americans is a willingness to do hard work for good money. Yeah. Right? I think if the good money isn't there, that's when things start to change.
Mm-hmm. So would you ever run for president again?
I don't know. I mean, I did once, so obviously, it's crossed my mind. But it's not like I'm somebody whose life will never be complete unless I run for president again. What I'm trying to figure out is how do I make myself useful? And there's a lot of ways to do that. But what I'm doing right now is making the case for the values and the ideas, and in some cases, leaders that I believe in. I'm going to do a lot of that going to the midterms, and writing about what I see happening in the world and speaking out about it, because I know that that's worth doing no matter what.
Who's on your current Mount Rushmore of leaders that you think on the progressive side of the aisle you think could lead us to victory?
Mount Rushmore.
Get in there.
Controversial thing. Let's not think about the history of it right now.
I mean,
like, as a figurative symbol.
Like historically?
Right now, not dead or alive. We're talking right now. Mount Rushmore.
That's kind of twisted to put anybody who's alive on Mount Rushmore. But
it's a thought experiment.
Okay.
We're not building anything.
I mean, I don't know about Mount Rushmore, but I can tell you people I like to call and see how they're thinking about things.
Yeah, that's kind of
and a lot of it is people who are my generation who are thinking about things a little bit differently. Senators in my generation, people like Andy Kim, who's new in the Senate from New Jersey, or Alyssa Slotkin, who's my senator right now in Michigan, who I think just have a different, they're not captive to the we're doing it this way because we've always done it this way kind of mentality. I would put John Ossoff in that bucket too, in Georgia. I think there are a lot of people who people probably haven't heard of as much because they're considered more junior in the House, but are really just thinking with a level of firepower and originality. Some of them are more moderate, some of them are more left, but from Jake Auchincloss in Massachusetts to Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez in the West to Sarah McBride in Delaware, they're thinking at a level that I think has the kind of imagination that we need. And then a lot of the best progressive leaders, I think, are mayors who get very little national attention, except when something goes.
I've never seen that Andy guy until yesterday. He seems pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of good things, and yeah, yesterday we watched him. He was one of the guys. If you guys were watching last night, he was one of the guys talking about the shutdown. about to go down when the Senate was talking. And yeah, he's pretty based. And Cindy says, I like Slukin, all national security times are intelligent. Yes, he seems really smart. I think I didn't like thing she said, or like one thing where she like seems like a little rehearsed or whatever. Well, like, she definitely seems smart, and she has the experience to back it up.
Wrong in their city, but are doing remarkable work. Like Mike Johnson in Denver has come as close as any big city mayor has ever come to just figuring out housing. I'm not saying it's like a perfect solution,
and
but like
decriminalize psilocybin mushrooms.
Okay, I didn't know that, but good to know.
Brandon Scott from Baltimore is doing great too.
Yeah, I worked with him a lot, especially when the bridge collapsed a couple years ago. And yeah, they've driven violent crime down in Baltimore. They're doing a lot to get the city to like a new and better place.
What have they done to create that great result?
Well, each city is different, and each story is different because you it has to be very place-based. But a few things
concentrating
that we know work. I mean, one again is to have compassion, not let compassion take you all the way through to just anything goes. It's things like housing first, which is the idea that like sometimes it doesn't work to say like we're not going to get you shelter until you're clean, because the reason you're not clean has something to do with you not having shelter, like breaking the cycle. It has to do with like finding a way to build up the legitimacy of law enforcement, recognizing the problems that have come with, historically, like at the hands of law enforcement through the generations, and also recognizing that like if we do not make it possible for police to successfully do their job, we are not safe, and we have to support that work, and also not expect them to be the mental health provider of first resort, right? That's another thing that I think Mamdani's talked about here that's really important, is the relevance of making sure you send in somebody who's like qualified to help on mental health when there is a crisis. I think they've done a lot of work on the economic front to recognize, okay, some things are federal policy, but like local leadership has a responsibility to make sure this place is livable. That's where clearing out some of the barriers to getting housing built. You know, it takes local leadership to do that. I think it's really interesting to see what Daniel Lurie is doing in San Francisco, because he came in at a time when people were really pessimistic about the city, and it has kind of a back to basics approach. So again, I'm not mapping like these leaders aren't all good because they're more left or because they're more center. They're good because they're crafting solutions that make sense where they actually live.
I think what Baltimore did too, they have this group called Safe Street that Brandon Scott has, and it's a community intervention team. Mostly they're like local football coaches. They're like dads in their 40s and 50s who are all like super buff, but they're also trained in de-escalation and some basic PTSD therapy tenets. And they'll go in and they'll intervene and talk to at-risk youth who end up perpetuating inner city violence. And most of them just need somebody to talk to. They're not these like broken people who will never be fixed. Like, it's possible to help somebody with kindness. You don't have to incarcerate them and teach them a lesson every time to do something wrong.
Especially when you're dealing with teenagers whose brains are still developing. Like, I think about this a lot more because we have kids, and I'm like watching like the neurons like firing in our 4-year-old kids. Like that process is continuing like well into your 20s.
Yeah.
And being attuned to that is a really important part of how you like do right by people and keep everyone safe.
Yeah. I mean, when I was a teenager, I was insanely stupid. We
all?
I mean, we had this game when we were 16 where we would all run into the grocery store and we would grab as much beer as we possibly could, and we would race to the exit, and whoever got there first with as much beer as possible would win.
What?
I never won because I'm
Hello? The fuck is that?
kind of slow,
That's
but I'm not going to say his name because
so
he has a good
funny.
job now. But he would win, and the point is he has a good job.
No, we grew up.
He wouldn't be able to have a good job if he was put in prison for a long time, or jail, or juvie or something.
Yeah.
You know, not saying you should be able to do that, but just goes to show the teenage boy
It's
mind
so
is not exactly
funny.
a diamond.
Yeah, but we grew up.
You chisel away at the diamond.
Is that how that works? I don't know a lot about diamond cutting.
I don't know. I just know it's a dark business. But anyways, you talked about the bridge collapse in Baltimore.
Anyways.
I think now would be a good time to reflect on your time as transportation secretary. If you were to look back at that long period of time, what's the achievement that you're most proud of?
Can I do 3?
Yeah.
All right. So the one that doesn't get a lot of coverage is the safety work. So like I said when we started our conversation, tens of thousands of people die every year in this country in crashes. We reduced that. We didn't end that, but we helped reduce it. And we had about 4 billion people get on an airplane on my watch, and 0 crash fatalities in commercial airline crashes. So there's a safety one. 2, the infrastructure bill. And we got 20,000 projects done and about 70,000 projects started. And that, like, some of that's still playing out. Some of it'll take like decades, and some of it's already done. And they said you couldn't pass this big infrastructure. Trump tried and he couldn't get it done. We got it done, and I'm really proud of the projects that we did. Everywhere, like literally everywhere. I drive past some of them now, just like when I go take the kids to school every day in Michigan. And then the 3rd is the airline work, which they're trying to dismantle right now. But when we came in, it was so incredibly frustrating the way airlines would treat passengers. And we stepped in and did something about that. We enforced the rules that were already there. We had record enforcement actions against airlines that were leaving people stranded with no help.
Who was the worst airline when you came in?
I'm not going to pick like a single worst airline because each one had its problems. I think the worst single acute moment was the Southwest meltdown.
Oh.
Right? And we made sure there was accountability for that, like more than $100 million. But it wasn't all just like fines going back to us.
Zeno with the 5 gifted subs. Yo, thank you so much.
Wow.
Holy shit, W Zeno.
That's so fun.
Wow. You know, gifted sub to
Thanks.
Arc Meow, Bad Analysis, Cake Upton, Serious X, and Senti. Thanks so much for the donos. I'm obligated to be here? Fuck, I don't know if that's what that means, but hey. Appreciate you so much, DG. That's awesome, man. Thank you.
Us, it was money going back to passengers.
So it
which was
only
the
pays me to monitor your content? Well, no. I get paid for you monitoring my content, so there we go. Works out. The alumni are helping me out here.
Most important part. We put in rules and tools, things like flightrights.gov, which is a website you can use to see how the different airlines are going to treat you. Make sure that you can get your money back if you get stuck and you need a hotel or you need a meal. And we even started a process, which Trump just killed, to get compensation for your time if it's the airline's fault and you have this extreme, like many hour-long delay. And the result is airlines started treating passengers better. Partly because we made them, partly because they knew we were watching. And by the way, the airline business was going just fine by the time we left. So they were still profitable and they were taking better care of passengers. And one thing I'm really pissed about right now is that Trump's Department of Transportation is dismantling that. They got rid of the rule that we were developing that would get you that compensation. They are getting rid of another rule that says that the airlines have to tell you what the fees are. Not even like regulating the fees, just saying they got to tell you what the extra fees are
in terms of like
before you buy.
Spirit Airlines will say it's $25, but then you know to get a bag is $35 and 2 bags is like 10 million.
Yeah. The airfare is $29, but like if you want a seat it's $30, and if you want to like sit in that seat somehow it's an extra 10. Yeah, that kind of
One
stuff.
time I was on a Spirit flight and I said, hey, can I have some water? And they said, yeah, it's going to be like $2.50. I said, I don't have any money, I'm sorry. And they gave me a cup of ice and they said, wait 46 minutes. And they knew the exact time where ice would become water.
Meaning they do that every day.
Yeah, and they weren't making a joke. They were being serious about it.
No emotes? Okay, I haven't made only emotes yet. I should get on that. But I don't know. Do you guys have emote suggestions? Suggest some emotes. What am
Your mom.
Whoa. Good one.
Like, this is a way for you to get a discount. And it really made me think.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that we stepped in to do something about. But now they're going the other way. And it's part of what they're doing more broadly. You know, on banks, they're letting credit cards charge these junk fees. That there was a rule that you could do that, now you can do it. You know, with these...
I can't type in the other chat, but you're welcome. Hey, thanks, that's okay. I am still reading chat. Oh, I see it on my screen. Thanks.
Companies you have to go to file your taxes. This administration killed the direct file that would allow you to just do it yourself.
Absolutely not. That guy is an absolute insane, psychotic
I'm not super surprised
lunatic.
that my replacement at the Department of
Absolutely
Transportation
not.
was literally an airline lobbyist. But that's what they're doing. But anyway, if you ask me about the things I'm proudest of, because some of those things are in law, so they'd be harder to take apart. So it's the safety work, it's the infrastructure projects.
You can do whatever you want with your stream, but that guy's crazy.
No, that guy's insane. I don't think he'd want to.
And it's what we did to make it better to be an airline passenger.
And on the inverse, what are some things that you wish you had done differently, or if you were to do it again, that you would change course?
I mean, there was a derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, where we had folks on the ground very quickly, but we did not understand.
Yeah, this is what, guys, we're not focusing on the Palestinians.
Understand that people were getting bad information and confusing information that left them like even more terrorized than they were by the chemical spill that had happened because of the derailment.
They're good furries, okay?
And so even though there were no fatalities, it was just an incredibly serious incident that if I had understood the information issues sooner and gotten there, then I think I could have helped that community better deal with that. So that's an example of something that we learned the hard way.
When you say bad information, what was that information?
So there's a bunch of online stuff being pushed, making people question what they were being told by health authorities.
People remember this, where fucking train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, was fucking up a lot of shit. And all the Republicans were like, oh, it's the government, oh, they're doing this, oh, it's like...
What was and wasn't something to worry about, when you should hold off on drinking the water, when it was okay.
About the toxicity of the material.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's a cloud of black smoke over it. Is the air safe? Is the water safe? Is the soil safe? And it was hard enough for the government to get them good information. And then you had this flood of bad information coming in online. And it turned out it was coming from all over the place, far left, far right, and other countries.
Yeah, I remember. That was a conspiracy charge time period.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of many, as we know. And more generally, I'd say it took us a while to understand the effect of some of these conspiracy things. So because that happened in Ohio, we were more attuned to what was going on when Hurricanes Helene and Milton hit. But there were a lot of things when those hurricanes hit, especially the North Carolina side, where people weren't applying for money that they should and could get because they had been told that it wasn't going to happen, or they were being told that money wouldn't go to you if you had a Trump sign in your house or stuff like that.
That's like just Facebook misinfo.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was everywhere. But by then we knew a little bit more about how to intervene and do something about it. Another thing that if I mean, we cared about this, but I would be even more focused on it if I was doing it over again, was the red tape that makes it hard to build anything in this country. So projects are incredibly expensive. Like in New York, we're trying to do the Second Avenue subway. Billions of dollars, and the tunnel's already
My dad would love him.
Just getting all the other stuff done. And I could point to a lot of smaller projects that have hit these same issues. And it turns out the federal government is not set up to make sure projects go quickly. It's set up to make sure they don't go wrong.
My dad's been bitching about that for like
and it's important to make sure they don't go wrong. But we've turned the dial so far in terms of making sure nothing goes wrong, because that might embarrass a politician, that we've had a hard time making it possible to actually get the thing done.
So there's so much administrative bureaucracy and so much red tape that you can't get something basic done without a 4 to 6 month paperwork process.
Or years, which is making it harder. And this isn't just transportation. It's affecting how we build housing. It's affecting how we build clean energy infrastructure, which is super important if we want to at least like bend the curve on climate change and have it be less bad. So really important things are at stake in getting rid of some of that bureaucratic red tape that just gets in the way again and again.
And you wish that you had taken more steps to dismantle that jumbled?
Yeah, I mean, I pushed on it, but I know now more things that I wish I knew. Like, there are things I figured out by year 4 that if I knew them in year 1, I think we could have gotten more traction.
So those are the main 2 things?
Yeah, those are the first ones that come to mind. There's a whole bunch of other things, an interview I would have done a little differently, or a project that I have certain thoughts about or whatever, but those are the things. And then I guess the third thing I would say is, we did improve the number of people who are...
There's certain cultural things that if you want to... I don't know if drunk driving is the leading cause of death behind the wheel.
It's not the only thing to worry about. There are a bunch of problems with some of these cars.
Yeah, also
there are some technical things you can do that would help.
Layout-wise, do you think there should be more cities like Dallas and Phoenix, or more cities like New York City, St. Augustine, Florida, South Philadelphia?
In terms of like the urban design?
In terms of walkability and not infinite suburban sprawl of bland corporate storefronts.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm an urbanist. Like, I love a city that is walkable, that has a lot of mixed use, that has a lot of vibrancy. I would say it's also possible to do that in more spread out or smaller cities. Like, we did that in South Bend, Indiana. Not, it doesn't look like Manhattan, but we found that was a place where you could do mixed use, by which I mean like stores, downstairs, apartments, lift, like culturally, to get people in the Phoenix region to get into transit. There are places you can walk to. So again, it's not Manhattan, but they're showing that it can be done in a place like that. And I believe in that style, that pattern of development. But you got to plan for that. You got to fund the kind of transportation and transit that makes it possible to do that. You got to have a culture around that too. That's the other thing I think is really important, is the culture. There's this idea in a lot of places that, like, if you're on the bus, that means you have no choice but to take the bus. And
voice to sound ratio videos are too loud. Is that true?
Huh?
Somebody tell me if bad analysis is right, or I'm gonna lose it. Okay.
There's like good bus options. So also like maybe you have
that voice to sound ratio is off. That videos are too loud. Fuck you. Okay. For saying that. Fine.
Car at home, but like you didn't feel like bringing 2,000 pounds of metal with you everywhere you go, so you take the bus.
Riding the bus is awesome. You can go on your phone. You can sometimes meet people, not always, but you see interesting things. You feel like you're a part of your environment. The car is like a really isolating sort of cube where you have your music and you have your familiar items, and it's a lonely, robotic experience that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy.
That emo, a monkey doing a Nazi salute? What the fuck? That is crazy.
I'm just kidding. I like driving. I don't mind driving that much. It just sounded cool for me to end really dramatically. So my final question to you is an Indiana question.
Final question. Indiana question.
What can we do about Gary? How can we help Gary? I went to Gary recently.
So Gary, Indiana, for folks who aren't following, this is like you're talking about the just conditions in the city. They're kind of an extreme version of what I was talking about us living through in South Bend, where they were this industrial center and then they weren't, and they lost like the majority of their population. I think the answer has to do with a better set of connections into Chicagoland without becoming as expensive as Chicago is.
Asked, what is Baby Peach playing? She's playing Tears of the Kingdom, right?
Yes.
And I think again, a lot of it all comes back to transportation, like making sure it's easier to come and go. Because you can get more quickly, if you're in Gary, you can get to downtown Chicago more readily if you have a car than getting from places on the north and west side of Chicago in the city limits of Chicago to the Loop. So there's a lot of like promise and potential there. But you've got to make sure that there's the right kind of connections, that people have access to those kinds of jobs, that you don't have to have a car to get those jobs. And there's just a lot of environmental work that has to be done because of the legacy of the heaviest days of some of the industries that polluted there to make sure it's a place people want to live. But I actually think that Northwest Indiana, I mean, if you're thinking about Chicagoland, it's got nowhere to grow but in that direction. And I think Northwest Indiana is one of the most underrated or undervalued coasts in America.
It's beautiful. Oh, my actual last question is, do you have an ancestral connection to the island of Malta?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, my dad immigrated from there. Actually, the original connection is Gozo, which is the island next to Malta, which is even smaller. I was there recently. We took the family there. I wanted my kids to meet their relatives. Went to this little village, and there was a guy from there, Buttigieg, same last name. He was the president of Malta, not even related. And like a bunch of people have the same last name there. So it's like the land of the Buttigiegs.
My mom's there right now, and she called me yesterday. She's like, "You're interviewing Mayor Pete tomorrow, right?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I just saw Buttigieg's bridge, and I'm in Malta."
Yeah.
And so she said, "Ask him if he's ancestrally Maltese."
Yeah, it's this incredible country. It's this like tiny, like very unusual country. It's independent, English speaking, but also Maltese speaking, which is a Semitic language. Been through everything from like the Crusades to World War II. It's this like very strategic spot. Like I go on all day about Malta, but it's I even like to claim that our people invented the building. Because some of the oldest freestanding structures in the world are these megalithic temples, like older than Stonehenge, much more interesting than Stonehenge. And they built those, and they hadn't even invented the wheel yet. Yeah. Like they didn't even have algebra, and they're making these incredible structures.
It's amazing. My people, the Irish, actually
in my chat right now. Shade. That's shade to you.
She invented spacing. Seriously. Yeah, there was no spaces between letters if you look at old tablets until the Irish poets of the 5th century.
Well done.
Do you believe in a united and free Ireland?
I mean, I believe in peace in Northern Ireland, which is a good example to some of the stuff we were talking about earlier of how something that seemed like generationally intractable like changed in our lifetime. Yeah, I'm not an Ireland expert, but
I just got back from there.
Right. And you're in Belfast, too. You're in Northern
Ireland. I was in
Ireland.
Belfast, and there's some tension there still.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
West Belfast.
Politician answered W. Yeah, exactly.
I went to
I don't know much about Ireland, but
talking to this guy in a bar who was incarcerated with Bobby Sands, who was one of the leaders who died in a hunger strike resisting in Ireland. He talked about how Bobby Sands was so committed to building a sense of Irish heritage that he would make crosswords in Gaelic, in Irish Gaelic, on toilet paper, and like secretly pass them around so that his fellow inmates could learn Irish and like understand like their heritage. Like, yeah, some of the stories are incredible.
Yeah, my piece is about the Irish language revival.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you know about that?
There's 56,000 native Irish speakers, but it's increasing because they're putting more and more kids in full immersion, what they call Gael schools, where they speak Irish from kindergarten to 8th grade. And so they're trying to get a resurgence, particularly in the South. But anyways, I know you got to get out of here. Thanks so much for your time.
Enjoyed it.
I really appreciate it. I hope you had a great interview. Not sure what you guys had planned today, but I hope everything goes well. And I hope you like this background. This is a pretty nice view.
Yeah, it is.
I was hoping we could see the Freedom Tower, but it's being blocked by this damn urgent care.
Version.
Fuck the authority. Channel 5 News.
Channel 55. This was the unedited version, or rather, like it was obviously edited, but it was not edited to make him look worse, like the one that they were almost released.
What Costers? 5 is the best number.
Close left. How much more?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Okay, good seeing you.
I know, long time no see.
Yeah, definitely. Lots happened since I saw you last.
AI is on my mind. Preschool's on my mind. Chess and I have 4-year-olds.
Are you still out west?
Yeah, I'm still out west. I'm in a motel in Arizona called Apache Junction Motel. It's pretty
There's
nice
more.
for 75
There's like there's more interview in my interview. No way.
Night.
All right.
So we did our interview in New York City about 3 weeks ago. Less than, I think, 48 hours later, Charlie Kirk was assassinated in Utah.
Wow.
What was your initial reaction to that?
It's horrible. I mean,
That's
first of all, it is horrible for the reason that all political violence is
true. All political
murder of a
violence is
human being.
bad.
And then the question was, what's going to happen next? Is this going to be a chance to
All
unify
political
people
violence.
left, right, and center against violence? Which we saw a lot of leadership
No.
moving in that
Right
direction
doesn't care
from
about violence.
people like the governor of Utah to people like Bernie Sanders, kind of speaking roughly in the same language. Or was it going to become the occasion or the excuse for something else, which is what we saw out of the White House? I mean, both of those things
Did
have
you
been
say
playing
peace goes on his mind? I don't think he said. That's funny.
out in the time since that happened. Very clearly, this is something that makes everybody less safe. And trying to respond to it in partisan terms misses the fact that all of us lose when there's political violence. It also obviously misses the reality, which is that, the bulk of
that's
political
Mike.
violence.
What's up, Mike? Streamer goes live without pinging his own Discord. New behavior. There's nobody in my server yet.
The last decade in this country has
yeah.
not come
I will be opening my
from
Discord
far
server.
left sources. I mean, this same summer that's ending with
DDD, disavow, dodge, die.
the assassination of Charlie Kirk began with the assassination of a Democratic lawmaker and her husband in Minnesota. And these things are unfortunately accelerating
based.
or clustering. So it's beyond kind of parsing what went on in the mind of one disturbed individual. Like a disturbed person can be inspired or motivated by any number of things. And this person seems like a jumble of video game influence, political influence. We don't really know. But the point is, even when we do know more, the lesson will be the same, which is that we have got to be a country where political violence is not frequent, not normal, not accepted, not legitimized, not excused, not celebrated, and also not exploited.
As far as exploited, do you mean like, I guess, the conservative side of the aisle taking advantage of the situation to crack down on progressive groups by associating their cause with violence?
Not just progressive groups, but anybody who is critical of them, right? I mean, it didn't take them long to get to Jimmy Kimmel, for example, right? Which is a long way from any kind of law enforcement response to a specific act of violence.
If they can get Jimmy, they can
we
get
still
you.
don't totally know what the scope of some of what they're threatening to do will be, but we have a general sense of it.
They
And,
already got rid of
you know,
Jimmy Kimmel within
the
48
vital thing
hours? That doesn't make sense, does it? I thought Jimmy Kimmel was way after.
No, it was 48 hours after Kirk died.
Oh.
Did they already? Great question, actually. I think the timeline makes sense. Because it was like a Friday, and he was already back by like Tuesday.
That's way sooner than I remember.
Yeah, it was like right after.
to a specific act of violence.
I think so.
And
the interview was 48 hours before. No, not before. After.
Yeah, because he said that.
How could it be
yeah, the
before
interview was
Kirk died
48
and they found
hours. Oh, I guess maybe it doesn't mean that it was 48 hours.
we still don't totally.
It was like they talked and 48 hours after they talked.
Yeah, it can't be.
It happened.
Wait,
I
no.
thought
It
this
can't
was
be-
48 hours after Kirk.
That is what they said, but hold on, it can't be because they're talking about like. I don't fucking know. I don't care.
You know what the scope of
The first interview was oh. Yes. This interview was way after the assassination. The
Right,
first
'cause you say-
interview was
yeah.
48 hours before Charlie Kirk. Gotcha.
some of what they're threatening to do will be. But we have a general sense of it. And the vital thing to do when you see
Yeah,
that sort of
interview
thing is to
happened,
stand up to it.
then
And
Kirk
I
happened,
think
2
for
days
the
later.
left, there's a bit of a false choice being presented that
And yes,
either we
it's
make
true.
good
They're
on
coming
our
after
promise
you,
to
Jimmy Kimmel,
do the right thing,
they're
lower the temperature, and do our part to reduce anything that could inspire violence, or we stand up to these attacks on our freedoms. I don't think that's true. I think those two things actually travel together. We reject political violence for the same reason that we reject any attempt to repress free speech, which is that both of those are an assault on freedom.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes with the broader trend of the thing that's been happening as far as, there was the lawsuit leveraged against Paramount, against CBS, the recent, I think, what's a $15 billion lawsuit against the New York Times, or some kind of defamation damages record that was hit. And so I think that it's been capitalized in that regard. But the precedent set is pretty dangerous because obviously when it comes to people who, I guess, I don't want to say abuse, but use the civil court system to their advantage by using high-paid attorneys and trying to bleed people's pockets that way, how does an average person, a Democrat, a citizen, an independent reporter actually stand up to what's happening?
Yeah, it's hard because even a lawsuit that gets laughed out of the courtroom, which looks like what's happening with the New York Times lawsuit, it's still expensive to deal with. And not everybody has the reserves of the New York Times to mount a defense. And so that chilling effect goes way beyond the New York Times or the Jimmy Kimmels to just ordinary people who wonder if they're going to be targeted, if they're going to be silenced. But I think the other really important thing to recognize is that most Americans are not on board with this. I'm really worried that the president has created this smokescreen or this sense that most people think that it's okay for the government to be intimidating people who criticize the government. And it's not. And that's something that should be unifying people across left, right, and center. I mean, these kinds of things are something that, I remember being younger, arguing with conservative and libertarian friends, over beers in college, and this is the kind of things they were saying.
Okay, I changed my name to Mike Two Trees. I need to stick to some branding so people don't think I'm Mike from PA.
Now it's happening. So we should be on the same side about this, even if we're not on the same side about a lot of policy issues.
Do you think that Trump camp's willingness to just crack down on their adversaries in the media and in politics, they see as a justified backlash from the way that, I guess, big tech and Democrat-aligned companies silenced their free speech during the 2020 election era with COVID misinformation protocols and also, like,
I think that they're retarded.
The SEAL movement being suppressed on Facebook and elsewhere?
There is no comparison. And I think this is really important to understand. Look, we can argue about whether Facebook or any social media platform did the right thing as they were trying to make sure they weren't part of the problem on COVID, but also trying to foster free speech. I mean, we can have that argument. But what we're talking about here is the government threatening, in some cases, appearing to threaten the broadcast rights of organizations that are politically criticizing the president. And so they may come up with these justifications for themselves, but I think it's really important to make clear that that is a false equivalence, that there is no comparison, not just from Democrats in early 2020s, but really at any point in modern American history, other than maybe a little bit the Nixon administration, but even then, there's no comparison between what they're doing right now and anything else that has happened.
I guess I just mean psychologically, there's so much vengeance that's accompanying Trump's second term, and I feel like part of that has to do with that equivalency being drawn between 2020 and this current moment. They feel like it's their time to get even.
It's possible. I mean, I don't want to overstate my ability to get into their mentality. What I know is that this isn't right, and it's not going to make us any better off. The presidency is not for getting revenge. The presidency is for making our lives better.
That's not their goal.
And I think another big part of what's happening right now is that public opinion is swinging pretty swiftly and strongly away from the president because of the basics. Things like what we talked about when we sat down a while ago about the cost of living and about being able to get a job and just a lot of fundamental things in the country that have not gotten better. And I think the White House doesn't want to be talking about that, and they definitely don't want to be challenged on that. So they're going down this road, and yeah, they're using recent events as an excuse to do it. But again, if you look at the way the president talks about his desire to take comedians off the air, he was expressing that, including specifically about Jimmy Kimmel, long before what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. Going back to something you mentioned, has there been a very clear-cut motive established for the Hortman family murders?
What we know is that this guy had a lot of nationalist motivation, and he went around with a kill list that...
He's going to tug around it. It'd be annoying. Yes, there has been a motivation. He was a Republican, Trump guy, and he killed them because they were Democrats.
I understand it was all Democrats and liberals, and he was looking for Democrats to kill. He found some, killed Melissa Hortman and her husband, shot other electeds, and this is another example of something.
I want to say rest in peace to the dog that was also killed.
And the dog, yeah. I mean, this horrific thing happened, and it was like a blip in right-wing media. But actually, more than that,
they don't actually care about
right?
local violence.
You have a guy who was like clearly, I mean, I don't know all of the things that were in his twisted psychology, but clearly motivated by some kind of warped vision of right-wing ideology, going around killing Democrats. And then because he was on some volunteer veteran committee with dozens of people that was appointed by the governor, if you're only consuming right-wing media, you would believe that he was like a card-carrying Democrat, even though like that could not have been further from the truth. So it's one more example of how we're in these just different realities, unless we get out of the media bubbles we're in and look for what actually happened.
So you think that algorithmic hypnosis plays a factor here as far as like media echo chambers controlling people's minds and taking them away from the truth?
Yeah, it's not helping, right? Because everybody feels the very moment when all of us should step back and take pause, everybody just feels even more justified for whatever it is they believe. And you look at, I mean, Mike Lee of Utah, right? U.S. Senator, mocking the assassination of Melissa Hortman because he imagined that this was somehow something he could use against Democrats shows you that this isn't just like,
Never apologized for that, by the way. Just fucking deleted the post and then moved the fuck on. Fully fucking blame that shit on Tim Walz. Made disgusting posts.
somebody
Nobody
in the basement
cares.
like reading
No
their
one
own
gives a
Twitter
fuck.
accounts. This is really important, influential people who have had their own psychologies warped by the algorithm.
On the inverse, how do you feel about all the people losing their jobs and stuff like that for mocking the assassination of Charlie Kirk, or celebrating it rather?
Well, look, celebrating it is wrong. And I think that there is a whole spectrum of responses, right? From ones that would make, I think, any employer think, wait a minute, like, do I have a violent person on my team, through to people who phrase something the wrong way or express the politics in a moment that was not the right moment. And not all of that means that you should be stifled. There's like thousands of reactions, but I think all of us should step back and just, again, agree on some basic things here, that political violence is wrong, perpetrating it is wrong, celebrating it is wrong, and trying to exploit it is wrong.
Right. But do you think it's justified for employers to terminate employees who have said things like, oh, he got what's coming to him, or something like that?
Look, again, I think there's a lot of different cases, but I think just because somebody was an asshole on Twitter doesn't automatically mean they ought to lose their job.
All right, great. Well, thanks so much for your time once again. I appreciate you making time for this follow-up, and we'll definitely be in touch. Should release this probably sometime this week, and I think that it'll be pretty well received.
Looking forward to it. Thanks,
thanks so much.
Thanks for having me in.
Yeah,
Enjoyed
of course,
it. Good luck in your travels.
Yeah, talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Take care.
Saying this while getting shit from fucking Patreon for being
He was
nice
recording
to
his own
people.
video, right?
True.
Wait, what did he say at the end there?
He was recording his own video, right?
He was recording his own video, right? Okay. Wow. That was the Pete Buttigieg interview. Not bad. I liked it.
I did too. I like him.
Eh.
You
He's
don't?
okay.
No.
At least he didn't cave to the fucking pressure to fucking edit that shit again. Well, actually, he did cave to the pressure. He just caved to the anti-pressure.
Would it have just been like Israel and Palestine?
Yeah,
or, like,
and
what
then like
else
edit
would he
out some
have
of his
an issue with?
answers, and like edit out parts of his answers and shit. Apparently,
Damn.
crazy. That's fucking comment. Please interview Mandani. Mother, please. Actually beat audience capture. Wow, we did it, guys. We beat the audience capture. What now? I don't think this far. What else do we got? What else do we got to cover, y'all?
I don't know the answer to that.
When chat, no. What's Food Chops up to?
Trusting has come out
He's watching this
and
shit.
said
We already
that
watched it
the
last night.
violation.
I
That shit was
missed it.
AIDS.
Was it?
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Actually fucking mind now. What's Emily important up to? What's he covering? Been live? Getting trolled? Got trolled. He's not live. You fucking with me. What else we got? Broke ChatGPT's ethical guidelines. Fucking with the AI. Alex O'Connor. Pissed. Fuck the clankers. I'm done in response to Trump's attacks. I'm good on that one, brother. Holy shit, it's all fucking left wing shit, like lefty shit that's recommended now. Oh no. Left and
What
right.
kind of shit is there?
Oh, Bernie and Zora Mamdani shit.
Oh, okay.
Left Jubilee on fucking Epstein, Charlie Kirk, and Gaza. That sounds like AIDS. I'm good on that. Genius point Trump made about climate change. I'm good on that one. What the fuck? Why am I getting recommended a 32 view video where John Eastman is talking about never let a crisis go to waste? I will not be listening to John Eastman talk about letting a crisis go to waste. Fuck off. Christ. Maybe just unstream. Wake up early. I've entered the radical left internet pipeline for Copslop. Yeah, Copslop?
On June 20th, 2025, Linden
Ooh.
police in Louisville, Kentucky were called by hotel staff over Leonard Brandon Pitchford, who refused to leave his room. Brandon was known to police from a similar previous incident, where intact explosives were found in his room after his...
Alright, I'll be real. I don't care about cops. To be honest. I'll say it.
I know you don't. It's
Copslop?
a shame.
Fucking boring. I'll say it.
You're crazy.
Who cares? Wow, they get the guy in the end. Oh. He's in
That's-
prison. Oh. Who cares? Roll TikTok or Insta. I want to see anti-Semitism. Is there anything happening right now? What do you got? I won't cop slop. I just get arrested myself like a real man. That's the right attitude, man. That's the right freaking attitude.
I will leave you for your chat though, or to your chat. I have to
My
go to
chat?
sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably ending. Anything. Yeah, we'll be signing off. Gotta go to sleep. Really. Well, yeah, we got through the interview. It was good. Last thoughts on the interview, Peach?
No.
Alright, say bye to chat.
Bye guys.
Bye, chat.
Bye. Have fun. I'll stream tomorrow. If you want to follow me, Peach Peach
Bye,
underscore streams. Bye.
Alright.
Love you.
Bye, chat. I'll also be out. Thanks for hanging out. Everybody for watching. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoy the content. I'll probably stream tomorrow. Tomorrow night. And see what there's to cover. There's always something new. You guys enjoyed that? Follow on YouTube, follow on Kick, subscribe on YouTube, or subscribe on Kick too if you want to give me money. Yeah, follow me on Twitter. I don't post much, but sometimes I got some posts fighting with mega people. And yeah, thanks everybody for being here. Thanks for hanging out in chat, and thanks for supporting. Thanks for the gifted subs. Here. Yeah. See you guys stream. Bye.